Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special guest. Mr. Jason Rothmeyer is with us. How are you?
Man, your intros they make you feel really important and special.
You are important.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. Man.
Yeah. Good.
Straight from the office, straight to here.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It was a long work day. I mean, this is fun, but, you know.
We did have a long work day. We had a 8 a.m. sales meeting this morning. So that's
definitely had the long day.
Got to accommodate Europe, so we had to do it early.
Oh.
So I had my West Coast reps were like, 8 o'clock, really? And I'm like, hey, man, got to get the Europe guys in there at the same time. Otherwise, we have to do 5 sales meetings. So.
But wait a minute. Why don't you just reverse that and make it not fun for them?
Well, it was 4 p.m. for the Europe guys, so still kind of the end of their day.
Okay.
The later it goes, you can't make those
if it's 8 a.m.
days.
over there, what time is it
It's 8 a.m. here.
No, but if it's 8 a.m. there, what time is it
then
here?
our guys have to do it at 6 p.m. People have families. They can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
They can't do a sales meeting in
in
the evening. You're already checked out.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Yeah. We could bring you in there as our coordinator for scheduling.
I would love that.
I don't
because
think that
what are you talking about?
I don't think that's a good idea, dude.
Bro, listen, Jason.
Our consultant obviously says no.
Listen, you have the wrong consultant. Schedule naps, okay? During the day.
I'm already in.
Yeah,
100%.
I would install cots in everybody's office. If you share an office, then you get a double cot.
Bunk bed.
Bunk bed. Cubicle. Yeah, you can still sleep because it's a break, and then you wake up.
Costanza didn't have a problem sleeping in a cubicle.
Bro,
Yeah,
exactly. Right. You wake up, little milk and cookies. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Get the blood sugar back up. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Coffee for everyone. Starbucks delivery.
I think you're starting on Monday. Get him.
There it is.
Fuck, these
And you're going to
flies.
get all the flies, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Well, I'm just trying to help you guys out, man, because it seems like you guys are you don't have it together over there. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, how are you? Thank you so much for coming, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Just listen,
Straight from Tampa, right here.
bro. How was it? Let's talk about Tampa.
It was fun, Kelly.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was good seeing you out there.
It was
Got
cool.
to hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's going to contests when I'm not judging.
Oh,
It's like a vacation.
oh, you weren't judging.
No, I'm just
You
kicking
just
in
went
there.
there?
Just
Okay.
kicking in the corner.
You went to hang out.
Just bullshitting in the corner.
Oh,
Talking
why?
shit on their scores. It's
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
See,
come
now
on.
here we go. Now this is what I wanted to talk about because you are a judge, right? You've judged a lot of stuff.
I've been known to judge.
You've been judged,
Yes.
right? You judge people.
Yeah.
I don't judge. I don't judge.
You have judged
Listen, I didn't like it.
with me.
I didn't like it. The Manny on the stage.
It was
I hated it.
wheelie dope.
I hated it. I don't like judging somebody's skateboarding. I don't like it.
I understand that.
I can't do it. I
totally get it.
It throws me off, man. I don't like it. It's all subjective. That's why the judges get so much heat. Because
Yeah.
somebody thinks that this person skated better than this, but it's all subjective, right? Why weren't you judging?
I stopped doing Tampa in 2015. I think that was the last one I did. The one Niger one out the door.
Why? Why'd you stop judging?
Oh, we
them?
just, we started doing other events because the border dudes split off from the spot dudes.
Oh,
And so
okay.
it's just a
Okay.
reorg.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, it was just so I started doing the border stuff, and then they did their own thing. So yeah,
I got you.
it was just a different time. That's all.
Sure.
Although now I could go back and do it, and it wouldn't be a big deal. I felt like there was a little bit of a competition around that time when it was real fresh. Ryan was just gone, Brian's still there, but now you can come and
Water
go.
under the
Yeah,
bridge.
enough time has passed, and it was like our parents divorced, and now it's cool between everyone.
Right. Little heated, but now it's amicable.
Totally.
Yeah. So let's talk about the judging thing really quick because there is so much debate over judging. There's so much debate over, like I said earlier, I was like, dude, I'm never going to hear anybody say like, oh, judging was really good in that. You know what I mean? Like it's
1 out of 1,000.
Yeah.
Very rare.
So how does one, Kelly's on the show. He just, he talks about judging and everything, but listen, it gets an outside opinion.
Jason is the longest judge I've known that's been in the whole industry, I feel like. So you have a different perspective. And
I've been doing it for a minute. I guess we'll get into it when we start doing history, but it's been a while.
Well, we'll start here, then we'll rewind,
Yeah.
right? But how do you take on the judging thing? Do you because listen, you do hear it right afterwards, like people, this person should have, you scored this, but I mean, it's just it never ends.
Yeah.
Right? How do you just block all that out and just do your thing? I mean,
you got to have a
I feel like it would be old after a while.
You definitely have to have a thick skin. And you have to understand that everyone's got a boy in the contest and they think their boy should do good. Whether you're your own boy and you're like, hey man, I fucking should have won. You know, that's a little bit less rare. Okay. Mostly it's like, hey, how come this dude didn't do better? But if you don't sit and watch every single run, like I can critique Tampa Pro as much as I want while I'm sitting there in the corner, but I'm not judging the contest because I'm not watching every single run like I'm supposed to be watching it. Gotcha. I'm like, I'm talking and we're doing something else. I might have missed it, what this guy did. If you really concentrate and watch it, that's the only person that really knew what was going on because you have to watch it from beginning to end.
Right.
If you're a competent judge who is really paying attention.
And there only should be competent judges over there because there's money on the line, there's status, there's trophies, you know, it's a big thing, Tampa, you know, and any contest.
Any contest is. Yeah. And you should, we try to do every event we do like it's a major contest. Even if it's just like the Hot Wheels Junior contest where it's like 10 and under division and, you know, 12 to 13 or whatever. Those kids should get the same experience as someone does at Tampa Pro. Everyone should be paying attention. No one's on their cell phone. No one's like half watching and, you know, doing something else and talking to their friend while your run's going on. Because we've skated enough, you know, AM contests growing up, and you definitely looked over and you're like the three freestylers that were judging you, and no one was paying attention. You're like, this guy doesn't know what's happening. Right. I remember that experience and thinking, well, that sucked, man. I got like 20th place and I felt like I did good, or I got top 3 and I sucked. That's happened before, like where you're like, did I really? I don't think I deserve to be in the top 3 in this contest, and these dudes weren't paying attention to anything.
Right.
Yeah. It's always a little bit of a give and take, but yeah, a little bit of a thick skin. I would say you try to listen to what someone's saying and have an answer for them, because you don't want someone walking away where you're like, I had you in there, but Kelly, he had you in last, and that's why you got that place. Because you want to have an answer for him. You're like, hey man, like we watched the whole contest, and this is why you got what you got. You should try to remember what their run was. If you took notes, you can go back and read the notes back in the day when we had spreadsheets, you know, now it's all iPads and the notes are kind of gone, so it's a little bit of a different process.
Sure.
If you're doing the world skate stuff though, they like you're note taking.
You're taking notes, right?
Yeah, I mean we still do take notes. I mean. We all kind of do it every contest, but
I used to have some detailed notes, and I would be able to write. I just was able to like watch it and write without looking down the whole time.
Yeah,
and then you know, once like live scoring started to come in, then it was like it changed really fast. You don't have time to like review what you wrote because you were the one that was kind of dictating how when everyone went. They would look and be like, judges, you ready?
Right.
And so but now it's like a score has to be in 5 seconds. You got to get the next guy in, especially if it's live TV.
That's true.
It's true. Fast. It was at a Maloof contest where it changed overnight. We were like, holy shit, like we have to get the scores in within like 3 seconds. We got some dude yelling at us. What the fuck's going on?
What were your thoughts on that when they changed it to that?
It was hard to adjust to, but there was no going back. If you want to do a live broadcast, people at home don't want to wait for you.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and so I definitely had some people that were like, oh, I can't do it like that. And I'm like, well, then you can't judge. Like, you just have to adapt to it. You're not going to be the one that's like going to hold the technology back. Sorry to say, you just got to like figure it out and roll with it.
Because you got to hold the viewer's attention too. You know, it's like they're what 10 minutes in between a run. Like people just be they're
people
gonna
aren't
tune out.
Yeah,
I will say it was really awesome that you suggested that they put the Tampa back to not live scoring, or they don't show the scores right away. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Why?
I talked to Zitzer about it maybe 4 months before it. I just thought it was a cool separation. The anticipation of not knowing what place people are in during the finals, during those final 3 runs, and especially being in the contest and not knowing what place you're in, you're going to have to go hard every run.
Yeah.
If you know that you won and you're like the last dude to go, victory lap, who gives a shit? I'm already in first.
Yeah.
But if you don't know you won, you're going to have to go bonkers on every run. And it kind of, it makes for, the anticipation is so sick when you're like, oh man, like, and in 5th place, Jamie Foy, you're like, whoa, Jamie's in 5th, and 4th place, Felipe Gustavo, and you're like, oh, bring the top 3 up. Actually, I screwed this up. Jamie was in 6th, Felipe was 5th, but whatever. You bring the top 3 up, and then you still don't know. Your top 3 are standing up there, and you're like, dude, who do you think it is?
Huh?
That excitement's kind of cool.
And it's cool, and for the skaters as well.
It's a little bit of a throwback because
Kinda.
I don't know what their viewership was like, but I would think if I was at home watching, I probably would have stuck around to see who did
For
good.
sure.
Yeah.
Based on
You
that
know?
format.
But if you already know who's going to do it, you're like, click.
How do you think it went over this year? Good? With
Seemed
that?
cool.
Yeah?
It was awesome.
Okay.
I mean, it definitely felt like people were starving for like a really intimate, heavy duty skate contest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's there was a lot of excitement, and that's a knowledgeable skate crowd. You know, everyone there knows what the hell's going on.
Man.
I feel like there's other events where you go to. I mean, you know, I guess we didn't really have spectators per se at the Olympics. It was really just the people in the contest, so you didn't get like that cheers and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you've got some contests where, you know, it's that one's like that's the one.
Interesting. Wow, I like that.
was cool.
I like having no score.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
not
was
no
fun.
score, but you
Just
know,
in
they're
the
not.
only in the
through
finals,
qualifying and through semifinals, I think it was cool, but
Sure,
just why not separate it and,
I like it.
you know, be different than everything else.
I mean, that's how they did it back in the day, right?
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that whole like bringing the three people up and not knowing was always like, ooh, I knew what was happening. I knew who won.
Yeah,
I knew. But everyone's like, who won? I'm like, just gotta watch.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Wait.
Okay,
It's great
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
it's
And
true.
Other thing I really respect about your judging too is that you do like the park and you can do the street, where a lot of judges don't really mix in between.
Yeah, I mean, just grow up skating mini ramps and all that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
spine ramps, and you know, we all skated all that stuff, so it translates. I
Yeah.
would think, you know, but Berard can easily do both real easy because
Yeah.
I mean he's like he could actually skate park if he wanted to. He could be like a competitor in that
Sure.
in that realm, and then he's not too far removed from being pro for street, so
Yeah,
he's like a good dual threat judge. You can have him do anything.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
that's cool. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. But it's also nice to get new people in there as well that that really know. Not saying you don't, but know that
Oh yeah,
that platform.
yeah. I mean, if I could have, you know, Alan Peterson and Wade Spire judge all the park contests with me, I would. But everyone's got lives and
That's
jobs, and
That's true.
they live different places, so it's hard to find people sometimes. Like I've racked my brain many times where I'm like, would Davis Torgerson be a good judge? Let's have him do a couple AM contests, and he judged some, you know, like border AM at Huntington Beach at the Vans Park like 4 years ago, and I was like, oh, he's good. I mean, I already knew him, and you know, you kind of have an idea where you're like, oh, this dude's gonna be good. But then like, I brought Haslam into judge contest, and he fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah.
walked off of Tampa.
I was there, yeah.
He did day one, and he was like, I'm not fucking coming back, man. Like,
Really?
I'm just gonna hang out and watch. You just figure you find someone else.
Wow.
Yeah, he got Nate Alton.
Yeah, he's like,
Alton-
hey, I'll find someone. I'll find someone to do the semifinals and finals.
Wait a minute. Why did he give you a reason? He just didn't
He
like.
hates judging people.
Yeah.
He thought he would like it. He's a super cerebral guy, but he just hated it. He was
I
just
was
like,
gonna say, why'd you take the job?
yeah, I just think you think you're gonna like it,
Right.
maybe, and then you get into it and you're like, man, this is. And I've had some definitely like crazy people judge where I thought like, this is insane. I've had, you know, people like their scoring scale was from 70 to 79. That was it. Well, I'm like, hey man, we have 100 points to work with, and they're like, this dude gets a 70, this guy gets a 71, the guy who killed it got a 79. I'm like, that's like a 94, man. He's like, I don't want to give him too high. What if someone else comes? I'm like, there's no one else that's going to be that good.
But that's also not them not knowing how something works too, right?
Right.
And,
Well, there's a
and-
little
and
bit
playing
of
it safe.
There's a little bit of a math thing involved where you're like, you got to know, you know, how math works.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot of criteria. There's some basic criteria where it's like, can you show up on time? Can
Yeah.
you not sit on your phone? Are you not going to be hammered right when you show up? And then you get past that, you know, besides the skating qualifications.
Yeah.
Skating qualifications would be like, you know, like someone like you got the history, like, all right, like he already knows everything about skating. He's got a history with it.
Yeah.
People aren't going to look up there and go like, who's that dude? Like, I've never seen him, never heard of him. They know who you are. So you're like, okay, you pass that hurdle and you can show up on time. And then you get into like, can you multitask while the contest is going on? Can you, you know, hey, you give that guy an 88, but you really think he beat this dude? And you're like, oh, I don't think he beat that guy. I'm like, well, that guy got an 85 and you're giving him an 88, but you don't think he beat him. So think about what you're giving a score down. You have to
Yeah.
like keep a lot. The running track of the placings in your head are really heavy duty when it comes to like live
Right.
events where you cannot make a mistake. You
Yeah.
can't fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
But-
you do, it's like, it's dramatic when you're like, oh man, like,
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
But that's why the scoring, it's like the highest and the lowest, right?
yeah, but there's some events where you have 3 judges. All scores count.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're like, hey man, the budget's tight.
Yeah.
3 judges. And you're like, okay, I have to get the right 3 guys. I cannot have like one person who's a total buster. Because if you have one buster, it's always no big deal. Yeah. Schaefer would always say, because if one guy used to date your girlfriend and you want to give him a bad score, and that was always kind of funny. But you're like, yeah, okay, well, I guess the 1 score isn't that big of a deal when you have 5 guys and 1 gets dropped.
Right.
But with 3 scores, you can't mess up.
Man. Okay. No, I admire you guys. I like I said, I'm with Haslam. I wouldn't walk off, but I didn't walk off during the Manny thing.
No, you didn't. You killed it.
No, listen.
Even when someone did your trick, you didn't get that bummed. You might have stood up.
I think I did. I think I gave him a 0.
Wait, I skated that contest.
Carlos Iki, switch flip manual, the stage.
Oh, but I love Carlos.
It was awesome. He did it pretty good,
bro. Listen.
Hey, hold on 1 second.
I was the first.
Since we're talking about this,
I was the first, and I won't be the last.
I have a present for you.
Oh, look at this. Whoa. Chris Roberts, world's greatest switch flip, bro.
So sick,
bro. Look at this.
I feel like you need to have like a recognition of it, right?
Did you just took a?
I took one of my old trophies that was just in a box, and I was like, hey, he needs to have it.
That's amazing.
New deal.
That's from 1991, probably.
That's like history, right?
It's history, bro.
The year I started skating, 1991.
Oh, perfect timing.
Wow, look at that.
It all worked out. There we go.
I feel like that needs to go. Hey, right by
that thing.
There you go. Everyone knows now.
Let's try to make it work.
It's a receipt.
And you got it from a qualified judge.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
One of the best known judges.
I mean, it is the best one. So it needs to be known. Oh, there you go. That's a good spot for it.
Ah,
there you go.
Thank you for that.
Hey.
How thoughtful, bro.
Hey.
Chris Roberts, world's greatest switch flip manual.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, he told me I was coming on.
Wow.
Had my wife go to the trophy shop while I was gone.
Okay.
Like, hey, this is what you need to write out. Don't put Robert.
Right.
Make sure it says Roberts.
Right.
Don't misspell it.
Hey, you got that done quick.
Quick turnaround.
I need to pick it up on Monday.
Damn.
Wow. That was we talked what it was on.
And I went in
Saturday.
and it was an old trophy shop. It was old school.
Those are the ones that usually survive. Yeah,
that guy that was like, man, you guys have been here probably for a long time because this guy that was I don't know how many more days he's got. That might have been the last trophy he made.
Oh,
I could just picture him like engraving it, being like, "What the fuck is a switch flip manual?
Yep.
What is this? And why is it just one little plaque? It's not like a whole trophy."
He's seen the clip. I bet he knew who you were.
Well, listen, I understand though, because a trophy for that manner, it would be like up to the ceiling. It'd be huge.
I feel like you needed one because I've heard you talk about maybe you got 4th at Manny Mania and you missed out on getting the trophy.
Were you judging?
I did judge that.
Let's talk about this, bro. So
did Castillo beat you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Daniel Castillo.
He did nose Manny up, shove it around to frontside shove it, and then manual back down. It was kind of tight.
What the fuck are you remembering all that?
I
don't even remember what
all in there.
I don't remember what I did, but I'm sure it was better than that.
I think Snyderman 180 fakie Manny fakie tray flip off a big
I could
box.
see him doing that.
It was pretty sick.
Wow. Switch front big manual on the little pyramid thing.
Yeah.
Listen, I should have gotten second at least.
Kenny Anderson might have done cab fakie Manny at that. It was pretty good. I know.
It's Kenny Anderson.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have even been in that contest in the first place.
He's a ringer.
I love it.
I did get 4th, though. I liked it. There was actually a fun contest, and I really did enjoy because it was more our speed.
Yeah.
I can't skate these contests.
Those were good. I wish Manny Mania was around in 93. I would have had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I missed out on a lot of shit, man. They put a lot of cool stuff after I was competent.
Well, at least you were a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you
That's
go.
cool.
There you go. But I did like it. And shout out to Joey Brzezinski for doing that with Red Bull and everything, because it gave us manual skaters a chance to shine, and do our thing, right? Because we can't. Me, Joey, Daniel. We're not entering these normal contests that are going on, especially back then. It's like we can't. I can't put together a fucking run. You know what I mean?
Or if the course is like, I don't know, like some of those like X Games courses from like that area where you're just like, it's like a mega quarter pipe and it looks like a box jump and a biker would skate or would ride. Those are no good.
No. But they were fun, man. Listen, I enjoyed.
They needed those.
I enjoyed it.
Alternate games to skate. Manny Mania. Those were all like great for another kind of skate because there's a million kinds of skating out there. It's not just like 14 stair rail dudes, you know.
Dude, John D'Lo skated Tampa like it was Manny Mania.
Oh, it was
Hey,
sick.
there you go. Yeah.
Cookie too.
Dude, frontside flip, fakie manual, fakie flip out, like on the bottom. I'm like, what are you doing, John?
Yeah.
He's
Like, this
gnarly,
is a
man.
contest.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing that.
Well,
he
that's
was
a
doing-
video trick. That is not a
Yeah.
contest
That was
trick.
best trick.
Yeah, it was best
I don't
trick.
care.
But it's still like
But
doing it
That
live
would
in
take
front of
me
people
7
is
hours.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he did, like, in his line both times, did nollie over nose mail, nollie flip out.
yeah.
Both times.
The first part of his
Dude.
front side flip faking manual, that's the hardest manual trick I've ever done. Just the first part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I had to
yeah.
fucking film it.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So,
Yes, he's doing it in a contest.
yeah.
No, if
just doing
Manny
it.
Mania survived and it kept going, man, I mean, I could have potentially been in the Olympics.
You could have been somebody.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying, Dubs?
I hear
If that was my ticket in there, and I was getting third and fourth, you know,
Maybe one day the Olympics will have that.
Yeah.
They'll just start breaking it down to like
2032.
ledge skaters, Manny's.
Ledge, flat
Wait,
ground.
how many years did they do that
Freestyle.
for?
It was
3?
a good. I was
Had to be
thinking
like a
longer
good
than that. I
It
was
had to
thinking
be
maybe
longer,
3 or
yeah.
4 years. Yeah.
Well, they did the first one in Venice, then they did the rest of them in New York.
New York, yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I was bummed on because they could have just.
I did one of the ones in New York. I think Pang maybe helped organize it, so I remember doing one of them, and then the next one I don't remember. We didn't do the one where there was like
Dude, I
a
found
little bit of
I
a
found
brawl
my
or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't at that one.
Yeah, I got third. I still have my belt. I found the other day. I
Yeah.
got third place in that. That's the best I've ever. Actually, no. I think I got second in the one you guys judged at the courthouse.
Oh yeah.
I got
I
second.
don't know why I would have judged you that high.
But that wasn't a Red Bull event.
No,
No, that was just on delay.
Yep.
I think it
Oh,
was
yes, that was
Wheelie
Joey,
Dope.
yeah.
It was
it was a
the
spin.
next version of
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Right,
cool though.
Right.
Of
But
course.
shout out Joey for trying to get these
cool.
contests in and
Yeah,
Totally.
stuff like that, and giving a
Yeah, it was
whole
good.
different little skaters a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of surprised they don't do that still because they do like random events here and there, like the Curb ones. They did the Curb Kings.
Yeah, Mind the Gap.
Yeah.
Like they do those ones out in Atlanta, and they do them a little. I think they just did one in Orlando. The Street Gap. They just find like a street gap and do a contest
Yeah,
at it.
yeah.
And the one you did here, I judged with you, the wall ride gap or the wall
Oh, that was a
ride.
Red Bull wall ride contest.
that
at
was
Venice. Yeah.
That was
was
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
That was
cool.
rad because like some of the old timers were there
For sure.
too.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Bring them out.
When you could get different generations in on the same contest, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Wow.
We had Dresden judging with us. It was
Oh
sick.
my
It was
God.
so sick.
Yes.
Eric D.
Yeah.
The man.
Let's go back because we were talking about your heyday and if manual contests were around back in your day. So I don't know, I'm not making it sound like it was decades.
It was decades ago. That's the weird part. That is the weird part.
Fuck.
Been in this thing for a minute.
I don't want to show your age. You know
Doesn't
what I'm
feel
saying?
like decades ago, but it was.
But you
Couple
grew
years
up
ago.
where?
Long Beach for life.
LBC.
LBC
Okay.
my whole
I
life.
pictured you like a Minnesota guy.
Oh yeah. I used to get.
What the fuck?
I used to get.
Kidding.
Aren't you? You're from Tampa, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not from Tampa.
Well, you were
But then-
out there so
right.
much.
And then I used to get. Oh, aren't you from San Jose? Because I was Santa Cruz tie-in.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, Long Beach my
Long
whole life,
Beach.
man. I was born in Wairika, which is like, if you ever driven up to Portland or something like that, and you pass that town, Weed. Everyone knows that town.
Yeah.
Wairika's the next town above Weed.
Nobody
So-
nobody stops at.
No, nobody stops there. But then, anyways, parents divorced at like 2. So I don't remember living up there. I was in Long Beach from when I was 3 years old.
Oh, there you go.
Till now.
Perfect. I mean, you could have been a Wairika guy.
I could have been a Wairika guy.
What about the road that you drive up to Vegas? It's like YYZZ.
Oh, yes.
Zizix.
Like, what the fuck is
ZZY.
that?
Why-
There. Yeah.
Who's?
ZX. That's just the desert. The cuts.
It is.
I think it's just.
But who's naming that road?
I think they
Jesus.
named it just to have it be like the last thing in like an encyclopedia or something. I feel like
Yeah,
there was
there
a
was
story
like
behind it.
It's a perfect.
There's a
It's
research-
a perfect P stop. You know?
I mean,
There's a research station out there. You can like go look for snakes and shit.
we'll talk about that.
Oh,
we'll
yes.
talk about that. You're
I know about the
a
desert.
big reptile guy.
I know the desert.
So you grew up at Long Beach, and then you started skating. Obviously, how?
Same, similar trajectory to a lot of people you have on who are about my age, 85, 86, started skating, but I kind of late, I was probably 13, 14. So
Okay.
I started in junior high. But
Ah.
and it's like same thing. I think Jake Rosenberg, same kind of way. Like you hear a lot of these guys that are like Yeah, I started skating at 14. I think the dude had the same. He said, "Oh, I
Ricky?
started skating in junior high," but for whatever reason, my brother told me like I need to start skating. It's just straight up was like, you gotta pick something to do. You gotta figure something out. You know, you can't just be like playing football with your friends on the corner. You gotta like be a part of something. And I was like, okay. He was like a music guy. He played guitar.
He didn't skate?
He was he's a band. He played guitar. He was like, it's too late for me. I'm like, I'm 17. Like, I can't start skating now. But he goes, you should start skateboarding. And I was like, think about this. And of course, like, my little cousin had like a shitty Target board or whatever, you know, and it was at our house. And so I remember like going, okay, I could probably ride this thing. And then like once you start riding it, you're like, oh, huh. And I remember like learning how to ride. We had a pool in our backyard and like a pretty big cement around it.
Okay.
And I remember just riding around it backside over and over and over, just like trying to learn how to like carve around, not in the pool, like just on the top.
That's
just trying not to
interesting,
fall over
because
and over and over.
You would think that for a kid riding a skateboard, you'd want to ride around it front side.
I went backside a million times and then like figured that out and then went front side a bunch of times. And then I was like, okay, I think I got this. But I'm talking like instantly like 5 hours a day till it gets dark. You're just like, oh man, like it just sticks right instantly. And then it was like come down the driveway and try to make the turn onto the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I can vividly remember that, like I would hit it and I'd get into the grass and hit it and get in the grass. And then the one time you made it like, man, I fucking did something. I made this.
Right.
And then we would, I remember the grass was dug out a little bit on the driveway. So that was like kind of like a quarter pipe, like a shitty scratch grind on the thing. And you would just carve grind it. And that was like, so yeah, it was once you're in, you're in. And then you see a video and then you're just like, oh my God, like what the fuck just happened?
Sure.
And how are you seeing those videos?
I had my first skate homie was this dude, Jeremy, who lived in Long Beach also. And he had Oceanside Beach Style. It was an 85 NSA contest, and it was just a street contest. And it was like Gons, and I don't think Nadas is actually in the beach. No, he's in it. But it's like John Grigley and fucking Johnny Kopp and, all those guys. And there's a freestyle portion of it. And then there's street portions. They have freestyle contest, and they go back to the street contest and go back to the freestyle contest. I remember like watching Johnny Kopp and just being like, whoa, what? He's skating to 7 seconds, and the music was like, I was like, first thing I hear of this like punk, and then I'm watching skating, and I was just like, oh fuck, this is like,
it's cool.
I probably watched the thing like 100 times the first time I saw it.
Huh.
And then I think maybe the first Powell video also we saw right around the same time, but it was really that contest video that I was just like, dude, I want to do this. Like, how did he do that? You go out and try to like learn hand plants on the ground. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You just
You're just
how
trying
did
to
he get his
replicate
hand
what
on the
you saw.
ground?
Yeah, replicating what you saw.
Yeah, exactly. But it something clicks, I think, when you see it on video. Maybe I had a magazine before that, and you're looking at it, and it doesn't translate the same way. You're like, oh, how did the wall ride? I don't know how he got that. But then you see it, and you're like, oh, jump ramps. What? Like, so.
Super cool.
Yeah. Well, because John used to rent videos, right?
Yeah, I was gonna actually say that I would rent like those like contest videos all the time, like Holiday Havoc.
Oh man,
Street Style in Tempe.
But it wasn't Blockbuster, right? It was just like the local
it was just your
video
local
store?
random. It was before like the corporate, like
yeah.
It was just
before they
everybody
took
had
over.
mom and pop like video shops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I almost feel like Blockbuster did have some type of skate videos too.
I
Maybe
think
just
they
for a
did.
little
They
bit.
probably
I think
had,
did,
like,
for sure when they first
a
came out.
couple.
Yeah, but it wasn't like these mom and pops. Like they had like a dope little section. I was like, oh.
And you feel like the dope mom and pops are like, how are they even getting these skate videos?
Exactly. I didn't know. Really?
Yeah.
I was thankful that they did have those. Though, really.
For sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of people that were, maybe like they watched Skateboard Madness for the first time, or one of those weird, obscure 70s videos that like got them into it. And so, yeah. But yeah, once that was it, it was like I had a crew, like real quick, and the
Well, you're in
crew
junior
would fade
high,
out.
right?
Junior
high school, so you're gonna meet these kids.
Exactly. And there's it was still low. It was that time where like there were only a few skaters in the school, man. Like junior high, there was like maybe 5 of us.
Outcast?
I had none.
A little bit?
Not
maybe?
really.
No?
Not
you didn't
yet.
have any?
None.
Not yet. Once I got to high school, then we were fucking losers. It felt like, you're just like, whoa. Like, because no one was... Still, there was like no one skating in my high school. It was a huge high school.
And this is Long Beach. This is a big
It was.
community.
For sure.
There was... we had a couple dudes that were like Ron Chatman. That was the banger.
There
That
you
was the
go.
dude. Like, he was the guy. And so he went to my junior high, and he went to my high school. He's a little bit older than me. I think he's 1 grade above me, which felt like so much older, right? And because he was so much better, he started skating early. He's probably started skating at 83, 84. So he'd already had that like 3-year run on us. By the time we started, he was already good. You know, the first 3 years, you go from like 0 to like pretty good in 3 years.
Sure. Totally.
And he was good as shit already. And so we're always like, oh, but my brother was a teacher's aide in one of Ron's classes. And so I got the pass. Like Ron's like, I don't know if you know Ron at all, but like he will fucking cut you down. Like he's just witty as hell.
Okay.
And he's like the first guy I met that I was just like, oh man, like this guy will just bust on you. Like he'll make fun of you like right away, right when you meet him. And you're like, whoa, but he would destroy my friends. And then I would get the pass. Cause like, hey, your brother was cool as shit to me when he was a teacher's aide. Rothy, you know, like, and I got like hey, and so, not that he wouldn't get me, he just wouldn't go all in. He'd pump the brakes a little bit. So,
That's amazing.
But dudes like him, you know, they were like a blessing back then because they taught you like the right way to do shit.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know, don't do the whack tricks. Hey, that stupid, dumb, boneless you're doing. That's not it. Keep moving. Keep it moving.
Was he sponsored at that point already, or
he was sponsored pretty quick? They were shop sponsored, so that was like still a big deal. And even shop sponsored back then, it might have been discounts.
Yeah.
You know, like you got the discount at like Van's Bike and Key or whatever. You know, but yeah, he was early on, like pretty sponsored, probably 11th grade maybe. So I was in 10th, and he was already like getting.
So you're going to school with a celebrity.
Yeah, totally.
Were you in his crew? Were you skating with him?
No,
or?
I never was that, never that
couldn't
good. I mean,
pass that threshold.
We were doing our own thing, and he was like that much better, and his crew was, they were good, man.
But would you see
jump
him
ramps,
around
definitely,
like the city?
all the time?
Yeah. Okay.
The jump ramp spot, and you'd see him, and you know, and he was always like encouraging if you showed up to like the, I remember there was a like a straight up half pipe built at the railroad tracks. Probably just stolen wood from like a construction site, and someone just built a half pipe out here down the street from our house. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And we roll up and we just sit there and watch. And it was a shitty half pipe, man. It was like no coping, barely any flat, 6 feet tall.
Wow.
It was like, it was
everybody make the best of
it was
it,
jacked
sure.
up, but you know, he could like little airs here and there and stuff. He's still like pretty young at this time, but he was way better than us. But he wouldn't let you sit there and just watch. He's like, hey man, don't just watch, get on it. Like, get up there and eat shit.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, and you need that. Like, you're not like, you just can't sit around and watch, man. Like,
plus,
but he kind of kicked you out of the session if you just sat around and watched. If you didn't participate, he's like, hey man, you gotta go.
Encouraging you.
I think it's both, right? I think sometimes it just sucks when you're just trying to skate and people are just sitting there watching.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, just skate, you know?
Yeah.
But he gave you the pass also to come and skate.
Totally.
Which is awesome
Totally.
too, because that made you feel like, oh wow, I can skate with these guys maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like I knew, I might have known him like, I mean, as soon as I first started skating, it was like, you knew right away who he was within like the first, like, I feel like it was like first 3 months. You're like, oh, this dude, Ron Chatman. Like, so yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Damn,
But yeah, it was good. Starting out was fun. You know, that first time going to the shop, getting your board, like that's still, like, it's all burned in your brain, right?
What
like
was
that
it?
first, I remember being in French class
Probably
and
moved
talking to
outside.
this dude who was who also skated, and he's a year older than me. And I was like, hey man, I'm going after school to get my first board. And he's like, oh man, you know, like, big decision. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, whatever you do, this is the dumbest fucking advice I've ever heard in my life. Whatever you do, don't buy a Lance Mountain. And I was like,
What?
why? He goes, everyone has that board. You don't want to be the dude that has the same board as everyone. And I was like, oh, okay. I went in and bought a Rod Broskop.
Nice.
It was like I think it's a 2 with the arm coming through the thing, but you don't see the monster yet. But then later on, I remember thinking, man, fucking Lance would have been pretty sick. And I ended up riding a bunch of Lances after that. But thinking back, like, how funny is that? Like, and now when I see Lance and he's like, hey, what's up, Jason? I'm always like, ooh, what's up, Lance?
Yeah.
Bought your board, man. Sorry. But
Rob Roskop isn't bad.
no, I ended up riding for Santa Cruz. It
See?
felt like the right connection.
perfect.
there you go.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool board.
So speaking of Santa Cruz, I mean, you just grew up, you kept skating. Did you film the Sponsor Me video to get on Santa Cruz?
Yeah, I just kept skating, you know, go through crews. I was the dude who just, like, some dudes would quit, get girlfriends, get cars. They got, you know, a new crew. And yeah, I just stuck with it. You know, I mean, I guess that's perseverance. You end up taking these like, you know, you start out and you're kind of like, you suck. Obviously, we all sucked at some point, like really bad. And then you like take a little bit of a leap. I think, you know, when you've been going long enough that you get a little bit better. But you get lucky, I feel like, in skating when you have maybe someone moves into your neighborhood that's way better than you.
Yes.
So I remember skating down the street, like right around the corner from my house. Like I went down here, half a block, and I would go to like the liquor store, and then there's like a rounded curb that you could like ride up and manual across. And I remember skating by and seeing this dude out front with this other guy, and they were skating. I'd never seen him before, right down in my neighborhood. And I skate down, keep going to the liquor store. I'm like, as I'm going there, I'm like, who the fuck were those guys, man? What are they doing in my neighborhood? And then coming back, and it's kind of uphill, so I'm going a little slower because I was cooking, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I didn't want to stop and be like, hey, guys.
Yeah.
But then I came back, and they're like, hey, you live around here? And so it ended up being this guy, Ron Mendoza, and he was so much better than me, and he was the coolest motherfucker. And so that was the dude that you get that like friend. It's like so much heads and tails better than you. You just come up to his level right away. Yeah. Skating a day, every day. And then same thing, like, yeah, you just kind of keep doing that, I feel like, throughout your career.
What did you just move in?
Hey, he's like, yeah, my family just moved into this back house right here, me and my brother Wayne. And I think his brother he claimed he was on Z Flow. Mm-hmm. He had Z rollers on his board.
Of course.
But I think he might have just got maybe he got one box.
Okay.
Because I don't remember him getting anything after that. But he was also really good. He was older than us. He was probably like 4 years older than us. So he like, naturally he was going to be like better at skating as an 18-year-old when we were 14, 15 or something like that.
So you were saying shop sponsors were big back then.
It felt like a huge deal.
Which it was for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a big contest for us, I think at that time was the Powell Skate Zone.
Yeah.
Which was, what was it called?
What, the skate zone or the contest?
The contest.
Quartermaster
Cup. And that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Who were
Valsurf? You were Valsurf?
I wasn't skating for Valsurf. I was skating for Blue Alliance.
Ooh, Blue Alliance.
And you were skating for, at that time.
Do you know?
I do know, but I'm having a fucking brain. It's not working right. It's not working. It's not working correctly.
We were all on Zimbabwe.
There it is.
Zimbabwe.
There were so many different. Zimbabwe is definitely
Shane
one
Heil.
Yeah.
But those days were pretty. I don't know. They stood out for me. I'm sure they stood out for you because that contest was very impactful.
It was
for
huge.
Me.
Yeah, it was massive.
Like, why was it impactful for you?
It was the first like real contest that just kind of like. And then you're along with your team, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you're all going out there.
It was a shop team versus team contest.
Yeah.
So I remember that one being cool because I had already gotten sponsored by the time that contest rolled around, but my friends weren't.
Yeah.
Like Ron got to skate the contest with me. He never ended up getting sponsored. I got lucky and got sponsored, and he didn't, even though he was way better than me. All of our homie videos, he's got like best parts in them and all that stuff, but you got to get lucky along the way. Mm-hmm. And so
and there was a lot of team managers there, like looking at
always
kids there,
scouting,
scouting for sure.
Okay. Did anything come about for you after that contest?
I got flowed by I think Berto. He gave me some wheels.
Yeah,
and that was dope. I was really psyched.
Cool.
That was like probably one of the first people in the Solomon Aga.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, started getting real boards after that.
Yeah.
I got some. I have a contest run. I'll have to send it to you. But you're standing on the deck right before I drop in. He's like back there. He's got this huge like
little
baggy ass shirt on, and he's like right there with his helmet on, like getting ready because maybe his shop was next. And so I like drop in, and you can see him on the deck like right there behind me. So I got that footage still.
Bro.
So it's like pretty funny.
Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Oh, you gotta.
I gotta tag it. I gotta send it to him. It's pretty fun. I'd have it like posted like probably 4 years ago.
Who would even have that contest in its entirety? Like I would. Love
I have the
to see
pro
that.
one still, and I have like a bunch of footage from the pro one that was before I turned pro. So I just was like there filming and like, oh fuck, there's Kareem and Adam McNatt and Tom Knox and like all these bangers.
And Mark Gonzalez was there, I believe.
Oh my god, he frontside pivoted that fucking wall. Jeez, it was so
the vert wall.
The vert
it
wall.
was like nothing. Just rode up, like a kind of a little like air to front pivot, and you know how he's definitely balanced on it, and then just roll and just ride back.
Not
Dude,
pivot
it was like
fakie.
fucking like 6-7 feet of vert. It was like nuts,
Bro,
it was 12 feet high with 4 feet of vert. It was 16 feet tall.
Oh
I was a little
my
extended, but dude, it was
Yeah, it was fucking huge.
Bro, I would go to Powell. I was a little kid. I mean, you look at this thing as like it's a mountain.
I remember
It's a
like
building.
liking it though because the transitions were so slow. You could ride up as far as you want and just crack a frontside ollie. You're never gonna hang up.
That's true.
There's no fucking lip you're gonna get to. I'm never gonna get to the top of that thing.
so true.
And yeah, Gonz, he got like top qualifier in that contest and then completely like blew it in the finals. But that qualifier run was nuts. He did that was the first time I ever saw anyone do the Gons grind. No, front all the way around to switchback 50.
Oh wow,
So sick.
And you see it and you're just like, what the fuck did
we
he
did it on
just
the
do?
quarter pipe.
He did it on a bank to ledge.
Yeah.
Front 180, front 180, switchback 50.
Which bank to ledge?
Just there
one
was
on
like
the
a
bank
little
that's on
bank
the
with
far-
a little ledge with the white
Yeah,
coping on it.
yeah.
Oh, if you're looking
left
at
side.
the thing, it's on the left. Yeah.
He did it on that. So
Dude, the
easy.
rolling even was like, I'm a
Yeah,
little
it's
kid
terrifying,
looking at this
right?
rolling and
Yeah.
like you have to like dodge people. You have
Yeah.
to make sure that
Dude, you
motherfucker.
get smoked down
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah, you gotta-
Straight up.
You gotta watch out,
That
man.
was a
You gotta make sure.
fun park,
It
man.
really
That was the
man.
closest park to me, and probably yourself as well back then. So going there,
Oh, yeah.
was like this fucking adventure,
Yeah.
bro. I
I
gotta go
would
to the skate park,
drive
dude.
up 3 times a week from Long Beach.
Get 'em.
Just because it was like there were no other parks. There were 2 parks. That one and this one in Moreno Valley called Skate Underground. Those were our only 2 parks to
Moreno
skate.
Valley. Who wants to go
Fucking
down there?
Moreno Valley.
I don't remember
Costin
going.
would like to go there because he lived in San Bernardino and
Well,
he was
yeah,
there.
I mean, listen,
he was there
you're-
all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
convenient.
I'm not trying to drive down there.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara's beautiful.
I had
Drive up there,
no shit.
take the coast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for whatever. So I was like, fucking Moreno Valley and
Right.
Santa Barbara. And
Oh, wait,
it's a day
Encinitas-
drive up to Santa Barbara.
Encinitas was
McGill's?
it? Yeah.
McGill's was
But that
around
was, like,
still, but
way
it
down
closed. It was Carlsbad felt farther
Yeah,
than
it
Santa
did.
Barbara for
It
some
did.
reason. Even though we would go to McGill's all the time too when we first started going. I definitely went before I got sponsored. Yeah, we would go skate the mini ramp. We'd skate the 6 foot.
Right.
Go pump the vert ramp when no one was watching, but then the good dudes would show up and we'd get off it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would go to McGill's quite a bit.
I wish I had more opportunity to skate Powell Skate Zone growing up, but like I said, it was like a field trip. It was
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
whole adventure.
Yeah, because
like
you weren't driving there yourself. You were
absolutely
too young, right? You had
not.
to get a
I had
ride.
to get somebody. I mean, I started
Yeah.
skating at 15, so 16. I mean, I had my car, but listen, I had a shitty car. I can't drive up there. It's not going to make it.
Oh, we
probably.
went-
like I'm a city.
Yeah.
I had a city car. If something happened, I could just call mom and dad. Like, hey, my fucking tire popped.
Yeah.
Engine blew. My shit's smoking. I don't know what's going
City
on.
car,
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't drive that thing up there. So it would be an adventure
Yeah.
Field trip.
Totally.
I wish I.
Oh, it was the
I wish I
best
got
park.
more.
When did
Yeah.
that thing close?
94, I want to say. 90, maybe. Yeah, I guess probably about 94. No one ever. I paid the first time I went. I paid to get in. After that, never paid.
I still probably
no
have my
one
little
fucking
ID.
paid to that.
Right.
So it was just this free park, even though you're supposed to get in. Like Mike Taylor, not Mikey Taylor, and not Mike Taylor that rode for GNS, but the Mike Taylor that works for Powell. He was usually working the front, and he was
Yeah.
always like, "Hey, like you went once, and you were his boy because he was
Okay.
cool as fuck."
Okay.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
let
like,
you
"Hey,
in.
I let you in." Like,
I
"Oh,
probably-
Jason, what's up? Hey, man, like, come
That's
on
true.
in."
That's very
And so
true.
then you just started
Right.
walking in, and you never paid. And I
Yeah.
think it was just like full 4 years of
'Cause it was like
no
a
one
membership.
paying.
You did a membership.
I had my
membership.
little card.
I had a card too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little blue card.
I don't remember
Yeah,
how
little
much it
blue card.
cost, but I definitely did not pay that.
Yeah, yeah. It was,
Do you
it
still
was
have
supposed to
your
be like?
Do you still have your membership, John?
I wish I did.
I think I do.
I
Do
think I
you?
have
I
it in a
think I
box
do.
somewhere.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I still have it in a
I
box
think
somewhere.
I gotta like fish for it. I don't know
Yeah.
where it would be.
That's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
might.
That,
I don't know.
That opened right when I got sponsored. I went to Visalia Skate Camp in 90, and that was my graduation present. So I was like an 18-year-old going to Visalia. So I was like a little old, going to skate camp with like, and that wasn't really like a kid skate camp. That was definitely like 15, 16, 17. That was
Okay.
the age of most of the guys.
Sure.
But I remember going there, and I'd skated a couple of AM contests. I might have won the like castle right before before I went. And so then I went and I was like, oh, I wonder if like there's anyone going to be here I could maybe like talk to about getting sponsored. And I talked to this dude, Ron Lemon, who was the artist for Blockhead. He was there skating and he
Bro,
ripped. He was just a sick
He's
dude.
an incredible.
Lemon.
Ron Lemon.
Yeah,
Rush.
3D animation guy.
Oh, okay. Is
Oh.
that what Ron does now?
Bro, he sends us these crazy.
He was a good dude.
He's great dude. I mean, he
Amazing
hasn't
dude.
sent us anything in a while, right, Rush? But on Instagram, he would like tag us on these like super complex like 9 Club animations that he was doing. Fascinating.
I remember bugging him. I was like, hey, man, do you think like I could get a video to Blockhead? But then Spencer Fujimoto was also a camper at the time. He went and he was like, hey, if you got a tape right when you get home, send it to me because I want to see if I can get you on Santa Cruz. And so
Wait a minute, you said he was a camper, but he was sponsored.
he
by
had
Santa
just
Cruz?
gotten sponsored, but he'd already paid.
Oh.
Like he just got on, like getting boards
Okay.
from Santa Cruz.
Wow.
He was like a little dude, but he was he was probably 16. You know, like
Okay,
he was
yeah.
just a little 16-year-old.
Yeah, for sure.
And
That was before World then.
yeah. He was on Santa Cruz for
Yeah.
like a good year and a half.
Yeah.
He had a part in Strange Notes video,
Yep,
and
yep.
so he definitely like was in there. And then we've always been filming. You know, I've been filming since like I first started skating. We always had a camera, so I've definitely had a tape like, ooh, edit this together real fast, send it off. I hope it happens. And then, man, I got an actual call like pretty soon after, and I was like, hey man, we're sick. Like we need someone. Like we don't have anyone in your area. And
Who called you?
Gavin O'Brien. He was the team manager at the time.
You have the
sick.
fucking gnarliest memory.
Yeah.
It's crazy. No, it's fucking nuts.
It's everything's there.
It's crazy.
It's
I love
I don't
it.
know if it's a burden or not, but
No, but it's like something you're passionate about.
bums my
something
wife
that
out
you-
sometimes
Oh,
because I fucking know, I remember it, and so.
What, did you just blurt out like skate information
Nah,
to her?
I mean just
or-
like,
oh.
or
general.
just anything,
Yeah.
I remember what happened.
You're watching TV.
Not
you're
arguments,
like,
but I
That was a year Gonzalez did this in the day.
Oh yeah, everything's and everything's tied to like I know that was 87 that because I was riding a cab that year, and like you tie everything from when you started skating, it's all tied to like, oh, that's the summer.
Bro.
I'm sure you're like, oh, that's the summer we went to Barcelona. I know that's 97. Like
God bless that woman,
Right.
man.
everything's tied to skating.
Fuck.
So I've got a weird. It's definitely,
It's almost like a photographic
it is.
memory.
It's I can
To a certain
I can
extent.
recall like contest runs and what you places
is
people got and
That's
all
amazing.
that stuff. It helps for
Judging.
the thing I do, I guess.
Yeah,
it
for
works.
sure.
Hell yeah.
It works in a lot of different ways. So
That's a good thing though, dude. It's not
Yeah,
bad at all.
Sure, for sure. So you were the old guy at the camp.
I was the old guy at the camp.
Men Spencer send in a sponsor me. You probably
Yeah.
put your little name on the label with
Definitely
your phone
did.
number.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They
Sent
called.
it off. They called. Yeah,
They
Gavin
called and was
O'Brien.
like, "Hey man, we're gonna send you a box. What do you want?" And I remember ordering Bullet 66s were the wheels I fucking ordered. Like 66s,
Yeah.
like
Wait a
that's
minute,
what I wanted to get.
What were you riding back? What size were you riding back then?
I'm definitely not 66s. I mean, maybe the first package, but the next one was probably 55 Street Razors, like
But wait a
OJs.
minute. How are you knowing what to order? Are you looking at some type of magazine? Are you looking at the back?
No.
Like,
I
how
mean,
do you?
the skate shop. We all knew like what wheels were around, and I think I probably had watched Speed Freaks one too many times.
But what about the board?
And some dudes like they had all the wheels on the Speed Freaks. Like this was what this guy rides. Oh,
Okay,
66
okay.
bullets. And I was like, fuck, 66 bullets sound cool. And he goes, I remember he goes, really? And I was like, yeah. And then when they got there, I was like, these fucking things are huge.
Maybe you didn't.
Maybe I didn't
know
like
the
really know
millimeter,
like what. Yeah, I mean, I should have.
Yeah.
I'm a science
Still
dork. I
learning,
probably
still
should have known. But anyways, got a sick box. I still have the first board I got in that box. I kept that board.
Sick.
For
Wait a
some
minute,
reason,
wait a minute.
I thought like
Brand new.
No. I skated
you
the shit out of
skated
it.
it, yeah.
Stickers, but I didn't give it away. I didn't sell it to anybody. I kept it, and I still have that board at home.
Isn't it
so.
funny that you
sick.
do these weird things? Because I still have my first board.
You have
that
still
I
your
got.
first board?
My first board,
Damn, that's
Jason Lee
sick.
blind board. No grip tape, peeled the grip
Hamburger
tape off.
graphic?
No, actually, it said Support America.
Oh,
Jason
yeah.
Lee, the cars.
So sick.
Wow.
But I've never saved a board except for that one. I don't know why.
Yeah, I didn't save a ton. I should have saved a bunch. I saved the pro models, and then I didn't save any ridden boards. And,
I didn't either. I would,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
like who saves ridden boards?
Nah.
You know
I
what?
wish it was a whole complete.
Going into
Christian
Skate Zone
feedback.
one time,
Christian's feet
there
saves
was
his
a
board.
fucking stack. Going back to Lance Mountain,
Mm-hmm.
there was a stack for some reason of I think they were just clearing the warehouse out. Bonite Lance Mountains. It was this tall. They were $10 walking into Skate Zone, and I remember walking by and going, "Who the fuck wants a Bonite Lance Mountain?"
used.
Those are like no, they were brand new. They were
Whoa,
out of the
whoa.
warehouse.
You
Like,
could
hey, we're
sell
getting
those
rid of these things.
crazy right
This is
now.
'93,
Wow.
and I remember thinking like, ooh, that stack's worth like $200,000 now. You know, like, fuck, those boards are $2,500 a piece.
Wow.
I mean, maybe they're not. Collectors are probably gonna be like, "You fucking idiot! They're not $2,500." Like,
Whatever it is,
but
they're
they're
up there.
worth
exactly.
way more than $10.
No doubt.
But you know what I did grab? This Ray Barbie poster that was him doing a no comply. Like it's at my desk. I still have it. I was like, oh, Ray Barbie poster. That's fucking sick. Rolled that thing up and kept going. And like, I probably had $50 in my pocket. I could have grabbed 5 boards too.
Shit, could
Stoops.
you imagine? But you were already getting Santa Cruz stuff. Or
I was
before
just
that?
like, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
no one was collecting
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, we weren't thinking like that. back
Yeah,
then.
my now me
Yeah.
is like,
Oh my
ooh, get
God.
that time machine going, man. Let's get back to the
1000%.
skate zone.
Yeah.
Wait, what
Have a
board?
good session.
What boards did you ask for in the box?
They just sent me. I got 2 Jason Jesse boards. The V8 with the flaming Santa Cruz logo on the front, and then after that, it was like pretty soon after that, they're like, hey, we're coming up with this new technology. It's called Everslick. We want you to try these out. And so then after that, it was like Everslick boards. And it was always, I would always order Tom Knox boards because I'm like, Tom Knox was my dude. Like,
That was a huge
that
time.
was my guy. So.
Everslick was pretty big when they came out with
Yeah,
that.
it was interesting. I remember thinking like, really? They're like, yeah, you don't need rails. You don't need it. It just goes. And I'm like, that seems crazy.
Did they patent that idea or something?
I think they definitely did the name Everslick.
Oh, okay.
But then slick bottom boards became like, it was just a thing you could put on your board.
Yeah.
Everyone had slicks after that.
Yeah, that's what
But
I
they
remember.
definitely had the first like thing. It was like Everslick.
Everslick, yeah.
I feel like
But they
BBC
were
might have had
patent that name.
What, Rush?
I feel like BBC had Everslick before them.
Oh, maybe. Well,
It was like a
did
the bottom of a snowboard. The
Oh,
P-Tex.
right.
Ah, right.
did those Z skins came out maybe around the same time too? Remember Z rollers? They used to have the skin like they had like it was like a sticker you could put on your board.
yes,
and
yes.
make an Everslick.
Yes.
You could put it on the tail. You could put it on the nose.
Yep.
You could put it on the middle. Yeah.
What?
Z skins.
Z skins.
Yeah. And so it was like an adhesive, but that shit would peel up.
Yeah.
You know, like it can only ride like
For so long.
unless you slid it to where like it smoothed out. I think it was probably gonna fall off at some point.
Yeah.
The edges, got to
Yeah, you can't have a.
like the grip tape.
Yeah.
gotta shake
And then it
the
starts
edge.
making that
Yeah.
weird noise and shit, flapping around.
Oh yeah, man. Rails all over the place, like flapping.
I used to just use masking tape for my entire board.
You what?
I took masking tape and put it on all across my bottom of my board.
To try to make a slick?
Yeah.
No way. That's
I'm not
amazing.
surprised though.
No wonder he likes
That's
to.
it.
I think
Well,
on
that's
that
to try
box
things
product
out.
up over here.
on that first board my cousin had, for some reason it didn't have a skid plate, and I was worried that I was going to ruin it, so I put duct tape all over the tail, thinking like, oh, that'll protect
Save
it.
it, yeah.
Horrible.
Like it'll
Yeah.
protect it, and it's like you go
Horrible.
flying right as soon as you touch the ground, fucking straight. To
Roger
the
learned, and then he never did it again. I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Roger was probably onto something at that time.
Yeah.
You know, slide a little bit further. Did it work, Raj?
Sort of.
Yeah. I guarantee you, I'm going to see him
First few slides.
putting masking tape
But-
on his
Yeah.
board over here.
Even when the slicks came out, I was curb dancing so much back then. I still was riding rails.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, but it was
Oh,
great
over
for
the-
no
over the
slides.
slick.
Over the slick, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's you know.
Yeah.
You
It's
gotta
the
get
extra. Yeah.
You gotta,
We'll take it.
but for tail slide and no slide, it was banging.
Definitely.
Heavy as fuck though.
It was. The boards were slightly heavy.
They were heavy.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you're Santa Cruz. When do you get on Santa Cruz? Like,
So it would be like skate camp. I was there like probably June 1990. I was my first box probably arrived, and I want to say August or September 1990. Like it was real quick.
Okay.
And then it was like, man, that first box.
Best.
God.
The best.
I mean, even
if
the
you could
parents probably are like,
and, like,
whoa.
oh, if you could relive one day, what would it be? The UPS truck pulling up, dude coming out with the box. Oh my God!
It's insane.
Rip the box of stickers open. Your whole house smells like new stickers. Fuck, man, you can't beat that shit,
Hey, shout out to Spencer Fujimoto.
dude. He hooked
Making
it up,
it all
man.
happen.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I remember. I think Ron actually was like, "You should go to Santa Cruz. You don't want Blockhead." But I always liked Blockhead. Blockhead was cool. Like the video was out at the time. Might have been Splendid Eye Torture. It might have been like the Rick Howard first
Yeah,
part.
for
And
sure.
I remember thinking like, "Ooh, that company's sick." I could have been teammates with Sinclair.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
But Santa Cruz was tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were so many people on when I got on.
On Santa Cruz.
Jason Adams, Spencer, all those pros. I think they had 26 AMs on when I first got on. It was
what?
fucking nuts.
Now, are we talking flow or actual
I'm talking like
AMs?
I would get a team letter typed out, and it would have all the dudes' names that were on the team. They had dudes on the East Coast, dudes in the Midwest, and then I remember Gavin's like, "Hey man, we're doing a huge team cut, so I'll let you know what happens." And I'm like, "Oh fuck!" Like getting kind of
Jeez.
fucking nervous,
Yeah.
They cut it down to 4 AMs
Whoa.
Out of 26.
out of 26. Some of the dudes left. Adams went to Think.
Okay.
Spencer left, went to World.
Yep,
Some of the dudes kind of, and I think when they left, they didn't put any new dudes back on, But they filtered it out, man. And that was like, 'cause times were getting lean.
Yeah.
They're talking 91, late 91. Man, I'm sure
A lot
the
of
budgets
adjustments.
were fucked pretty quick, real quick. Like, woo.
Especially when you're a big company like that. At
Yeah,
that
it's hard to
time.
adjust, man. It's hard to
Yeah.
steer the big ship fast,
Because there's only so many. There was probably like a handful of
Yeah.
companies that were really doing well.
Yeah, and it was, most definitely World.
Yeah.
Like they were doing
They were crushing
so
it.
much business that all these other guys were like, how do we, but Santa Cruz is doing great with their, and Powell, I'm sure their distribution's always been so good. You know,
Yeah.
from a business side now,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm like the dork that's like doing it now. I'm like, oh yeah, but they were selling to Europe, and Europe wasn't having a downturn at that point, and they're probably killing it in Japan and Australia. So they're able to like survive those waves, whereas some of the other guys, it was tougher.
So you were one of the 4?
I was one of the 4.
Wow.
I can't remember who the other guys were. William Nguyen, he made the cut.
Okay.
We're
We're talking AMs.
Me, Caesar might have been on at the time.
Ooh.
Caesar Singh.
Butters.
Okay.
He from Long Beach too?
No, he Salinas. I think he was like just out on the other side of Monterey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like.
But he moved down to. Didn't he move? To
he lived in Long Beach for a second.
Okay,
He was
okay.
there during the Planet Earth days.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, Ty was filming him.
Oh yeah,
believe.
he was in Silver.
Yeah.
Ty's first video.
Yeah.
Silver.
So good.
And you don't remember the 4th? Or
I don't remember who else was on.
Maybe
yeah.
you were the 4th.
Gershon was on.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gershon was on.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
yeah, that was like the pretty much like the AM team.
Wait a minute. Did they tell you that you? So after they cut
Yeah, I got
everybody,
on.
then you were like on.
And I think I still have the letter. It was like, congratulations, you guys made the cut.
fucking
Here's
Willy
our new
Wonka
fucking
over
AM.
here.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking got the golden ticket.
Yeah, I got lucky, man. I got lucky.
Santa Cruz games.
Yeah, Santa Cruz games.
Wow.
Fuck.
So, yeah.
So now you're
Made
AM.
it
You're
through.
doing this thing, and then
Skating
now what?
contests.
Are you? Listen, when you're getting flowed by them, are you constantly sending them footage?
I think I just got put on the AM team.
Seriously.
I don't think it was a flow program. It was just like,
You're
I went
AM.
from like, here's my sponsor me video. Hey, you're AM. But it was kind of like that back then.
Totally.
There wasn't really like flow. You like got on. Like,
You weren't
right-
getting paid though.
No pay for AMs until like
Yeah,
I think
later.
that stuff came
Yeah.
like after my generation.
Well, even World was paying it.
you guys started getting like early.
When I first
one of the
got
first-
on Blind, I definitely got paid. I got
Yeah.
paid like $100, and then it went to $300.
Yeah.
I think 8th Street was one of the first ones to like start paying like maybe
Gotcha.
AMs. I think I skated a lot with Ocean Howell back then, a
Sick.
ton, and I think he got a little bit of scratch here and there, which was cool. I would just get packages to sell, and that was always like, here's an extra box,
Right,
you
for
know,
sure.
make sure you can like keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, I would go down to. I would go down there quite a bit and skate with Ocean and Mark Wyndham and stuff. So that was always, and that was another like one of those people that like, I got to the point where I got sponsored, and then like you're doing your thing in Long Beach with your same friends, and then start linking up with people like that, and then you're like, holy shit, these dudes are fucking serious. Like, not serious at skating, they're having a good time. They're just so fucking good, you can't believe it.
Yeah.
And Mark Wyndham was light years like,
Ahead of
oh
everybody.
my god. If you watch some of those old blockhead parts, you're just like, holy shit. Switchback big spin down a 4-stair to start a line in 92.
Wow.
Like, you're just like, what? What's going on? So I skated with Lottie quite a bit back then. With like,
Lottie too.
because Lottie would come in with Ocean and like go skate, and we'd go to Carlsbad Elementary or like one of those places. Same
Those
spots.
3 were ahead of their time, big time.
Yeah, man, it was cool. And
Ocean
Mark
and
Mark
Howell.
made such a crazy quick break out of skating. He was just clean break. Never
Mark-
saw him again. Mark
Really?
Wyndham.
Interesting.
Dusted.
What's he doing now?
I honestly don't. I think he went to seminary school, and he moved to the Midwest and maybe became a pastor or something like that.
Crazy.
But like, I just remember he was gone like one day. Ocean was still on Birdhouse and like doing thing, but
That's right.
Mark was gone.
Birdhouse.
So
Big
Hey,
fan. Big
but
fan. of
Ocean was
Howell.
butters.
Random question: when did you guys start seeing contracts come into the situation in skateboarding, like with like writing for people?
I had a contract when I turned pro for Santa Cruz,
Okay.
but it's always the hard goods ones are always so loose.
Yeah.
It's like a nod where it's like, if you want to get off, you can get off, and if we want to kick you off, we can kick you off. But here's how much we're gonna pay you. So like,
Yeah.
it's pretty. I feel like it's pretty loose
Cut and
on
dry.
both sides.
Right,
Like
right.
if you don't.
Well, they
wanna-
just want to. If you do quit, they just want to sell your boards.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. And then back then, I mean, our boards were coming out every 2 months, a new board.
That
so
quickly.
I didn't even get a chance to like have a board in a magazine like to promote by the time the next graphic came out.
Gotcha.
Like you couldn't even get a photo quick enough in a magazine while that graphic was out before the next like one. Like
Yeah.
that board behind you, that like Star Wars graphic, like Santa Cruz board,
Oh yeah.
that was gone by the time like the next graphic came out. And so you're like, oh, like it was really hard for those places to, and it was hard as a pro to make money at that time because you couldn't generate any hype for a board graphic.
Right.
You're just like, on to the next one. Oh, we made 500. We sold those 500. And you got paid $1 a board. Yeah, you didn't make over your minimum, dude.
Yeah,
Sorry, we only made 500 of them, and you're getting 600 a month. So like,
Right.
sorry.
Yeah.
So when you first got AM to turning pro, how long was that? How long did that
2
take?
years. That's pretty fast.
2 years?
I was on the fast track, I guess.
So 18, 19. So by 20,
Yeah.
you're pro.
Yeah. Couple video parts. Actually, they pumped out pretty fast video parts. Had a part in Troops of Tomorrow. That was the first video I had, and that was
Troops of
like
Tomorrow.
early '91. All homie footage.
Oh.
I went out and filmed with Ortiz. Ortiz was filming.
Yeah.
Back then, he was doing everything because he was shooting photos. He's just doing what he could to,
Multitask.
And I remember I filmed so much footage with him. I was like, man, I can't wait to see my part. It's gonna be so sick. Like, it's gonna be fucking 4 minutes long. They're probably gonna need 2 songs. And then it's like 30 seconds in this like montage, and it's only the homie footage I sent them, and none of that stuff. And I just remember going, what the fuck? But you don't like. There were no video premieres. You just got the box. You got your boards, and hey, the video's in the box. I'm like, oh shit! Everyone come over. We're gonna watch this shit. And then like you see it, and you're like,
What happened to the Ortiz footage?
I never knew.
What?
It never came.
I do not know what happened to it.
And you never asked him since?
I think I asked them at the time, like, hey man, like what happened to that footage? And they're just like, oh, we just couldn't fit it in. But realistically, this is like the first video I'm in. I'm not gonna get fucking top billing.
Yeah.
And like me,
Yeah.
and I think Williams in that one, Edward DeVera's in that one. There's like, it's all quick. It's like they're gonna show like, yeah, Dressen's getting the fucking 3-minute part, dumb shit. You're not getting that part, man. Knox is getting that part. Like, but in your head you're like, dude, I gave him like 5 minutes of edited footage.
You invited all your buddies over to have a premiere.
But then,
in
the
montage.
yeah, videos weren't an hour long still. They were like a proper length video. It was 25 minutes long. You could actually watch that video from beginning to end. Right. So anyways, yeah, so they got the part in that video. Still stoked. Yeah. Obviously, but still like, oh, hey, reality kind of set in. And then what did they do after that? High Karate. That was the next video. Santa Cruz and SMA at the same time.
Yeah. High Karate.
And I had the Ender. That was my only Ender, I think. Ender part.
Last
What
part.
video? What video?
In High Karate, in that one.
That was High Karate. You got that in here?
Yeah.
I love the names for these videos.
I know.
High Karate was like
tomorrow and like
they
It's like a Strange Notes thing almost.
Yeah.
High Karate was like some shitty cologne, and so they spliced like the commercial. They would like splice that into the video to make it kind of funny. That was Kendall taking over from Gavin. So
Jeff Kendall.
that was right when Jeff Kendall took over as like the TM.
What year did High Karate come out?
Early '92, maybe late '91.
Wow. So yeah.
And then Big Pants Small Wheels after that.
Ah, okay. So how long were you?
BPSW.
You like that name, Kelly?
Yeah, it's like how he looked at
Big
me
Pants,
too. He's
Small
like,
Wheels.
yeah.
So you're on Santa Cruz. I take it everything's going fine, but you actually left to go to Foundation.
Yep.
How and why did you go to Foundation?
Oh, hold on. Big Pants Small Wheels. Since I just said it, I got something.
yeah.
I got something to show Chris.
Another what? Another
This is what we used
Look
to
at
ride
this
right here.
fucking Wheel.
Oh, you have
bro.
I got a couple. I got let Chris
my
in, but then that's a 40. This one's a 42. That's a big ass wheel right here.
Bro.
42.
Big ass
That's a
wheel.
40.
No, I used to ride these, bro. Not this.
Look
brand.
at how
Dude,
weird
it's
it looks in your
insane.
hand, though.
I know. That's so
That doesn't even
crazy.
look like a
Imagine
skateboard
getting
wheel.
but imagine getting a pack of these wheels. So I mean, they're obviously yellow now, but the
Yeah.
white,
Yes.
crispy white wheel. That's what I mean. You're
When I would go
you're
filming,
hyped.
though, I had to bring a lot of those. Like, if you're gonna go do a manual trick and film a manual trick, I'm bringing like 2 sets of wheels for fun, just in case I
What?
flat spot the shit out of.
Yeah.
Right when you
Have it
start filming, you
real
flat spot.
easy.
You're like,
Yeah.
like a.
And I
a pit
almost
crew.
feel like the wheels
So
back then
rad.
flat spotted
They did
way easier.
That thing right there would probably. Flat
I feel
spot
like
so
I would be
fast.
rolling around nonstop
Yeah.
everywhere I went.
Yeah.
And that's why I would buy shit off Girl and Chocolate dudes
Yeah.
at the courthouse because I mean they're sending me wheels for $10 a pack.
Of course.
What was the wheels that came out that you got 6 wheels?
Yeah, they did.
Real small wheels.
Real small wheels.
Real small wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got 6 wheels.
6 wheels for the price
you
of
could-
4.
So
But
you get
really,
good deal.
But really, it was probably like because this is only a tiny amount of urethane.
You see that one?
You're not really selling. It doesn't really. It doesn't really cost as much to make those wheels.
That's
For
true.
sure.
Yeah.
Look, 42 millimeters, 101A. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, those are
So,
tiny. Those are
thank you
really
for these,
small.
man.
Yeah, man. there's collectors out there that
No,
have full
I'm-
sets of those things.
I'm sure.
It's crazy.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's wild. I only kept for some reason I had a couple still left.
I love it.
Well, I had
love
the
it.
Chris Sam one because
I'm gonna put these
little
right
Star
here.
Wars one. That's kind of
Put these up
sick.
there for now.
So
Set a pair
yeah,
of those up.
I got let's see, turning pro also was just
Yeah.
kind of like a thing. Like you just, hey, you want to turn pro? Like, hey, there's a contest in Venice this weekend. Kendall was like, maybe you should skate in it, and I was like,
Pro contest.
are you telling me you want me to skate in the pro contest? And he's like, yeah, you like I had won enough AM contests by then that like I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, there's nowhere else for you to go. Like you should just skate the pro contest. And
Because you were a contest
I'm like-
guy, right? You were
I
entering all
definitely
the contests.
I knew how to skate a contest. I liked it. I didn't like, and it's not like the competition. I liked skating the course by myself
In
for your
front
run.
of a lot of
yeah, like you could just kind of tune it out.
Yeah.
Tune it out.
Tune it out.
I love
yeah, it was
that.
like it was fun. It was it's a cool challenge.
You got your own skate park to you.
Well,
do
you
it
know what?
yourself.
From watching all those contest videos, all the NSA contest videos that we would grow up watching, Oceanside, 85. The 86 one was the banging one because that was the one with Gons where he fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Killed it. And we would watch those, and then we would like set our jump ramp up and set our flat bar up, and we would try to like figure a run out back then. For in the dry, in the street like that we were at. And so I don't know, we grew up doing that. Like it was fun. So I feel like it maybe just half-ass prepared me to skate contests because like, oh, I can put a 1 minute run together without falling. No problem. Like let's make it happen. So, so yeah, I like won. I won a couple quartermasters, the AM ones and the shop one. I think I got first and Castle finals. In like Turlock, California. I won. I would always do well in 16 and over. It was like me and Kareem. All the other dudes had turned pro by then. The first AM contest I skated, Carroll, Howard, Bertino, Costin, baby Mark Johnson. It was at oh my gosh, San Diego, Murphy Canyon.
Murphy Canyon.
So it was like I have a couple of the runs on tape, and you're like, Mirko Mangum, you're up next. Fabian Alomar, get ready. Like, but there were so many like McNatt killing it, back 360 tail grab 1 foot over the hip, and I was just like, what the fuck, dude? Like this is, but those dudes turned pro pretty quick after that. So then the Castle guys left was like me, Kareem, Daewon would always win 15 and under.
It's amazing.
Always.
Yeah.
And so, I remember winning that. And I think Russ Pope and Berto both like put in the word, and they were like, hey, he's kind of like
He's done
peaked.
it all.
He's done the AM contest thing. Like you should just throw him in, and then you can figure it out after that. So skated the Venice one, not the one in the parking lot right next to here.
Yeah.
But the one that was at the beach that was ended up being in questionable, some of the footage. Javante tray flip over the really steep hip.
Yes.
Maybe there was a car
We're
there.
skating the car too.
They were skating the car.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I
I
never
was in the
realized.
parking lot in the is it Santa Monica or Venice parking lot? One of these
I don't
parking
think I've
lots.
ever-
Like on the
Yeah.
beach?
It was on the beach. It was
Okay.
like on the beach.
I don't
Okay.
think I realized that was there.
Yeah, that was there. Solomon won. That was the
Oh.
first dude I ever saw do like nollie backside flip on a bank. Switch
So
nose manualed a like filing cabinet. He was so fucking good. Oh my
His
god,
switch
man.
game was pretty.
Yeah, it was
on par
it was
at that
shocking.
time.
I remember skating in San Jose, because I would go up there a bunch with Santa Cruz, like, oh, go skate with like Jason Adams, stay at Spencer's house, whatever. And we went skating with Solomon one day, and he was skating the whole play. We skated to the market and skated somewhere. The whole time he skated switch. He never once skated regular footed, and I was like, oh, this is weird. And he was just starting out like learning it, but he like focused on it. He was like, I'm gonna learn how to skate the other way. So he like months of it like that, and I was like, wow, that was dedication. Because we would try to do switch tricks, switch front pop shove it, but then we'd go back to like our good shit,
Right,
like, oh,
right,
hey, like,
right.
you don't want to look like a sucker.
Yeah.
He didn't like, he was fucking good at it right out the gate, but he looked comfortable. Like that's how he looked so comfortable at it.
Did people look at Switch back then like it was kind of whack or weird?
No, not at all.
No?
no, it
But
was
you just wanted to look good on your board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
you just wanted to
were gonna
look,
do that,
and
for sure.
and styles were kind of sketchy. We were, dribbling flips on the ground and stuff. So like, you, as good as you could do it regular, you knew the switch one you did was going to be even worse. And so they didn't look at it weird. You were just trying to innovate. It was just innovation.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're just trying to learn new tricks constantly. Like
Yeah.
I would go out at night and like try to learn a trick every night I skated, like a new trick. Like, oh, like I can do blunt slides. Like maybe a blunt slide to fakie nose grind tonight, and you get that and try to get it dialed, and you're like, oh, next night I'm gonna do switch blunt slide big spin, pop shove it nose blunt big spin. Like whatever, like take it to like the fucking way too extreme, and end up
Pop shove it, nose
you
blunt,
just
big spin.
driving it down to the ground.
Yeah. So did you felt you were ready to turn pro?
I guess I remember just thinking like, I could skate a pro contest. Sure.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've skated with a bunch of those dudes in AM contests. I could skate with them in a pro contest.
For you, it wasn't really about the video parts; it was more about the contest, or was
a little
it
bit of both. Contests
yeah.
were just a bonus. I just like had fun at them, and I was like, cool. I never thought like, oh, I'm gonna do good. I'm gonna like make my career being a contest guy.
Yeah,
There wasn't really any money in contests, and there wasn't any money in being pro either. So I just kind of just was going like, cool, I can do good at contest, and if they think that's cool, then all right, I'll do that.
It.
There were dudes that just didn't skate contests and were doing videos, but it still had that like, it was a little bit of that like, hey, you still got to skate a contest here and there, and you got to kind of do good. The NSA AM finals was like a big deal if you made it to the AM finals, and I worked my way through the regionals and the whatever qualifiers and got to the AM finals, so that was always like, okay, cool, like you made it, you're the top of the top, like you made it to Houston. They flew to Houston to skate the AM finals, and maybe Matt Pales won that one.
Oh, sick.
Matt Beach killed it. Matt Pales. Yeah, it was. So you got there. So then I think you like check all the boxes.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, what's next? Like, it wasn't like the one defining video part, but I definitely had like 3 parts. So I guess I did something.
Why the move from Santa Cruz to Foundation?
So I skated the Venice contest and got like 10th.
Okay.
And then the next contest after that was Encinitas at the YMCA, and I won. Somehow, fucking won the contest.
Won it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The like street finals.
Perfect.
There was 125 pros in it.
Fuck.
What?
Yeah. It was fucking crazy.
What
And
tricks were you doing? Do you remember what tricks?
I can remember my line.
Yeah, what would you do?
Of course he can remember his
Yeah.
line.
Man, back tail,
What are you talking to?
back tail off the transition onto the box. Nose Manny to turn around because that was always the go-to.
But was it the nose Manny to turn around to then turn around again?
No, I just went to fakie because then it was half cab flip after.
I used to love that trick. The man,
Oh,
the
man.
nose
I still-
Manny will
I
turn
still
around
run 'em.
and then,
I
and
still
then
run 'em.
turn around at the end.
Yeah.
Javante.
I think I definitely saw like Henry or someone do it.
Oh, so
And then-
good. Everybody was doing that
Yeah.
shit.
Do you know who I saw do 5-0 to switch crooks for the first time and was like, fuck, I think I could do that. This guy.
Dubs.
What?
At Encinitas at an AM contest that we were at. And you were skating this like curb high, like single-sided box. And you were like, you might have just been learning them. You didn't even make one.
For sure.
And I came home, I was like, fuck, I'm learning that shit. That shit was, that shit was sick, dude.
Do you remember that, Dubs?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, there's certain
This
tricks
was at a
that-
contest?
Yeah, but I mean, you would do that.
Yeah.
You would learn stuff on a whim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take it to the contest and try to see if it don't work.
And that was my first Santa Cruz ad. That was the first ad I ever had. 5-0, switch crooks, big spin out on a sequence.
Video
So
or no?
sick.
Video grab.
Video grab.
For sure,
Okay.
video
Yeah,
grab.
video
Yeah,
grab.
for
It was
sure,
hot
for
at
sure,
that
video
time.
grab.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
That's so rad.
a lot of
But I
fun.
remember like seeing you do it and you like just seeing you do it and get into it. And I'm like, damn, that was fucking sick. I got to learn that one. Biter. I was
so
a biter,
crazy.
man. I'm
No,
sorry.
But it's so crazy because at that time, like, I think I'm not trying to say, oh, I did this before fucking.
The first person I ever saw even definitely didn't see anyone
But
do
I
it.
saw, what was it? Guy did. Was it Guy or Brian Lottie? No,
Oh,
Brian
he-
Lottie
at the
did it in the
at the pit.
At the pit.
Not the pit, but the casting, the pond.
the pond.
Yeah.
The pond.
But
He did
that
it at
was
the pond.
before I hadn't seen that, and I had already been doing it, and then the video came out, so you would automatically
Yeah, you're like,
assume,
oh, he
you've
must have done
seen
it
that.
before me.
Like, but I
Yeah.
was like, nah, I did that shit before. I saw it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it was a trip, man. It was.
I did that before I saw it. And then, sure enough, I ended up having a real ad, and that was one of the sequences at EMB on the block.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
saw.
that was after the fact, and you know.
Wait a minute. The Brian Lottie, you're talking about the Tim and Henry's Pack
Yeah,
of
he
Lies.
does it. He does it
Yeah.
at the
pond.
At the pond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the first time you guys saw it in a video. Was that one that Lottie
I
did?
saw him do it before that video.
But
that
that was the
I
first
saw
time.
him trying it way before that video came out.
Right.
Like I'm talking like a year, probably a year and a half before that video came out.
How did you get the inspiration? Wait, so you saw Lottie do it, or you?
No,
just,
he did it.
No, he
So-
was doing them before. He's saying he did. Like,
How did you think of trying that trick?
I mean, dude, you
It's
go out and
evolution.
You do-
skate,
you know
go
now
out and
5-0
skate like
yeah.
a curb by your house, and like this would be a daily thing for me to like go skate this curb across the street from my house on Sherman Way in Balboa, not Sherman Way in Balboa, but Sherman Way, and I would just go across the street to this little like abandoned, like not even abandoned, but just building that closed down at 5, and I would skate there all day, and I'm sure enough I did it there.
yeah.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
Probably did a couple 5-0 tail slides enough times that it like just
Yeah.
kind of slid in.
It
And you're
just
like,
went
oh,
right
fuck.
right into it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
For sure.
Sick.
Bro.
It's amazing.
That's funny.
Crazy.
So you won the contest.
So, man, being knowing how contest formats work, and being definitely like a contest organizer now, man, that contest was fucked up. 125 dudes, one cut, 25 cut.
Oh,
you
and
either
I barely made it. I was 22nd place or something like that. So I'm the third person to go, and they're like, "Hey, it's getting dark because it's taking a long time. One run finals. So I'm the third dude to go, and I'm whatever one nose manual fucking switch around. Remember the wedge? There was
Encinitas?
Encinitas,
Yes,
just
yes,
it was a no pyramid top wedge.
Yep.
Fucking guy does frontside half cap flip over it, and questionable. It's super. It was super fun. I remember backside flip over it, trick on the bank, tray flip over it the other way, come all the way around, a fakie 5 with this little flat bar, and I'm you're kind of in the groove, and I'm oh shit, I'm kind of doing good, whatever. And then I'm they're 5 seconds. I'm oh cool, end my run with there's a quarter pipe on the far side. It's got a little shitty channel, and I was just kickflip into the channel, not over the channel, just a backside kickflip, where you land in the channel.
Got you.
I'm going up, and fucking Tony Hawk sitting on the top of the roll-in, and he looks at me and he goes, "Make it," and I'm fucking everything.
Wait a minute, you're skating up to this thing, and
he's just
hear
sitting
Tony
there.
Hawk say,
I just saw him, and I was oh fuck, I haven't bailed yet. Oh my god, I'm gonna ruin my run right now because everything closed in, and I'm oh, reality set in. Oh fuck, Tony Hawk's watching me right now. Oh god, and it was the most dog shit kickflip you've ever seen, but it rolled. And then it rolled under my feet.
And you made it.
And,
Wow.
nice.
And then I remember hearing them call off the top 10, because it was they weren't going to call all 25. At the end of the contest, they're 10th place, blah blah blah, 9th place, Danny Way, 8th place, Costin, and
wow.
and then it's top 3, and I'm oh man, guess I didn't make it, man. And then it's 2nd place, Tim Brosh, and 1st place, and then they call my name. I'm what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? How on earth?
rare.
But I rink-dinked my way into a win because I didn't bail. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's how judging was back then.
Yeah.
You didn't bail, you're going to fucking win. And it was a one-run final, and I'm the only one who didn't bail. And Danny Way's back 3 over that pyramid into that tranny was harder than anything I did in my whole run. But that's just how shit was judged back then. So. But Solomon judged that contest. He was hurt. So I remember him coming up and being hey man, fucking congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is there?
So
Did someone film that? Do you have that footage?
Stefan Attardo apparently filmed it, and he fucking recorded over it, I think.
Yeah.
He recorded it as a fan, with his pops' camcorder. I've never seen any footage of it. He's dude, we used to watch that shit all the time, and then Rich Caldwell recorded over it or someone.
Oh my
I was
God.
fuck man, that would have been cool to see. Thanks.
How does winning that contest correlate with you getting off Santa
So I
Cruz and going
won-
to Foundation?
$1,500.
That was a prize
Big
money.
ass check. I bought it.
They gave you the big check?
No, I got a little check, but
Oh.
$1,500 at the time was
Yeah.
a big
I thought
check.
they gave you
Yeah.
Publishers Clearinghouse
No, and then I bought a 1970 Nova hot rod.
check. Okay.
Straight out hell yeah, I'm gonna fucking
Okay.
hot rod.
Did you have a car before that?
I had a shitty ass Celica 75. It was
So it was
it it died at Ocean Howell's house, and I called a junkyard, and they gave me $50 for it. They came and got it.
Perfect.
I threw a rod in the engine. It wasn't gonna work again, and so we just left it at the junkyard, and I got a ride home from my homie Lou. He came all the way down to get me. But yeah, I remember did good in the contest. Kind of felt all right, fuck man, I just won a contest. Can we get a board going? And then it was oh, hey,
Wait a minute. I thought you already had a board.
No. I just turned
this
pro.
was the contest
I
that
just
they
turned
said
pro.
to
They
go
were
to get
I went to
okay.
Venice, and then the next month was Encinitas.
Okay.
Won that, and I kind of was, I was feeling fucking good. Hey man, maybe I should get a board now because I turned pro, and I obviously did pretty good at this contest.
Wait. Let me. So pros didn't get boards back then?
Not right away. You had to work your way into getting a board.
You're just in the pro contest.
Yeah, I just skated a pro contest.
I
You didn't
see.
get it's cool now. I love the you're fucking pro. They make up
party.
up
Yeah.
some cool thing where
For
I
sure.
remember maybe it was the Mike Mo one where he was at the Hollywood Park and everyone was riding his board and he didn't notice.
Corey
Kennedy.
Oh, Corey Kennedy. That's shit amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
We didn't
we
get
didn't have that.
We
We
didn't
didn't
get
have
that shit.
Yeah. They just hated
You got a board in a box and you're here's your board.
Yeah.
But
which is still amazing.
but I didn't. I did like
But,
they
yeah,
turned.
it's
You
not
know,
the
remember they like turned someone else pro, and then they turned someone else pro, and they're like, hey, you're gonna be next though. Oh, you're gonna be next. And I was like, oh man. And I remember like at the time I was a little chapped, and you know you're 20, like you're a fucking idiot, right? So like you're like sensitive about like stuff. We were filming for Big Pants Small Wheels, and went to go skate. You definitely know the school. It was Santa Monica spot. It was a 2-stair, waxed on top. Rick Howard, I think, did heel back nose blunt on it.
Hamilton.
It's
No. It's called Hamilton School.
It's not there no more.
No. I'm sorry, not Hamilton. McKinley.
McKinley, yes, McKinley, exactly. That
McKinley.
place, it was fucking great.
Yes.
I went there to go skate with just some friends one day, and Kendall was there, and I think he was with like maybe Andy Roy and like someone else. The Santa Cruz dudes were there filming, and I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, I live in Long Beach. You guys are in Santa Monica. What the fuck are you doing here? I remember just being so bummed, like, and then they're like, oh, yeah, we're just down here filming for the video. You want to get some footage? And I'm like, well, yeah, man, it would have been cool if you would have called me. And so they were on a filming mission. They were obviously like, but that was like my shit. Like, that was my spot. Like, a 2-stair and a fucking manual pad. Like, sign me up.
That was a great spot.
I got like 3 lines in that video
spot.
from that day.
Okay.
But I just remember like that stuck. Like, oh man, like these dudes really, are they like down, or maybe I'm just like whatever.
Right.
And riding for NHS back then, if you weren't in like that zone all the time, you're just kind of like forgotten.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, because there's no cell phones. No one's communicating with anyone. I'm definitely skating, but they don't know you're skating and what you're doing all the time.
For sure.
And so you definitely get left out of a lot of stuff. And I probably should have been more active, where I should have been like going up there, staying with dudes, skating all the time, whatever. But you know, your comfort zone is back home, so like you're just skating and stuff. So definitely like was skating with Richard Mulder a lot at the time.
Yes.
Skating with Josh Beagle a lot at the time. And one day Mulder was just like, hey man, be cool if you should get on Foundation. And I'd never even, like, it didn't even cross my mind to quit ever. And I was like, what? Like, Foundation? Like, you, Beagle, man, that dude Ronnie Krieger that just got on, he's fucking sick. And I'm like, damn, like, and this dude Tony Brasino was on. Like, they had sick guys. It was it was a fun team. And I'd never had, like, I was friends with William. And I didn't know Caesar at the time really, but like William, I got this dude Frankie Mata on Santa Cruz, so he was like one of my dudes, and he was San Bernardino guy. But like, I didn't like, I wasn't tight with anyone on the
And those
team,
guys
really.
are down here.
Yeah,
The Foundation guys are down
Foundation
here.
are guys like I'm skating with them. We're going to Ramona all the time. We're going to 7th Street together. You know, we're going to like the spots. They go to come skate AT&T with me and skate the manual pads. And so you got that thing where you're like, well, it'd be pretty cool to be on a team with some friends. Like that would be sick.
Yeah.
And so I called up Kendall and was like, hey man, I think I'm gonna bounce, you know? And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna quit. Like, you know, these dudes are cool. Like, they're my friends. Like, I skate with them all the time. I don't skate with anyone on the team. And he's like, and he was like pretty bummed, you know, but like, of course, like, and I remember I kind of knew like for me, skating was going to be a little bit fleeting. Like, I knew my place. Like, I wasn't going to get on world. Like, I wasn't that good. I was pretty good. I could, you know, win a contest. But like I knew my window was like pretty short. So I'm like, I should do something fucking cool with these dudes.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Huh.
And so, bounced, got on Foundation. They put
Did you already talk to them on Foundation? Like you could get on, or you just talking?
No,
to
he was
Richard?
like, I think it was like, yeah, you're on. So like, as soon as he told me I was on, I quit.
Okay.
I didn't make that mistake where I'm like, oh fuck, they're not going to put me on.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh,
That's no. Luckily, I could have easily made that mistake, but luckily I made it in the right order. I waited till I got like I maybe got a box or something, and then I was like, okay, I got to call these dudes, you know. And that's like a stressful call. Have you ever quit a team? It sucks.
Yeah, here and there. Never really like quit, but
You've quit?
Yeah, I've like
That call sucks, man.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially at a young age. Sometimes you just you just don't know how to do it.
There's plenty of dudes that don't make the call.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're
They
just like, oh,
bounce.
they'll just fucking they'll
They
hear
had
word.
two,
Yeah,
they had
they'll
two
hear
ads
word
in the
enough.
magazine for two different.
We can get to that.
Well,
So, because I was there that day.
oh, you were.
Yeah, I was at Foundation when it went down. It was fucking sick.
Let's continue. We'll get.
So, yeah,
we'll
quit.
get, yeah.
And yeah, like, I had probably a little bit of homie footage that we just used for that cocktails video. So the Foundation video came out like right as I got on. It's like, hey, we're putting this video together. You got any footage? I'm like,
Here's some
we're
shit.
always filming.
Right.
My homie videos, I filmed more of those than I filmed regular video parts. We just always had videos come out with like 508 crew and the sellouts and like whatever. So I had footage, like threw it to him. I don't think I was riding one Foundation board in my part in that video. It was just like, some at the end of Santa Cruz too, it was also weird. I didn't ride any of their boards.
Why?
I hated the concave. It was so steep. And I rode some SMA boards because I was like a little bit tighter with those dudes. Like I was tight with Jason Adams, tight with Tim Brosh. For some reason, it's like riding the other board. But then also it got into that time where like riding the other board was cool. Like I rode Apollo Diaz stereo board or something like that. I rode a bunch of firm boards and they came out like, and I was on, I put big Santa Cruz stickers on them, but like they were flat and I liked that style. And
you just trade them in at the shop.
Yeah. Down in Zimbabwe.
Try to hide it as best you can.
And but that was a strange era. So
a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was wearing stereo shirts and random shirts when I was skating for actual company. So yeah, there was like an okay time to do that.
Remember Henry did the switch flip front tail, and he's riding a.
Oh fucking! What was he riding?
Wait, switch flip front tail.
He did.
Okay.
I had it. This is fucked up. I was like super proud of myself. Kickflip front tail. Felt like I was the first person to ever do it. I'm like, oh, kickflip front tail. I invented a fucking trick. The same big brother comes out. He's doing it switch on the same sequence. I'm doing it regular. And I remember just being like, damn, I'm so far behind the 8 ball on this shit, man. I felt like real good. And then I felt like Henry is on just another fucking level.
But then Big Brother just doing that like.
Oh yeah, they're definitely like yeah.
Deal.
But he was riding a Mirko board in that.
There was a
Planet Earth Mirko board. Eminem. It was like Henry's riding a Mirko. That was the tag.
That was the tag.
It just said Henry's riding a Mirko.
They called him out,
and his big brother. That's
they called him out.
Yeah, that was like it. So, but that was the time. So
Yeah.
I do remember thinking like, I'm already riding other boards. Like, am I really down for these dudes? So, I ended up quitting. Ride with those dudes. Get a video part. And then took a couple trips. We did like a SF trip. Maybe that was like towards the end. We don't skate. There was a Halloween contest at Skate Zone. We went and skated. That was fucking sick. They built the coffin, put that shit on top of the pyramid.
Amazing. That was the night things changed for me. That was the night I met Tim, and then
that was it.
That was the night.
Not I met Tim. It was the second time meeting Tim, but then actually like going to like.
You ditched your friends.
I ditched my friends.
Damn, hell yeah.
And went to Sam Barrel's little vacation home in Santa Barbara. Yeah, that was amazing.
Damn. It all came together.
Friends, bye.
I did, unfortunately, but it was all for the better of good.
Hey, they were still there, like,
and they were cool with it. I mean, I'm sure they were kind of bummed, but at the same time,
you fucking sell out, dude.
It helped them. I got them free product later on.
There you go.
Hey, man, it all helped out your friends when you were doing that shit, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Free product helped everyone. I used to.
Big time.
Thank God Ron Chatman got sponsored. I got, I didn't get free boards. I had to pay for my boards for Ron, but. That's like a huge deal when you start getting like $20 boards.
Oh,
50,
big time. Oh, big time.
Mm-hmm. This is how, like by the book Ron was. $20 for a board. Mm-hmm. It was $20.
Yep.
I skated to his house. It was like a 3-mile skate. At $18. Oh. And I got up to his room and I'm like, hey man, like cool. And I'm like, I'm like, oh hey, by the way, I only got $18. And he's all, ooh. Well, you better go home and get $2 more then, little man. And I was like. Oh shit. And I was like, in my head I thought we were boys, and then he's just like, this is business. And I'm like, life lesson learned. All right, I will go, I'll come back. And I like, hey grandma, can I get $2 more? And of course your grandma's like, yeah. What do you need?
Damn.
But let you just take
man,
it and
like
$2.
But it's crazy because he would like, I would buy boards off him when he was on GNS, and then he got on World. Those were good. Mm-hmm. And he would give you like packs of stickers with the board. He's like, here's like 4 packs of stickers. Man, those 4 packs of stickers are worth like $100.
Yeah.
I could trade those in at the shop to get other shit.
No doubt.
So you could, level up a little bit.
Yeah.
But man, that was those are good lessons, and all your friends get to benefit from you getting free product, and it's a little trickle down effect.
Total trickle down.
I tried to give away as many boards as I could, but sometimes you need gas money, and you're like, hey man, this one, Rob G, sorry man, like you got to pay for this one. It's $15 this time, but like next time I'll get you for free.
Rob G.
Yeah, Rob G was getting like hand me downs from me back then and stuff.
Hand me downs are real, bro. I had like 50 sets of like Henry Terminators.
Oh man.
And fucking, I think they're Plan B blue balls, bro. I was giving those shits out like candy, bro. I had like 50 sets of those things.
You guys got boxes though.
Yeah, the boxes at World were they definitely hit different.
Yeah, that was some shit, man.
What were you getting? What were the boxes like?
Dude, I'd go in there and like really, I would come out with a box of 10 and sometimes even more. But like gang of like clothes, wheels for days. Like, dude, they had everything. So I was like, and it was all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember
it got to a point where it wasn't all right.
Yeah. Because you have so many people on doing it so often.
Yep.
That it's like
That
20
budget.
boards, 20 boards,
Well, that's
20
where the
boards.
blank board thing came in.
That's why they came
Yeah.
into play for
Because
sure.
they were like, fuck this. We're
Oh, dude,
printing
well,
up
they're
these-
getting hit monthly on the
man.
budget for that monthly like fucking sponsor spin. Oh god.
Yeah, that was
heavy.
I do remember Chatman rolling up the year after I went to skate camp. I went back to, hey, visiting A. I'm like, I get to go for free now? Fucking sweet. And he just rolled up, popped the trunk, and was like, skate shop's open. Who wants to buy some shit? And that was like, and he, him and Jeremy would like, and Jason Lee, because that was, that was their crew. They would just compete to see who could steal the most shit. Not steal, but like really get a lot of product. And they would sell everything. And then it was like, Jason Lee walked out with 20 pairs of blind jeans on. Like he would put them on like bigger size. And he would like wear all these fucking jeans out.
It wasn't just like one particular. Everybody was.
Everybody was doing it.
Wow.
So, and me, and here I am like 3 boards from Santa Cruz. Like, man, I can maybe sell one.
Yeah.
Like I got to ride those other 2 though, man. I can't. You'll get a used one. I can't give you a new anything.
Sure.
Nothing's new for me. Like you're getting slightly used. But yeah, it was
amazing times.
I
It
love
was.
that. I love that. So let's go back to the foundation thing. So you're filming videos.
yeah.
What happened though?
Went to-
Because you went back to
It was
Santa
quick,
Cruz.
dude. I got kicked off
What?
fucking quick. I don't even think I was on for a full year.
Wow.
It was quick. I got on at the tail end of 92.
Uh-huh.
Skate Zone contest. Like, we went to that. And then Todd didn't give a fuck about the contest. And I was like, no, I want to skate the contest. He's like, we should just bail before the contest starts. I'm like, we came up here for a contest. I want to skate this thing. He's like, oh, okay. Like, all right. Like, I'm the stick in the mud. Like, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
And then filming, I remember, I guess we got to get into like the beef and all that stuff, right? Like there was like company beef back
Yeah,
then. Like that
definitely.
shit was fucking real. So
And also the 2 ads.
I quit Santa Cruz, and then Todd's like, hey, here's your first ad. Fakey tray flip, fakey nose Manny. The spot, like my spot, like AT&T, like the manual spot that I always skate. And because I'm like, I want to do something that like no one's done in this ad. Video grab that trick, like cool. Maybe Javante like had just done it, and he did it way better than me. But I was like, okay, this is cool. It's a hard trick.
Yeah.
And then the logo they put on him is "fuck 'em." It's the Santa Cruz dot that says "fuck 'em."
This
right?
is the foundation.
It's a Foundation ad. It's like meet Jason's new friends. And then it's like Foundation Skateboards. Now the fuck 'em logo, it's the red dot logo, exactly like a Santa Cruz dot, but it says fuck 'em. But that was their logo. They actually used that graphic all the time. Like they would, Salba would use it and stuff. So
Yeah, but it's
it was
hitting
something-
different though
No,
because
it
you're
definitely
coming from
did.
Santa Cruz and now they're using that.
Todd
Real
like
different.
Yeah.
started a war that I was like, all right, like
Now I'm wondering if Santa Cruz, like Jeff and them were like not blaming you, but more blaming Foundation. They had
Probably.
to have known that like
oh yeah, it
you
wasn't.
didn't
no,
do that.
No.
You didn't request.
But they
that.
also weren't going to let it slide.
Well, then
and
I
I
don't
know,
know.
like, for a fact that whoever was the art director up there was like, fuck that. Like, these motherfuckers.
Yeah, for sure.
This dude with this janky-ass little company is going to, like, come at us and, like, start a war. And there was already, like, this war going on. I was like, Powell was fighting with World. They made the blind graphics. And so everyone kind of, like, did this thing. And so...
What a time, dude.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. We were talking to Deshaun Jordan about this shit, and he he couldn't believe it at his house.
Yeah.
We were just telling him. I think we were talking about like just crazy how weird it was back then, and he was just like, "What the fuck? Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there was company beef, and dudes were fighting at contests and shit."
Yeah.
And it was like it was wild. But it was
Wait, so real quick, you had an ad for Foundation.
that said fuck them.
And that was when you got your
Right when
board?
I got on, that was my first ad for Foundation.
Okay.
And actually, yeah, they gave me a board right away. Like Todd drew a graphic and got a board out, and I was like, that was my first pro model because I didn't have one on Santa Cruz. So I was pro for like, I don't know, maybe it felt like forever, right? Like everything
Time
took,
spent forever.
it might have been 5 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Now 5 months goes by like that.
Insane.
Yeah.
But back then, time's slower.
Yeah. Oh my
When you're
God.
that age, time
Totally.
is,
It stands still.
it's slow. So
What did they retaliate with?
the Caesar Singh ad where it was like fuck us, and then it was like me and Todd with like gay porn. That
Oh,
was-
yeah, that's right.
yeah. And that was like, and I remember like seeing it, and everyone was like, "Dude, have you seen the new Big Brother?" And I'm like,
And this is like
no.
a Santa Cruz ad.
And I like see it, and I'm like, God damn, like, okay, like, well, what are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta laugh it off. Like, you can't be like,
Totally.
oh, fucking go up there and kick those dudes' asses. Like, no, like you're like, damn, they came back with a fucking hammer, like,
Yeah.
boom. And then I'm like, okay, that was pretty gnarly. And Todd's like, well, I want to do another ad. What do you? And I'm like, okay, like, well, I have this letterhead, like, from like all these team letters that I have. Like, why don't you just use that and do something like that? And I don't know if you guys remember, the next ad was Steve Olson doing a trick, and it was like on the Santa Cruz letterhead, very official, pre-Photoshop days. And he photocopied the letter, took the writing out and retyped it and was like, "Dear Todd, hey, sorry for the like ads, sorry for the back and forth. We've seen the error of our ways. We started making mountain bikes. We're going to go to start making rollerblades. We're going to get out of the skate game. Thanks for like, I hope you like squash the beef." And I was like, damn, that was pretty fucking clever too, man. These dudes are funny, man. Like, these guys are really funny.
Going at it.
Foundation's putting out a Santa Cruz ad.
Yeah. No, well, it was.
I mean, it's a
it
Foundation ad.
was a
but
Foundation ad. It was a letter to them from Santa Cruz.
from Santa Cruz.
They wrote.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty funny too. And I was like, damn. But that actually ended it. They stopped. Both parties stopped. 2 shots fired from Foundation, one big giant shot fired from Santa Cruz, and then they squashed their beef.
Okay.
At the same time that this is happening, Todd's like, he runs a fucking ad of Chris Markovich in a Transworld. Markovich is on 101. Todd runs Chris Markovich. It doesn't say welcome to Foundation. It just says Chris Markovich, Foundation Skateboards.
What?
And
Which
listen,
yeah.
right, exactly. What are you going to
Yeah.
think? You're going to think, oh,
Yeah.
he's on.
Yeah.
They were friends, and Todd asked him, was like, "Hey, I want to run an ad of you." And I think Chris was like, "Go ahead, I don't give a fuck." Like, he didn't really care. And so that happened, and then
Wait, was there like a photo of him skating too?
it was a backside 180 down a double set. It was a fucking sick
Legit
photo.
photo, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good like black and white, like double set photo. Whatever that double set, he always skated that thing.
Yeah.
GNS videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And so right after that, this line of Foundation boards comes out through World. And it's like me, and it's Krieger, and it's Beagle, and it's like, buy your Foundation boards over here. And I'm like, motherfucker, man, this dude is getting us into some shit. And we're like, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? That board right there, that's the board that was my board, but not my board. That was a Foundation board through World.
Wait. So they just made boards.
They just made boards for us. And I
sold them, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
down.
sold them.
Yeah, I was down at Foundation like one day. Me and Todd and Josh are there, and I'm like, dude, they can't do that, right? Like, that's like they got to pay us royalties. And Todd's like, yeah.
They probably didn't have
He-
anything copyrighted
No, I mean, they could do whatever the fuck they want.
or
Anyone,
trademark.
Just looking at that board.
look at it. Oh, and you know what's fucking great about this? So that's like, hey, draw something stupid like Foundation would draw.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
That's gonna say that's like at that time.
Yeah, that's how Todd. That's how
fits.
Todd would draw. And I ended up finding out who fucking drew that. Not us.
No.
Pretty fucking sick.
Wow, dude.
Wow. That's
And I
amazing.
didn't get that board until like 4 years after. Jason Strubing at Skateworks had one and was like, randomly was in the shop and he was like, dude, I got this board in the back. And I was like, fuck, yeah, that's amazing. I didn't even, but they used to give it out for free with subscriptions for Big Brother. So you used to get.
Dude, they're legendary.
I know, man.
Steve Rocco is legendary, bro. He's
I've
no
heard
joke.
from so many people that were like, dude, I rode so many of those boards because free board with a subscription to Big Brother. Big Brother was only $19.95 subscription. They would just subscribe, keep getting free boards. Like, you're only paying $20 boards, and you get a bunch of free magazines.
Perfect.
Pretty fucking
Wow.
So,
Dude.
we were like bummed. We're at Foundation one day, and I'm like, dude, what's up, man? Like, this is my name on a board. Like, we should get royalties, right? Todd's like, you should call Rocco. I'm like, I am gonna fucking call Rocco, man. What's his number? Call him up on the phone. I was like, hey, man, this is Jason Rothmeyer. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, you're making boards with my name on them, Krieger's name and Beagle's name. He goes, yeah, so? I'm like, well, can't we like sue you or something? And he goes, yeah, you should sue me, man. You should get a lawyer and sue me. and like at the time, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a battle of wits with the fucking smartest dude in the industry right now. What the fuck am I thinking? Like it was like,
Wow.
like the Princess Bride, like talking to the fucking dude that was like, don't get into the battle of wits. I was talking to that dude and I was losing badly. And so, yeah, I remember hanging up going, well, that didn't go so well, did it?
You should get a lawyer.
Yeah, you should get a lawyer and sue me. You
Yeah.
fucking 20-year-old dipshit. I'm like, yeah, okay, you're right.
Dude, that dude is so
It was,
legendary.
yeah, man, it was.
I love that.
And so they stopped making those, and then the next time I was down there, the fucking ad came out, the mag with Richard Mulder's ad in it, and it was like, you know, fakie tray flip, switchback 5-0 on the, you know, it was like red. Ooh, sorry.
No,
Fucked the
you're
microphone
good.
up.
Yeah,
It was red. I got excited. It was red, and it was like a Foundation ad. It was like our first minority writer, Richard Mulder. It was his first ad for them.
Okay.
But on the back was Richard Mulder in a Porsche waving by in a World ad. So he had a Foundation ad in the front of the mag, but a World ad in the back of the mag in the same fucking issue.
Yeah.
Because Rocco owned the magazine and Richard quit, and Rocco never told Todd, hey, you should give me a new ad. He was just like, keep
Yeah.
this quiet, take his ad money. And when that, and he, dude, Todd was so fucking mad. He's like, motherfucker, I fucking, you know, because he didn't know Richard quit. He never called him.
Oh,
So
Rich
he
never
didn't
called.
find out until the mag came out.
Richie never called.
He never
Richie.
called, and he's like, I spent $3,000 on this fucking ad, and he was so
I
mad.
could imagine.
Ooh, he was pissed.
Rocco was loving it.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was probably laughing.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
he was just stirring the pot, man. He's just God.
Dude.
Some of that stuff is so genius.
It is.
You can't think of that. Like,
No.
who comes up with that?
No.
That's genius. Oh, you're on a magazine. Ooh,
Legendary.
make sure you don't tell him that this ad's in there. Like, don't tell him to get a new writer on that ad. Just leave it, let it ride.
Let
Like,
it ride.
And saved it towards the end. It wasn't in the beginning. It's at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like, let's say
yeah.
put it
Last
in there.
last page of the
Imagine
mag.
Imagine just flipping it like,
He's waving by. I was like, and it was like no
So
hard
smart.
feelings, Todd. It was like, ooh, it said a bunch of shit in it.
Wow.
Ooh, man, so funny.
But wait, you said you went back to Santa Cruz?
I got the so.
Oh, you got kicked
We
off.
took
Oh,
a
yeah,
trip.
kicked
We
off.
took a trip. We took a trip up to SF. We were filming for Superconductor.
yeah, okay. Yep.
Oh man, Ronnie's part in that video. That was like when you like really like knew like, oh my God, Ronnie Krieger is the best fucking skateboarder out. When you saw that part, but anyways, filmed for that part, and we took a trip to SF. Same thing. Like there was a contest in Tahoe, I want to say.
Oh, yes.
It was like kind of snowy. Fuck,
Yeah.
there's another car. Like I was always a car at a contest back then because they didn't have shit money for
Where's the
obstacles, but a jump ramp in front of a car.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah, the
Cardiel,
car
like
car became a really
Yeah,
like, a staple.
I remember Cardiel was like that was one of his first like contests where you're like, oh, this dude's fucking sick.
Okay.
And but we were gonna skate that, and Todd's like, let's get out of here. And I was like, oh man, like again, like we're doing this, like we're gonna leave this thing and like this a fun event, and I'm hanging with like I'm like kicking it with my friends and at the contest, like 'cause that was the thing I liked about it. Was like I got to see friends who I don't normally get to hang out with,
Yeah.
and so you get to skate with them, and you get to connect, and so we went to EMB, super fun, skated, met York for the first time. We and him skated the whole day,
Nice.
skated like, the far curb, and then I was skating the block.
Mm-hmm.
And Harada was on the trip with us. He just got
Frank.
on. Frank frontside half cab and switch flipped the 7. Switch flip
Wow.
was fucking
Amazing.
real good.
Sick.
We went to Hubba, Krieger no slide big spin. They're just for fun, like no filming or nothing.
Wow.
And I was like real early Hubba, hard edge, like
Oh, wow.
like
Yeah.
93 Hubba. So
Okay.
like it was like
Still good.
real crisp.
Was
I remember
chunky.
looking at that thing going, fuck, that thing's really big. I can't skate that thing. Like
was
I
big.
knew my
It was tall.
It was tall. It was like beyond my limitations. Even at the time when like I was in like my prime, I was like, nah, I'm not there. That's not me.
Yeah, that was a
Okay.
weird thing. That was like a legitimately just tall, mellow ledge.
It was, yeah, but it was
Yeah.
tall as shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
couldn't, you like some of the
And
stuff.
it's short too, so you can't like gap out to.
Yeah, because
a
you're just gonna
smaller-
dink it at the
Yeah.
end. You
Yeah.
want to like really
Wanna
get,
get in
on
on
it.
it.
Yeah,
Sure.
you want to get on it like
I mean, constant back nose blunt.
like
Yeah.
Gershon's
Like, think about
kickflip
that.
front
I
no
mean,
slide. That's how you
yeah.
want to get on it.
Yes.
Oh, he was
Boom,
on
right on
top.
top slide.
He
Yeah,
wasn't
like-
really going fast. He just went. Yeah, that was
Locked it
insane.
Yeah,
in.
he just
Yeah.
locking in.
Yeah.
So we skated that. Like we went to that trip, we filmed, and then when I got back, I turned in another ad for another trick. Now, kind of fucking stupid to me, but I turned in a trick at the same spot as the first ad.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but to me, I was like, it was cab flip, switch Manny,
Oh.
Okay.
and I was like thinking of like the trick is definitely something no one's done. I did it as good as I ever could have done it, and I was like, damn, this is like, I feel fucking good about this. This is fucking sick. And he got it and he was just like, really? Like, you're going to go to the same spot? Like, come on. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I kind of been meaning to talk to you. And I was like, okay, cool. What do you want to talk about? He's like, like you're on the team, but like we went to EMB and like you didn't skate the 7. And like, it kind of felt like, I think you were like going to be someone different. Like when we got you on and you're not the same dude. And I'm like, I mean, I've always been kind of a ledgy manual guy. I've never been I've never, like, people were just starting to huck that then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Questionable was maybe just came out.
Yep.
And, I mean, I wasn't, well, I remember thinking to him, I was like, I could have done what? A backside flip down the 7? I wasn't going to do anything no one had done at the time. You were not going to do something that someone had done.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Yeah.
just like go and fucking, I kickflipped the stairs. And they're like, well, really? Because Jeremy Ray just switch backside flipped it.
Yeah.
So you're going to look like an idiot doing something basic down that stuff. So I just was like, like I'll go over here and do something hard for me, and like try to innovate where I can innovate.
Sure.
And he was just like, yeah, and he made up a bunch of like really weird, it was one of the most awkward conversations I've ever had. Because in the middle of it, I'm like, it's like breaking up with your girlfriend. You're like, wait a second, is this motherfucker breaking up with me? Like, this is because I went down to get a box. Like, I had no clue.
Wow.
I went down to get a box, turned in an ad, which I thought was good, and I got fucking kicked off. I left getting kicked off. Like,
oh, this
he's
is
like,
in person.
in person.
Oh, okay,
Which
wow.
is
I can
admirable.
respect that, though.
Admirable.
Yeah.
In person. And then I think later on, he definitely like was beating around the bush. I think it was like, hey man, we got to cut the budget somewhere because we got to put Steve Barrett on. Because
No.
he
Oh,
was
he
like
said
the
it like
mystery
that?
writer right after that. I just like it made sense to me later on. I was like, oh, okay. Well, he was just like fishing for ideas to say like instead of like, well, you're not as good as this dude, so we're gonna have to like, we got to figure out a way to get this guy on.
Right.
So your $600 goes to this guy. So
So you got kicked off
Got the
without
boot.
no inkling
The
that
boot.
anything was going to happen.
no, and I remember just like, he was like, yeah, we can keep you on as like a, it wasn't, he didn't say B team, but in my ears, I heard B team. And I was like, I think I said it to him. I was like a fucking B team? And he was like, no, not like a B team, but just like, like a temporary thing. Like,
you don't get paid,
Where you're
but-
just not going to get paid. And I'm like, well, I can fucking get on. I'm not going to stay on and not get paid. Like, I'm kind of used to getting paid now. I mean, even though it's $600 a month or whatever it was. So I was like, all right, guess I'll figure something out. So I bailed, and went back. Let me think. I was like, probably like a little bit in shock. I was like, oh, I'm going to get some boards here. But I remember like I rode for Formula One at the time.
Wheel company.
Yep. I had just gone on. I'm on my first tour with those dudes.
Ah.
That was the first tour I actually went on. Where like I flew to the Midwest. We drove from the Midwest all the way to the East Coast, skated these contests, came back. So it was me, Bo Akita, Remy Stratton, Omar Hassan, and we did like demos.
Damn.
And we went to contests. We went to the Bricktown contest. We went to the contest in Connecticut at the playground, where Cardiel did padless Melon 5.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Costin won. Duffy won. Costin got second at the Bricktown contest. That was one of those ones where I was like, I got 5th, and I did not deserve to get 5th in that contest. But then the playground contest, I got like 18th, and I was like, I thought I should have been top 3. So it was all fucked up. Like over, I remember like thinking like, damn, I did some shit in that run, and I got jacked. But so I rode for Formula One, and I was like, and they were like, hey, you want to get on Acme? And I was like, I don't know if I want to get on Acme or not. Like I wasn't really feeling it, but I was like, yeah, I'll go on a trip with you guys. And I went to, they went to Back to the City.
Ah, okay.
Great
Probably the
contest.
Back to the City 2. Probably that one. So I went up. It was like me and
94.
Yeah, it was like me and Clyde. Oh, 93. It was still 93.
Okay.
Still 93. Me and Clyde were in the van. Omar again. Maybe Nandez was in there. Like young baby Fernandez.
Oh wow.
And dude, there was like a beef with like Jim Gray and Danny Way at that contest. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, really?
Jim had made like a board that was like kind of making fun of Danny. And I remember coming back home and I was like, I'm not doing this fucking shit again. I'm out. Like, so I was like on, and sorry to Jim, like I was on for 3 weeks and I was like, I'm not doing this again.
Wow.
Like no ad, no nothing. I didn't get paid. I'm like, hey, you guys don't have to pay me. Like, I'm just gonna be on nothing, like for a little bit, and then I'm like really gonna pick and choose what the fuck I want to get on because I'm conscious of like I don't have a big window, and I'm like I'm not like the main dude, so I probably got a good couple of years left. I want to like get on something fun and be on like shoot for the stars a little bit.
Something you enjoy.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I was like hanging out at Giant a lot, and I was like, I wonder if I could get on Underworld Element. It was like just kind of switching to. It wasn't Element yet. It was still Underworld Element.
Gotcha.
But man, like Chris Hall was the fucking best.
Definitely.
And like I was such a huge fan of like Sky Pager and like all that shit. The fucking music in the video. I liked Andy Howell. Pep was amazing. Like all those dudes. Chris Hall was like my dude though. Like I've definitely watched probably 1281 more times than I needed to, and would just try to poach all his tricks because he was just the fucking best. And so I remember and I was friends with Andy a little bit. Oh man, I guess this is a good one. I met Andy at this weird skate camp. There was this skate camp in Hood River, Oregon. Okay, like random out in the middle of nowhere place. I think this was the first place Santa Cruz ever flew me to.
Okay.
And it was in 90. 91, 92.
Is this Andy Stone?
Oh, sorry, Andy Howell.
Andy Howell. Okay, sorry.
But Andy Stone was on at that time, so he was sick. So good call. But there was this. Kendall was like, "Hey man, they want you to go to this skate camp." And I'm like, "They want me to go to the skate camp?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're flying you and Gershon up." Those are the two dudes that like they like. I think they sent a questionnaire out to the kids that were like going to be in the camp, and they're like, "Who do you want?" And they're like, "Oh, this guy and this guy," because in the video they're the young dudes. Cool. This camp had everyone at it. It was like. Lance was there. Dan Paterka was there.
Yeah.
Pat Brennan was there. Matt Beach was from there, so he was there. I swear, like Ricky Becerra was there. Justin Gerard was there. Andy Howell was there. Like, I'm talking like 30 pros were at this skate camp. In the like, sort of, like Hood River's not Portland. It's like an hour and a half east of Portland. It's in the middle of nowhere, but this lady had been organizing this, and she'd done it like at the schoolyard every year. And I remember just thinking, what the fuck are we doing out here? This is crazy. But I met Andy, and like he was super cool, super accommodating, and I remember just being like, oh, I could probably ask him for some stuff. That contest was the first place I ever heard about Pat Duffy. Dan, I was sharing a room with Paterka, and he was like, hey man, there's this new company coming out in like a little while, because he was like, Dan was on 8th Street, but he was like. He was another one of those ripping dudes that came and went, right? He dipped, like banging us part in 8th Street next.
And
Ghost. But he was like, there's this new company coming out that like the partner at 8th Street is going to break off and do. And he's got this guy that he's been keeping on the DL that he hadn't told Tony Mag about, basically. He kept his footage away. And he goes, it's going to fucking blow your mind. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what does he do? And he goes, he skates a handrail in the rain, and he does a back lip down to 10-stair handrail in the rain. I'm like, fucking liar, And he goes, he backsmiths a kinked handrail. And he goes, he front 50-50, front lip, and back 50-50, this like 12-stair rail, all first try. And I'm just like, he's telling me this, and I'm like, this dude is lying through his teeth. There's no one this good, because there's no reference point at that point to like any of this stuff. You're like, okay, well, Jeremy Klein backsmith a 3-stair in Rubber Sheep, and that was fucking shocker. So you're saying this dude does like a kinked handrail, and then 6 months later that video came out, and I was like, oh my God, like I couldn't. To me, that's like the ultimate like kick in the balls video part where you're just like, what the fuck? I remember thinking like, I just turned pro and I gotta retire. I can't do this. Like, I can't do any of this that this guy's doing. You know, I'm just gonna stay over here and like, skate the 3-stair.
My little zone.
3 up, 3 down. I'm cool.
Sure.
4-stair. I can do some stuff, but like, what the fuck, man? Like the fucking kink, and then through the kink, and then through the next kink.
Yeah.
Whoo, man.
Mind
I feel like that part, Video Days Gone's part, and PJ's part were the 3 to me that were just like the mind blowers of all time. Like you couldn't believe it. So
for sure.
anyways, that was like a super crazy tangent to go off.
No.
But I did feel like I knew Andy a little bit, and I could go to him and be like, "Hey man, can I get some boards? I'd like to try to get on." And he's like, "Cool, like." Let me, I knew Pepper was on at the time. Sure. So maybe it had just been switching to Element because Pepper was on.
Billy Pepper.
And I was friends with Billy Pepper.
Okay.
And so, acquaintances enough to be like, hey, man, can you put in the good word?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, like, for sure. And so I gave him some footage and got some boards. And, I was definitely like shooting for higher at that point. I was like, well, this is like the best shit I could get on. I'm not going to send my video to like blind and try to get on with this dude because I just like I knew my place. Like, hey, like stay in your lane. Like I'm conscious of where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, fucking like that would be cool. Like this is I feel like I'm on the same kind of same level as these dudes. Maybe I'm like West Coast for them, and they got a lot of cool East Coast dudes.
Sure.
Getting out, like send videos to get in boxes and like not like doing anything like out of my lane. Like not saying I'm on, just like hey, like I got a couple boxes and I'm feeling good. Go to Giant, get another box, and then Kendall hits me up and he's like, hey, I'm starting a wheel company. It's called Direction. And I was wondering if you wanted to get on. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. Like, because he like buried the hatchet, like it was cool for him to reach out. I think he'd ask William like, yeah, you think Jason would want to ride for this? William's like, for sure. And he's like, are you sure? You think he's not pissed about that I had? And then William's like, nah, like he didn't care. Like he wasn't tripping. So, but like that's a big step. Like he's just like, man, we kind of fucked you up in that ad. But so I get on Direction, and then like 3 weeks later, he's like, do you want to just get back on Santa Cruz? And I was like, that probably sounds like the best idea, man. Because I'm like, yeah, that's probably where I should be. And so we go skate the first contest after, and it was always like the first contest after that because that was the next place you met up with everyone. That's the next place you saw everyone at, right? Sure. And it was like 4 or 5 contests a year. You'd go in and see all your bros and all these things. So the next one was that Sacto contest. I don't know what the park was called back then. I just remember Carol backside flipped the pyramid and switch flipped it, and it was fucking. That was like the things I remember. Like I'm like, ooh, that was pretty sick. I'd just gotten on, right? And Andy Howell comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, I talked to the team dudes. They're all down.
Oh.
and I told him, I go, hey, man, that's like the best news. But I go, I cannot quit another company. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I already quit Santa Cruz. Then I got kicked off Foundation. And I don't want to be that dude that's like, doink, 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 doink. I'm kind of like, in my head, I'm like, I'm going to ride Santa Cruz out. This is going to be my, last one because man, I just got back on 3 weeks ago. I can't call Kendall and be like, oh, sorry, man. Yeah. I got to quit again. Like, that's...
What did Andy Howe say?
He was like, oh, I get it, man. He's like, I it took a while. Because it was... Yeah. And again, while. 3 months, maybe. And in that time frame, while I was looking for a sponsor, that's when 401 started.
Got you.
So that was the same time. So that's where my profile was my sponsor me video for Andy. That was my sponsor me.
That turned into a profile.
Yeah. The only reason I got a profile was because it went Jeremy Ray. I think this is how it was supposed to go. It was supposed to go Jeremy Ray, Costin, Scott Johnston.
Okay.
Wow.
Costin didn't have his footage ready, and Ortiz called me 3 weeks before they were supposed to do the video. He goes, "Can you film a profile? Like, I need you to film a video part in 3 weeks." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll film a video part in 3 weeks. No fucking problem." So I filmed that part in 3 weeks.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, like, opportunity, like."
So what's that,
go
411
take it.
issue 2 or something?
2, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
But at
And-
that time, like video parts weren't like crazy long.
No,
They were like
Yeah.
a minute and a half.
Well, especially in a 411, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like little, like smaller segments back then.
It was
right?
2 songs, but it was 2 Bad Religion songs, so they're short as shit. So I think that part was maybe, it was maybe like 2.5 minutes or something like that.
I mean, that's still a
like-
legitimate part.
Definitely, definitely.
I felt good about it.
1000%.
I was stoked. I was riding. Yeah, I was riding just random boards. I think I had a couple giant boards in there. Maybe like I said, a stereo Paulo Diaz. I remember that was a board I rode in around that
You got
time.
a Star Wars collection?
Yeah, that was the Star Wars shit was in there. That's probably the thing that I probably get asked the most, like from skaters of that era that were like a little bit younger than me that were watching and consuming the media at the time. And they're like, "Oh man, I fucking remember the Star Wars collection. Like, that's so sick. You still got that stuff?"
Nice.
Like, yeah, I still got some of that stuff. Like,
Sick.
so yeah, that was like, but my part, I didn't have like, it wasn't like, "Hey, I'm Jason Rothmeyer. I ride for X, X, and X." I didn't say any of that stuff.
No.
I was just like, "Here's my shit, and I'm a nerd, and here's my Star Wars shit." Like, you know, like that's just what it was. But I think
tight.
that for whatever reason, like, you put a little personality out there,
Yep,
and
yep.
even though to like the pros, you're like, "Oh, fucking dork," but to the dudes who are consuming it, they're like, "Oh, like I connect with this dude. He's got like," instead of just like, "Yeah, what's up?" Like, you can sit there on the curb and be cool, and they're just like, "Oh, this guy's. I don't get anything out of this
Sure,
guy."
sure.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So-
You had personality.
For whatever reason, I just threw it out there. I mean,
Star Wars.
but yeah, Star Wars.
you still got? Wait, do you still have all that stuff?
I traded like 2 completes, and this kid gave me like all this brand new shit back then.
Oh, wow.
It was like a bunch of stuff in the package, and like, you know, I mean,
Toys.
yeah, it was-
We're talking toys.
yeah, just Star Wars figures, but like they're still in my garage, just
In
sitting
the
there.
package.
In the package.
Look at
Good
you.
job.
Yeah, I didn't open them up and play with them or nothing. Star Wars is cool as shit now, though, with the Mandalorian and
I mean,
all the
yeah.
Disney Plus shows.
The Mandalorian's great.
Ooh, man.
I was
Yeah.
late to that party. I didn't really. I was Mandalorian. Listen, I like Star Wars, but
Yeah.
you know, I was late
Right.
to the party.
You
but I
weren't gonna-
watched. Oh my god! One sitting. I finished the whole.
That's because they're westerns.
I love it.
I
They're,
trip
they're
out
western.
people.
They're a western genre.
Western
So
genre.
that's what that show's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a western show. He's like
Interesting. Like a
he's the
cowboy.
outcast. Yeah, he's the cowboy
Okay.
working his way through the thing.
Huh.
All the shows that they're doing for those different things, they're all going to have a different spin to them.
Yeah.
That
aren't they-
one's like if you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, that it's a Marvel show they had.
Okay.
That's like Lethal Weapon. That's a buddy cop show.
Oh.
Like they're
Wait,
just like
so- but-
homies busting off each other. Now.
Are they going to be doing more of that Mandalorian type shit? But
Yeah,
they're
they're
going
doing
to
a-
follow different people.
Well, they're
or
doing a
something?
Boba Fett one.
Yeah, Boba Fett.
That's the one that
Yes.
everyone wants to see.
Right.
I feel like that's going to be like the Equalizer. That's
Yeah.
going to be a revenge show where he's just going to go fuck people up.
Right. Because
So-
I
Boba
could see
Fett
that.
was in the Mandalorian.
was.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's interesting.
We can go, you know.
I love
This
how they
whole
tie
show
it.
that-
could
that
just turn
rabbit
into
hole.
like a fucking Star Wars show, but I
Yeah,
won't.
let's do it.
I won't let it go down that
Okay.
route. Okay, we'll just
Little
stick to skating. We'll
little-
stick to
My
skating.
son would love you, bro.
I
He
know.
loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
Don't you
Straight
trip
up.
out on people that haven't seen Star Wars?
Yeah, I mean for
Well,
sure.
there's a
But
lot
I get
of
it.
them,
Like,
right?
yeah, there's
Also.
plenty of people that are just like, it's not for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you, I said the same exact thing. I was like, I'm not gonna watch Star Wars. I got hurt. Watched.
Oh, right. Then
And then you're like, oh wow. Then you see the whole story.
Yeah.
And
there's
then-
there's a reason that like
yeah.
they are as big as they are because
Yeah.
they're so good.
Oh my
For
god.
sure.
Yeah.
Little Grogu.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Grogu.
saying? Little Grogu. Little Grogu.
I will say that the Mandalorian, you get worried when they bring these new ones on because you're like, dude,
Oh,
don't
you get so
don't
worried.
destroy this fucking
Uh-huh.
legacy.
Right.
And then they did a good job with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
yeah.
Killed it.
Yeah. Bill Burr. He's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
I know.
Like there's so many good people in it, man. Like
The guy from Breaking Bad was in
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. Giancarlo Esposito.
Yep,
Do you know what blew my mind? We just talked about this. Like me and Tyrone. I blew Tyrone's mind because we're like Giancarlo Esposito. He's the dude that had the Jordans that got run over and Do the Right Thing. That's him.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, that's the actor. He's bugging out.
Wow.
That's him.
Oh.
You're like, wait, what the fuck? That was the same. That's the
I
actor.
had no
I don't even know what you're
idea.
talking
You've never
about.
seen Do the Right Thing. It's a like all-time Spike Lee movie.
Oh, okay.
Really good, like New York period piece from like 1987, like
Yeah.
hip hop movie. You know, early days of like it's just like a one hot day in New York, and it just kind of goes through all these characters. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Hot
That's
Ass
him.
Rosie Perez. It's a good movie,
a
man.
great movie.
It's fucking
Sick.
so good. But that was the same actor. I was like, what? He's been around forever. He's so good in everything.
Damn, I didn't
Yeah,
realize
Breaking
that.
Bad. Yeah.
I mean, I just first noticed him in Breaking Bad. That's when I first heard
Yeah.
of him.
So anyways, 401.
Yes.
Back on track.
So,
Can we talk about how excited I am right now? Because I tried to check my phone and the Dodgers won that game.
Yeah.
Oh, you wore the right hat today, Kelly.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, I want to real quick in the middle of all this. You've been a Lakers fan for quite some time.
I'll put it out there.
he changed his hat mid fucking, when he walked in, he was wearing a different Lakers hat.
Yeah, because this one is like, this is a crispy gold.
Pops.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
this is a nice one.
Listen, you grew up in LA,
Yeah.
and that's your team. You know, I grew up watching the Lakers with my dad and my brother. My dad would turn off the sound of the television and turn on Chick Hearn
Yeah.
on the radio.
Make it a simulcast. That's
It's
what
a
he would always say.
simulcast. It's a simulcast.
Yeah.
And God bless Chick Hearn, because he would literally paint a picture for you
Yeah.
if you're not even watching the game. That's why he was on the radio. I mean, the man had the gift.
He was the sound of my childhood. He
Literally,
was-
yeah.
There was a time when I was like watching a game, probably like, I don't know, maybe 96, 97, somewhere around there. I remember thinking like, because I don't know if you knew this, but Chick Hearn never missed a game, right?
Right.
He didn't miss a game until he got the flu in like, I want to say maybe he missed a game in 98. Let's say 98.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking like, holy shit, I've never watched a Laker game that this dude didn't announce.
Yep.
I've never watched one without him because he never missed a game
Yep.
from like 1962 to like whatever.
Golden
And
throw.
so, oh man, and it was just so good. And he's just cracking jokes the whole time. And then I remember thinking like, I'm going to be bummed when I don't get to listen to this guy call the Laker game. So I better like really soak it up and enjoy it.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, I started watching when Magic got drafted. I was like a little kid.
Oh
you know?
wow.
79, so I was 6 or 7. Wow. And the first team I ever hated was the Sixers because that's who they played in the finals that year.
Yeah.
And then they ended up beating them, and I was like, oh my God, the first time I ever watched these dudes, and they won the whole thing. and then they lost to the Sixers, and that's when I was like, damn you Sixers.
Yeah.
I didn't even hate the Celtics because I didn't know any of those. They kept, they lost 7 in a row to the Celtics in the 60s and 70s. So
Yeah.
I didn't know any of those. I wouldn't look at the history, but then I fucking hated the Celtics later though. Damn you. No green.
Yeah, but listen, it's a Clippers, right? The Clippers too, Los Angeles, and who do you like better? And it's like, listen, I grew up on the Lakers. I have much respect for Clippers. I go to Clippers games. I watch Clippers, I like them. But my heart lies with the Lakers.
Yeah, same.
It's one of those.
Not the
things,
same.
You say you're more of a Lakers fan than you are I know they're different sports, but more of a Lakers fan than a Dodgers fan?
Yeah, it would go basketball 1, baseball 1A.
Okay.
Not even 2.
But when my wife and I first started dating, I was like, I can't remember what. I think it was like maybe summertime. So I was like watching baseball, and she's like, "Oh, this dude likes baseball. He likes the Dodgers. That's cool." And then baseball season starts winding down, and then basketball season kicks in, and she's like, "Oh, he likes basketball." And then I'm watching some football, and then hockey season started, and I was going to Kings games, and she's like, son of a bitch, this is year round, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're I'm sorry, but
babe,
this is it, but I will I'll forego. I'll try to not dominate the TV that much, but
it's tough.
Yeah.
there's a Laker.
tough.
But hey,
Sports
that's what
rule.
iPads and phones are for now. You're like, hey, we'll watch this movie right now, and I might have the game on the side.
little DVR.
Yeah.
Record the game.
DVR's hard these days with the texts coming through. You see that shit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's your football team?
I was a huge Raider fan growing up, and I
Okay.
was so pissed when they left when I was a kid. When they went back to Oakland, I'm like, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
So I'm like, honestly, whoever I'm betting on that weekend, I'm rolling with them.
Yeah.
You do a lot of betting on
I've been known to dabble at gambling.
You're a gambler, huh?
Yeah, I gotta have something, man.
There you go.
I never drank, never smoked,
Okay.
none of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
you gotta have something.
Football's tough because, like you said, the Raiders. I would go to Raiders games with my dad.
Yeah.
We'd park in people's driveways. They would
Totally.
all pay the money. They'd
Yeah.
be renting out their driveway
Oh, yeah.
for people to park. And then they left, and I didn't. It's hard. Like, who's your football team? I'm like, I don't have one. We never. Well, they got the Rams. Like, but I didn't like.
My parents,
for me.
my mom was like, we were a football house. Like Sundays was like NFL. Lived with my mom and my grandma. When my parents divorced, my dad lives far away. He lived in Alaska. So, and he was not a sports guy at all. But my mom was 100% sports person, and she loved football.
Amazing.
Dodgers and football.
Yep.
So, and they love the Rams. So I fuck with the Rams. The Rams are cool.
Yeah,
I like the Rams.
They're cool. They're cool.
They got a fantastic coach, a cool stadium.
Yeah.
You know, they got a good kick-ass quarterback.
They just weren't here. Like,
they weren't here.
You know what I mean?
And when they went to St. Louis, I was like, screw you guys.
Yeah.
So same thing. Like,
right.
You know, they came back, and I'm warming up a little bit. It means
it'll take a little time.
It'll take a while.
I like that we have an LA team. Period.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Finally,
Yeah.
you know. Listen.
Notice no one's mentioning the Chargers.
The Chargers. That's
sorry, guys. You guys should have stayed in San Diego.
Yeah.
They should. I'm actually a Chargers fan, but they should have stayed in San Diego.
No doubt.
I don't know why they
Yeah.
wanted to make that move, but
So wait, they're sharing the stadium with?
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as the Lakers.
It was honestly. Remember, like, I mean, and I'm a total sports geek, so like, sports talk radio and all that stuff. It was down to Raiders and Rams and Chargers in that stadium, and it was supposed to be Raiders and Rams, and that would have been
back to the old.
Can you imagine? Like, because I mean, LA is a Raider town.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Well, they're in Vegas now, so
I know.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
And hey, I don't mind going to Vegas. I've been there a couple times.
Listen, for the gambling addict in you.
yeah, it's not a bad place to have a team.
No, it's smart. They're going to have an NBA team at some point soon. I would imagine. They have a hockey team.
Yeah.
Probably can't play baseball there. That's a summertime sport.
Ooh.
I think it just sucks for the players.
Indoor.
That'd
Indoor.
Yeah, you could have but they could probably build an amazing indoor
Yeah,
stadium.
they could.
So.
For sure they could.
Yeah.
Basketball would be sick, but it'd be,
I think it just sucks
down the
for
road.
players to be like in that city because it's so wild.
They said it's way harder for the road team.
Right.
Like when the Knights started, the Golden Knights started, their home record was so good because dude would just come into town and get fucking destroyed, gamble, strip clubs, like all that stuff, and then come to the game and they're just like zombies.
Yeah.
So
A lot of
That's
distractions.
a good strategy.
they
Yeah.
catch
I guess
the,
it's advantage Raiders.
the
There you
Vegas
go.
Vegas flu. They
you
catch
go.
that Vegas flu and they would
Oh,
just be
man.
jacked up.
God damn it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go back
Where
to
are we at?
411.
411.
411. Where are we at? 411. Issue 2.
Yeah, issue 2, man. So
Profiles.
thanks to Costin for not having enough footage, or he probably had, his 4 tricks that he probably had filmed by then were a lot better than my shit, but I snuck in there,
Yeah.
Opportunity, man. Like,
I know.
hey, Kelly hit me up and he was like, hey, you want to do it? I'm like, no problem.
Let's go.
Let's do it. I'll do it.
Opportunity.
Yeah, opportunity
Let's get it.
knocks.
You got to take it.
Got to answer the
You
door.
gotta take it.
You know
So,
what I'm saying? Yeah.
So yeah, 401 came out. Same
Yep,
time,
yep.
like I said, that was kind of my sponsor me video for Andy.
Right.
And then, but,
Santa Cruz. You landed
Santa
with
Cruz. I landed. I came back to the motherland.
They give you a board right away?
Board right away. Right,
Perfect.
that little Star Wars board
Yep.
behind Kelly. That's the Star Wars graphic. Pre-license deal.
Yeah.
They just snuck it in. I'm like, hey, can you give me like the Rebel logo off the helmet in like Empire? When he's like, you see the snow speeder and you see the red helmet, and they're like, cool, we can do that. So.
Nowadays it's
board-
much more easier for people to see.
What's that?
By the way, that board, if people can't tell, but it is flatter than anything on this planet.
It was
And
a lot better than the boards I left with. Now I came back and I was like, yeah, this is the shit right here. You guys finally figured it out.
You liked it, huh? You liked it.
That's
So
pretty
the
awesome.
relationship with Santa Cruz was great after you came back.
Yeah, and we had a cool team, and
Right.
those dudes were great. Like that was a fun team. Caesar,
Caesar
no,
Singh. Yeah.
William, Nguyen,
Yep.
who fucking kills it right now. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to him.
No.
Dude, he is so good.
Who?
William Nguyen.
Yeah,
He was like, he took like some years off, like, I don't know, like playing tennis or something like that, like as an adult, you know, and, got back into skating, and he had they did an edit on Thrasher. He had like a full part on there
No way.
not too long ago. I give him shoes, he's on Rothflow over New Balance.
Ah,
And so, hey, like
Rothflow.
sometimes,
Rothflow.
Okay.
and, but man, he's murdering it now. He's so
Amazing. I'd love
good.
to see that.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it,
cool.
bro. Yeah.
I just like seeing people get that, like, it's not like a second win, but it's like, you get that, like,
Sure.
Henry Sanchez is doing
Yeah,
it right
gnarly.
now.
I was about to say
Henry
that.
is killing it.
It's gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, the hardest manual tricks that I'm like, shocked that I'm like, oh man,
I
he's
think
can
it might
do
be
that
that
shit.
Kagan water he's drinking.
Oh man, yeah.
Dude.
It might be.
Yeah.
I questioned that first, and I'm still questioning it, but
It's
it might be
working.
the fucking
It's
case.
woo.
Dude, his manuals he's doing,
Ledge tricks.
What,
Yeah.
Dude, he's doing like nollie 270, switch front nose.
Yeah.
Like,
The hardest stuff,
yeah,
man.
back 180, 55.
He's
love
on,
to see
hey,
it.
Henry's on Tyrone flow.
I love to
Oh,
see it.
yeah,
he's
yeah.
on
He
Tyrone.
got NBs from Tyrone.
There you
Nice.
go. I mean, you getting flow from Tyrone, you're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyrone hates
You don't
everyone.
Just, you just
Yeah.
don't flow people. That's for damn sure.
Tyrone will flow anyone from 20 shot.
Yeah,
You're in trilogy or 20 shot.
You're
You're getting
good.
fucking. You're getting a fucking package.
That's facts.
You're good. You're
Straight
good.
He
up.
knows
You're
what's
good.
up.
That's his favorite era.
Fabian, give him a call.
My-
He's gonna hook you up.
It's my favorite era too. But okay, so Santa Cruz is going along, right?
Yep.
Now what happened? Because later on you started your own company.
I didn't start it.
Oh, you didn't
I just
start it?
ended up riding for it. But
Oh,
yeah, I rode Santa Cruz out. What did we do? Maybe tail end in '93. It's so crazy, right? Foundation.
Yeah.
It was 9. I think it was 9 months.
that's insane.
It was like November to like May or June.
That's crazy.
Got the boot.
Yeah.
Like damn,
Did it feel like forever?
felt like 2 years or something like
yeah,
that. It
yeah,
feels
easy.
like so long.
Right.
But there is like I've heard people say like the philosophy of like that time isn't a constant.
Right.
That it is dependent on what age you are. So when you're a kid, time's so slow. In the middle, like time, like now, like time's going by fucking quick. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
Big time.
and
For
then
sure.
and then as you get older, it slows down
Slows
again,
back
slows
down.
back down
Right.
again. So,
Right.
but
can't
but
wait.
man, I'm telling you, that it was slow. It felt great though because
Sure.
everything felt tricks were happening so fast. It was such a crazy, weird, innovative time.
Like it was going fast, but it was all slow.
Yeah, but
It
it
was
was
weird,
it's
right?
strange though. I mean, skating at that time, look at like let's say 89 to 93. That 4-year
that's huge.
block of like 89 was like tail end of jump ramps.
Ho-hos,
Little bit of haul,
handprints.
like
Right.
maybe like catch a guy doing a street plant here and there. And then 93 it's like dudes are hitting handrails, crazy tech stuff, tray flip, no slide down, hubba tricks, things like that. Not down the hubba, but like a small hubba. And take a 4-year block from any other time
my
in skating,
God.
2000 to 2004, it looks exactly the fucking same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at 2015. Skating doesn't really look that much different.
Yeah.
You're talking like it's so much
you
different.
went
Board
from-
shapes and shit.
Oh my God.
Holy
Shapes,
shit!
wheels,
Like
everything.
fucking the boards were skinny and giant wheels, and then like all of a sudden, obviously, we rode some crazy bullshit. Like the little tiny wheels, and but
Why what sparked the whole little wheels thing?
it just making your board as light as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, like light as possible, low to the ground. A little easier to do flip tricks when you're low to the ground.
Yeah.
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 I don't know if it was slowing it down so much because I mean, some dudes were creeping, but I felt we just had to push a lot.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's like you can go
Yeah,
skate.
because it can't go too fucking
Yeah, you
fast.
just
Right,
you go
right,
skate
right.
Pioneer Banks.
Little bearing
You're pushing
covers.
your ass off to get over
days.
those hips.
for days.
And you're gonna you want to ollie the fence at 7th Street? Ooh, my God! You better hope
no
Augusta
rope pulls
wins.
then. There was no rope pulls
No,
then. Nobody
man, you
pulling out
had to
cars.
really push. Eric Ricks probably had to push his ass off
days,
for that late 360
shift.
shove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
No doubt.
But I think that's what it was. It was just
Okay.
there was low to the ground. I remember going back to Solomon too. For some reason, he had the lightest board I'd ever seen. He would 2 bolts on every truck.
Okay.
He had diagonal, just 2 though,
That's what I used to do.
and then he would have shaved down, no washers on his on the axle nuts.
Okay.
No washers ever. He might have gotten rid of one of his kingpin washers.
Okay.
Just straight to the bushing. I remember just thinking he's like, yeah, that's the lightest board. And I remember just being like, wow, what if you break up one bolt? One
Yeah,
bolt and your
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
bolt.
yeah,
your
yeah.
whole session's gone. And you don't carry hardware with you.
Not at that
was-
time, right. Set it
That was
up
a
and
crazy
go.
setup.
I used to do the 2 bolt thing, but I heard that when I was back then, I heard it came from SF. It was all the
Yeah.
SF guys were doing the 2 bolts,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, weird.
It looked
And then
cool.
We started adapting
It looked
down
cool.
here. Yeah, it
Don't
looked great.
poke the holes through.
Ah,
Just
Yeah,
then-
you could only see 2.
yeah. And then I started doing the 3.
Uh-huh.
Started doing 3 bolts.
Yeah. I still
then
ride a
before.
really low truck though.
Oh yeah.
I
What are you
rode
riding now?
Indy Stage 8 139 low, which they don't it was just a low. It was I think Costin had a pro model on when he had an Indy low. His was Indy low 139. It's just a low. It's just low to the ground. The low now is a little different. So I got stuck riding that truck, and
Wait, so do you just have backstock on them?
I do now. I tried to like. I meant to get a box, and I'd like, oh man, like skating curbs. I mean, what I end up grinding through is the kingpin. I blow the the pivot cup, and the washer will just fall off, and then the bushing will just fall out. So when I really grind it down, when you're skating, doing enough like whatever curb dance and shit.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, I need to get a box, and I'll call up Andrew Cannon and get a box. And like Andrew's like, well, we haven't made that truck since 2008. And I was like, oh shit, and this was like 5 years ago. I'm like, well, I think that might be a problem because that's like and I tried to skate another one and I like rocket kickflips. I'm like, oh no, wow. I can't lose it that fast. I need to get back down to the ground. So I called up Eastern Skateboard Supply. First I started calling, I was like, oh, whatever, I'll go to SoCal Skates or someone like that has like a lot of trucks. I hit it up from them. No, we don't have any. I'm like, I went to CCS or Tactics or something like that, and they didn't have any on there. And I was like, oh no, I'll hit up Eastern. And then the homie there I was like, I'll send you shoes if you can find me some of these trucks. He's like, we just did inventory. I have 3 of them. I'm like, 3 sets? And he goes, no, 3 trucks.
3 trucks.
I'm like, 3 trucks will get me by. Because my front truck wasn't that fucked up, so I'm like, okay. That's 2 sets.
You could swing.
And then a couple of friends throughout the years, Fat Bob, he was like, hey man, I'm at the shop right now. I found those trucks. Wow. He was at some shop that he's going to as a rep, and so he got me some. I went to I think it was Prestige in Boise. They had 2 sets. I was up there
you're hunting them down.
I was up there for the X Games. I got like 9 at home now. I think that's good to get me till I'm 70.
That's a good,
70 years old.
That's good.
I'll be chilling with that many trucks.
Especially if your front truck wears out quicker than your back, or vice versa. You could just put a new one. You could swap. Then you could Frankenstein the trucks also.
Yeah,
and
I think I'm good.
Swapping parts out and stuff like that. So the Santa Cruz thing, what was going on there?
I just wrote it out. It was cool. We did like.
Did you split amicably, or was it just kind of?
No, it was cool. Like I got like a smooth boot.
So it was a boot.
It was, but it was very nice. It's like, hey man, Kendall told me in like, let's say it was June. He's like, December is going to be your last check. You're going to get 2 more boards. We're going to let you go in December. You should probably like start lining something up.
Okay.
And so,
how old were you at this point?
This is super funny. You think 24? And he's like, hey man, probably should start winding it down. You're getting a little old.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
24.
I don't feel old, but I guess. But his era, they were way done by the time they were 24.
Yeah.
And so he's coming from that era where it's like, yeah, you got to wind it down. And I mean, I'm like I said, I'm realistic about it. Like that was like, Welcome to Hell, 96.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I wasn't doing that. Right. I'm not that dude. Like. My kind of skating kind of came back a little bit later on, but I was never going to bridge that time gap where people were going to keep doing stuff. So yeah, we made a couple cool videos. I did good in another contest. I got 2nd at Slam City Jam. Okay. So, the first one they did, that was fun.
Amazing. Sick.
Got $500, turned it into $1,200 at the casino that night though.
Look at this guy.
Wow.
Never knew this.
What do you play at the casino? Or
back then it was just strictly blackjack.
Okay.
That was just like blackjack, and
now what's your game?
Nickel Keno?
No, I played poker for a long time. I played a lot of online poker, played a lot of live poker, a lot of cash games, and then I got stuck playing stupid video poker. Okay. But it's like a math element to it. Like there's certain games you can play that have like a certain pay table, and so you're kind of like seeking out certain. It's like they call it like advantage playing.
Okay.
I play that a little bit, probably a little bit too much, but I get some freebies in Vegas here.
Starting to hear
free
about
flights and shit like that.
Gambling here.
Yeah.
James Craig just World Series.
He was just playing. I was just getting updates from him, man. He was killing it. He did all right. He came close to cashing, but he got bumped out. He got short stacked, and then he just when you get short, you just got to shove with any ace. Right. He got down, and then his buddy Robbie D was in, and I think James's father-in-law made the cash. He actually cashed in that tournament. It was one of the tournaments. It was a $1,500 buy-in one.
Okay. Oh,
wow.
There's like 67 tournaments in the World Series, so you can go there and like play a bunch of of ones. And
how many people were in that one?
20. I checked. It was like 2,700. It was a grip.
Oh wow!
It's a lot of people.
Yeah,
you're talking like multi-day.
Oh,
it probably went for 4 days, or something.
What's
like that.
What's the cutoff? Like pay
table on a 2,500 person tournament would be around the 600 place.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, you'd have to get through a pretty good chunk of the field to get
Yeah.
paid. And that first pay, if it's $1,500 to enter, you're gonna get like $2,300 on your first pay. So you get your money back plus a little bit of
There you
profit.
go. There you
But you
go.
got to work your way into the final table to really get
To
paid.
that November 9.
Yeah, but I mean that final table probably was 6 figures well into it.
Easy.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good money.
Yeah.
That is good money, man.
No joke.
Yeah,
So what
Wow,
happened
so
with the Santa? So you got it. So he said, "This is your last board.
yeah.
You're done."
Totally. And got So he's like you maybe he goes like maybe team managing. He was like giving me advice, and it was like we were friends by then for sure. Like
Yeah.
the first time around, where I was young and I didn't know what was going on, I was cool with Kendall after that, and he's awesome. So yeah, he gave me he's like maybe find a small company to ride for, and so
Okay.
I was like, I remember like hit up. I don't know who else I hit up right after it because I went back to work at the skate shop after that.
Oh, you did.
I always like the first job I ever had was a skate shop. I worked at Zimbabwe right out of high school before I got sponsored. Maybe maybe it was actually right when I got sponsored. It's like, got to make some money. Hey, can I get some hours at the shop? Work 2 days a week in the middle of the week and then, do my thing like, AM or whatever.
Sure.
And then, I'm pro, I'm making money, so I don't need to work at the shop now. So got kicked off and went back to the shop. Zimbabwe had turned into Marge's at that time.
Okay.
Do you remember who worked at Marge's when it was on your show?
Marge's. Well, I know Shane Heil.
Me and him.
You and him
ran the shop together.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and it was like fucking hilarious working.
Fuck
I would
yeah.
show up on Sunday to go to open the shop, and people would roll up and they would be like, "Hey man, why the fuck were you guys closed yesterday?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean? Why were we closed yesterday? It was Saturday." And then I would Shane, and he'd be like, "Oh man, I was out doing some other shit." I'm like, you can't just fucking not come in. Tell one of us, dude. So it was, or I would come in and we would have 30.
Shane was living with the owner at the time.
Yeah, he was living with John. It's
Okay.
so fucking good.
But at least the owner knew. Shit.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
I
Well,
don't know if
maybe
you knew
didn't.
that. Because I'd be like, hey man, the fucking shop was closed yesterday. I would have worked. I would have came in. I'm sponsorless right now. I need whatever I can get.
That's
So
hilarious.
I remember we had a cash drawer. It was 35. You had to leave $35 in it and change, a 20, or maybe it was 2 10s and 5 and some change and whatever. You had to $35. You had to leave the next dude some money
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that he could make change for whatever was going on at the time.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they were, but we would also pay ourselves in cash because it was just you got $10 an hour under the table.
Right.
Take it out by whatever you make, and you work for 10 hours. You got $100.
Okay.
Whatever.
And you take it every day you were there?
Yeah, you would just take it out at the end of the day.
Okay.
But if a skate shop in 95, this is 96, but wasn't making so much. No shoes back then. Soltech just started. Not everybody had a shoe account. And even if they did, it was scraps. You weren't selling a lot of shoes. It was
Okay.
just before shoes took off in skate shops. And so I would come in sometimes and be bone dry. I'd be like, Shane, man, there's no fucking money in the thing. He's like, I had to get paid. And I'm like, I know, but I can't. I mean, people would come in and be like, can you come back with exact change to get your board?
Oh,
Right.
I can't give you anything back. And
you
so
say it like
that was tricky. But that shop got put out of business because the Huntington Skate Park opened up, the one next to the high school.
Oh.
People are selling shit there.
Jason Dill would sell boards for $10 a piece.
Wow.
$10. We would
That
tell him
fucked the game up.
dude, can you just come into the shop? We'll buy them for $20.
Right.
And I wasn't running the shop. I was just working at the shop. But I was like, hey man, everyone's coming in for grip. But that's it. We're selling $5 sheet, $5 sheet, $5 sheet. This ain't gonna last. And but man, everyone was selling boards at that park. But
Yeah.
for sure, he would go get those 20 board packages, and that was quick, $200.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Super easy.
For
No
sure.
joke.
Plus, that's kind of, it's fun to have that clout.
Yeah.
You don't want. I can understand. I could go sell them at the shop for 15 or 20, and they would take them. But I could also go to the park, and it's kind of fucking cool feeling. Hey man,
Totally.
Got some boards?
Yeah.
Got a whole little crowd around
Yeah,
you. You know,
that shit's kinda
I'll
fun.
open the trunk up. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, those dirt cheap prices though. That's not cool.
Yeah.
so someone hit me up.
It's cool for the person buying
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, totally.
100%, for sure.
But
But
you're fucking up
that
the-
used to be Tim. He would always
Yeah.
come and fuck the game
You're
up.
fucking up the market.
Oh, man, yeah.
Like Tim, I sold these shit for $25. Why are you selling for $10?
Oh yeah, dude. You're screwing the whole curve up, man. You're trying to make. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was like at skate camp too. When you
That's
sell them for
it.
a certain amount of money at when you go to Woodward or you go to Visalia and sell, and then someone would come and just fucking ruin the whole
Oh,
thing.
my
You're like, dude,
God.
well, man, he sold it to me last week for 15. You're like,
Yeah.
Son of a
And that's
bitch.
when you could have probably really come up.
You could at skate camp, man,
Yeah,
because
dude.
all those kids had money.
Yeah.
That was, and they were a captive audience. They couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You had to get a fucking board if you were like,
Exactly.
you know, you show up to Woodward and you got like a big, Santa Cruz would send me big packages when I would go to camp, and it would be like $10 shirts, $25 boards, and you know,
Yep.
fucking wheels, and they would buy big ass stickers off me. And I'm like, sure.
Nice come up.
Bro.
Yeah, those are
that's
good.
so
Those are good. Those
man.
are fun come ups. But
It was.
Set of wheels.
Steve Saez, also from Long Beach.
Yep.
So Chatman, Saez, like Long Beach legends.
Mm-hmm.
He hit me up for a company he was starting called Nation. He was starting it.
Okay. I thought you were part of it, but
I was just a TM. He was
Okay.
like, "Hey, I want you to like be a pro, and you can run the team with me, and it's gonna be out of this. It's out of Cincinnati. This dude's starting a skate magazine called Strength.
Okay.
So that's gonna be like his in-house brand. He's gonna. It's like, you know, for all intents and purposes, he was making a sort of a little Big Brother play.
Got it.
He was
Yeah.
making a magazine. He could control his content. He could put as many ads as he wanted to, and he could sell ads in the magazine, and he could do a board brand. So it was
Right,
cool.
right.
And, you know, and I was like perfect for where I was at, because I was like, okay, cool. I can make some money as a TM and still have a board out, and, you know, that's cool. So, yeah, we had Rob G was on, Stefan Attardo was on,
Wow.
James Riff was on.
Damn.
Riffy.
Panama Dan ended up being on after I was off, but he was
Okay.
on like I think he was getting boards while I was like there. I got Jake Brown his first work visa. Going through
wow.
that, like
Really?
back that whole process, like talking to a lawyer and like, hey, like what does he have to do? Oh, he has to like show that he's, you know, like
Damn.
getting, you know, this. And so yeah, it was cool. It was a fun squad. We did a couple tours. Twan was on.
No way.
Twan was in an ad.
Twan was sponsored.
Twan was sponsored. His brother was better than him,
Yes.
but Twan had a mean front feeble and a good ass front crooks.
He did have a good front crook.
This is Ton Win.
Twan Nguyen.
Ton Win.
Filmer,
Yeah.
fulfill the dream. Shorty's filmer. Yeah, he was. So we did like I think they took those dudes on their first tour. Like we did like rented a van, went across country all the way to the full East Coast. Like we went from Long Beach to Boston.
Okay. This is like a month-long tour.
Damn.
Yeah, we went for days. Nation Tour '96.
Nation tour.
Twan loved it. He thought it was the best, and he was fucking stoked. We went to Woodward and stayed for a week there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was cool, man. It was good. It was good times, and like get those dudes a little taste of like road life.
Sure.
Rob G was on the tour and he was riding for Nation, but he was also on New Deal at the same time. He was double dipping.
Interesting.
It was kind of sick.
Oh.
And I remember I wasn't even like bummed. I was like the TM, and I'm like, you should ride for New Deal, man. That's some serious shit right there. This is cool, but like this ain't gonna take you anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I was as much as I wanted him on. Oh, Malcolm Watson was on the trip with
Malcolm
us.
Watson.
Yeah,
No
Malcolm was on
way.
the one of the
dudes.
best
Oh,
dudes
love
ever.
that
huh?
guy.
Dude, he was a very skate camp heavy guy, I felt like.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
because he was a hustler.
Yeah.
He
He would
also-
stay.
that
He would
too.
stay at skate
That
camp.
too, and sell shit.
He would
Yeah,
make
he
his
would
own. He would
hustle.
make his own boards.
He would make his own Swiss bearings.
What?
He would get. This is such a fucking good hustle. He found a place to get like the little tube of bearings, right?
Okay.
Little blanks, and they were like 50 cents each. So, what was that? $4 a set,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And then he rode for Bones at the time, and be like, hey, can you send me the little tiny round Swiss stickers, little tiny ones? And they would be like, yeah, no problem. Send him packs of those. And he would put those little Swiss stickers on the top, and he would be like, Swiss prototypes,
Yeah.
$20. And he would buy like a grip of those bearings and then sell those motherfuckers at skate camp for
Bro.
$20. $16 profit.
Hell yeah.
And kids
Yeah,
were
man.
ready to buy shit.
Yeah.
dude.
And Malcolm's the nicest dude ever. So who the fuck's not going to buy stuff off Malcolm? Like, you're like, this dude's the best. I want to.
I
Bruh.
love.
He was the
that.
king of skate camp back then.
Yeah.
And I
alright.
think he met his wife at skate camp.
Oh,
I think so too.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what we used to do
Oh.
at Woodward, which I thought was fun? Me and him, like maybe it was Steve Hernandez, Arcade Steve Hernandez.
Yep.
We would play games to skate against each other, and we would all represent a cabin. So it'd be like, they would do it, and we'd like do a draft, and like it would be like 5 cabins. Like, who do you want? They're like, I want Malcolm. They're like, all right, and who do you want? I want Rothmeyer. And then we would play, and whoever won, that cabin got like all the shit, like a bunch of free shit.
Okay.
And so that was like the thing we would do. But so you'd have like the crowd like cheering for like your dude when he would like land a trick. We would play a game to skate.
No
That was kind of fun.
way.
Wow,
But Malcolm was
that's
like, he was hard to beat.
He was a kid, bro.
Oh, dude, his skating is amazing.
Yeah,
So
not only
good,
were
bro.
heels like real early,
hands down,
switchback
man.
heel.
So
Yeah, he was good.
bro.
Especially for a tall skateboarder. He definitely
Yeah, he had it.
down,
Yeah.
no doubt.
His manual game is crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
So Nation was cool. We did
Yeah.
we did a couple trips.
Okay.
We did. I did a good trip. So because of strength, it was like we would do tours with not guys that were on Nation. It would be like me and like Jason King was on with me. Don't know if you remember Jason King.
Yeah, of course I know Jason King.
Like Shredder. Like
Yeah.
so good. He was off planet Earth on that.
Okay.
And so he went with us, and it was like me, Jason King, Quee,
Queen Newman.
Ooh, he's
Jason
sick.
Dill,
Okay.
and I don't think Drake was on it with us. Our photographer was Patrick Odell on that trip.
No way.
Like 19-year-old Patrick Odell.
Wow.
Shooting photos for strength.
Crazy.
And so that was cool. We filmed an article for 401. We did like it was like whatever. It was like later in the issue 20 something maybe or something
Gotcha.
like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I remember that was cool. Dill was on. He was just at the tail end of 23 getting alien boards at the
Oh,
time.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember 23.
We
yeah.
had to stop in SF because he had to get his like paycheck from, I think he was on, was it CO? That was a wheel company?
CO wheels, yeah.
Or was it Fit? Fit was the board company, CO was the wheels?
yeah.
Boards.
See, it was
I think he had to get like
Yes.
I guess his paycheck. His paycheck was like a fucking rolled up wad of 5s and 10s. It was like this.
Yeah.
big-
Oh,
I remember just thinking
wow.
like, that is not a paycheck, man, and that did not come from some clean stuff right there. That is sketchy as
Dude,
shit.
no.
I love all the eras of Dill, but that era of
It was
23 to
good,
Alien
dude.
was so good.
So
dude.
good.
Love that.
He got so fucking mad at me. We had to go. We had to do a demo in Vancouver, so we had to cross the border. We did a demo in Oregon, did a demo in Seattle somewhere, and then we were like, oh, we got to cross the border. And I was like, hey, do not have any weed in the car because I don't want to. I'm the fucking dude in charge, and I'm like, I'm not. I wasn't trying to be like a straight edge dickhead, but I was like, hey, like it's all on me if we get caught. And at the time, like it felt like crossing the border. Crossing the border in Canada is always a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the cleanest dude ever, and I always get fucked with every time. And I'm like, dude, this sucks. They grill you so hard
No
for
joke.
questions, and so man, it's super funny. Like Jake Rosenberg's like saying like, yeah, I'm here to film. I'm here to work.
Yeah.
Like I would go to judging contests and no, I'm here to watch. Like luckily I always worked at a company, so I was always like, oh, I'm here to watch a contest and meet with my distributor. I'm just here like as a spectator. And they're like,
Right.
okay. So we're like, he's like, all right. I was like, look, we'll stop at a gas station. He'd just bought a grip of weed like wherever we were at in Portland. I was like, we'll stop at a gas station. You can like hide it somewhere. And he's like, all right,
On the
cool.
way back, yeah.
He hit it like up in the toilet, the toilet paper rolls.
Oh,
It was
okay.
smart. It was actually genius. Like the rolls stack, right? They come down. So he like put it all the way up to the top. I'm like, cool, we'll come back and get it. But then the next demo we had was in Boise, and we did not go back that way.
Oh.
And he didn't realize it until we were like coming into like fucking Idaho. And he was like, wait a second, we just crossed the border. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, man. I forgot to tell you, we're not going back that way. He's like, he was so fucking mad. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I'm like,
He
so
left the tongue.
yeah, he was pissed.
Those little stories, I wonder, like, who found that? You
Oh,
what
I know.
Was it like,
it's still,
who
it's,
found the?
it's
Because
still there.
eventually
It's
that
still there.
toilet paper is going to come down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who found that? That's amazing.
Some dude in there blowing it out, and he was like, "Fuck, this weed!
No, like, shit,
The
score.
luckiest day ever.
Score.
Yeah.
I hit the jackpot."
So what happened? It just kind of fizzled out?
Yeah. It was. We just. Yeah, it was like the. I think it was just honestly like, hey man, like
Just ran its course.
thanks for the time you had. I think I was there probably 2 years,
Okay,
something like that,
okay.
and then just rolled it out, and
Eh.
it's not time to slide out. I tried to get. I was getting wheels from Washburn at the time, so I was getting Powell wheels, and I was like, hey, what if I get on Powell? And Lowry was on, and Mike V was on, and Charlie Wilkins was on. I was like really tight with all those dudes. I filmed a bunch of Mike V's parts in the Powell
Sick.
videos that he
Oh,
was in.
wow, okay.
Like I randomly would film all the time. I had filmed like Ocean and Birdhouse videos, and I filmed like his next 8th Street Next, all the shitty footage. I filmed all that shitty footage. That was me.
Okay.
Pressure flip, late flip off the 2-stair. That was me. I filmed that shit.
So we could pick it out.
Yeah, you can pick it out.
Okay.
That was all the lame Birdhouse stuff and from Ravers and Untitled. That was this guy.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I remember like I filmed Mike V. He moved to Long Beach, and so I was like, oh, maybe I could get on Powell because like Powell didn't seem like unachievable at the time. Powell was just like some friends. And then they all quit to go ride for Transit. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to pursue this anymore. I'm going to have to figure something else out because I rode the Skate Street contest. What was that, 98? There was like, you used to probably go to Skate Street every once in a while. They had a pro contest, really good.
Ventura, right?
Ventura, yeah, Skate Street,
it was
Ventura.
a fucking horrible park. I never liked that park.
I didn't like it, but I put a run together, made the cut to the semifinals, made a full run in the semifinals, and I missed the cut by fucking 15 spots. Like, I was like, the cut was 12, and I was like, out of 30, I was 25. And I was like, and that was reality, like, I was like, and not that contests are the end all be all, but for me, I was like, time to fucking wrap it up, homeboy.
So when you're thinking about wrapping it up, is that, I mean, it's a scary moment for any skateboarder because this is what we've lived. Like you said, no real job,
Totally.
skate shop stuff. Like, where do you turn?
Honestly, man, Kendall telling me I was too old to like be pro was probably the best advice I ever got because I started in my industry like rollerblade right around then. You know what I did? I went back to the skate shop.
Okay.
My buddy Bob, who used to own Milk. He had Milk. He opened up a shop to like sell off all the old milk product, and it just ended up turning into a shop. So he had a shop called BYOB.
Okay.
Buy your own board.
Buy your own.
Pretty sick. I was just going in there, hanging out, you know, and I was like, hey, Bob, like, I don't have any like income anymore. If you need help, I see that you're working here every day. You don't even have an employee. I'm down to like help you out. And he was like, dude, that would be great. I haven't had a day off in 2 years. So we, you know, ran the shop together. Shoes had just started. Soltec, Globe, you know, Chet 4s are fucking starting to sell. You're selling, and those were $100.
Wow.
You know, and like it was cool. So living that skate shop life, like doing that, and it was cool. Like I've always like gone back to the skate shop. Like skate shop's like in my blood. So so yeah, we ran that and ended up getting a job. My first industry job was Airwalk as the TM.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and this was Airwalk in '99. Rowley.
Damn.
Rune. Oh, the people who got me on were Lowry was on, Brian Howard got me on, and Paul Zitzer. They were like my homies, and they like lobbied. They're like, you got to hire this dude. And starting salary was $3,000 a month. I was fucking stoked. I was like, $36,000 a year. Like I was, you know, you could barely make anything at a skate shop. I'm like, I fucking made it. I made it. Like this is it. They got sold right when I got the job. And so I don't know if you've ever like been through a company sale, but everything freezes when a company sells because the old people aren't trying to spend any money.
Yeah.
And the new people haven't taken actually over yet because they're waiting for the final paperwork to get signed.
Right.
So I get hired and I didn't get paid for like 4 months.
Dang.
And so you get into that predicament where you're like 3 months in, you're like, well, they owe me $9,000. And I know if I quit, I ain't seen that $9,000.
Yeah.
So you gotta ride it out. So back to the fucking skate shop. This is some bullshit. You know, like I had a going away party and everything. They're like, oh man, like you did it. And then I'm like, I need to kick a couple more hours up, I guess. Like this sucks. But they finally did do it. But no, yeah, it was.
Did you get paid the
gnarly,
back
though.
pay?
I did get paid the back pay,
good.
and
Nice.
that was a $12,000 check. And I was like, what the fuck?
Beautiful.
But I mean, even though it's like
Totally.
it's back pay, but it still felt good.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. It's a big check.
I went to Vegas and turned that into $100,000. No,
No,
I'm
you
just
didn't.
kidding.
Wow.
I did not do that. I did not do that. I
gotta
fucking wish
roll
though.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
But no, it was cool. Airwalk fucking sucked. It was terrible.
Why?
The first thing I had to do when I got the job,
Oh no.
kick
Kick
off
someone
Lowry,
off, yeah.
kick off Zitzer, kick off
Oh,
Brian Howard.
my
I had to kick off the
Wow.
3 fucking dudes
They got
Like-
who
you
were
the
getting
job.
good checks that got me the job. I'm like, I have to. I'm like, you hired me to be the hatchet man.
But
A lot of companies do.
who is the one telling you this?
We had like a brand manager at the time that was just some girl out of business school, like just random.
Yeah.
I think she used to be a pro snowboarder and she got a job at Airwalk and when it was in Colorado or something at the time. Annie Mac was on, like he stayed on for, he might still be on. I don't know. Yeah. No, I think he's on Vans or he wears Vans, but he rode that shit out for a long time.
Yeah.
So I got let go. I guess I got fired, whatever. I got let go at a contest while I was working for him. I picked up Bucky Lassick from the airport, going to Vans Triple Crown, Cleveland or some shit like that. And I got a phone call on my early little fucking Nokia, you know, and it's that girl Shannon. She's like, hey, we're gonna dissolve the skate program for Airwalk, and so I'm just letting you know, like, you won't have a job after. And I'm like, you're telling me at the event? You could have just waited till I like got home from the event.
Yeah.
I'm like here representing you guys, picking your dude up. And then and Bucky's like, yeah, you didn't hear about that? They're starting this new brand called Genetic. I thought you would have found out about that. I'm like, I did not hear about this, man, but I guess thanks for giving me a heads up.
Wow. Oh, so they had told him that because he was going there.
He was going there.
But you weren't involved in that.
No, I was not involved in that.
Wow.
Damn.
Rob Dotson.
Oh, that Rob Dotson.
I think Rob was the TM for that. So he like basically they just shifted their skate program over to change the name because nobody wanted to buy no Airwalks.
Yeah, I got you.
But guess what? Nobody wanted to buy any Genetics either, so that shit didn't last either. I got out. That was probably all for the
probably
better.
a good thing. Yeah.
And while I was at that contest, I got fired at the contest.
So you were looking for another job.
I went over to the Bostics and I went over to Shrugi and was like, hey, if you ever need any help judging contests, you fucking call your boy because, and Shrugi right away, like a month later, is like, hey, we're doing this contest. Do you want to come judge? I'm like, sure as shit, I want to come judge that thing. Wow. And so he
That's
got
where
me
it all
all
started.
these gigs. Yeah, I used to judge castle contests with Don Brown. I would go to like castle contests with the homies. I was already pro though.
Okay.
But like Rob G, and I'm taking Montoya, and I'm taking Dennis Ballou, and Brian Paz, and like all my homies, they're like kind of coming up, and they're like trying to work their way and get their shine and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, but I'm sitting at the contest, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing anything. And Sonia was like, do you want to help judge? And I'm like, I remember thinking like, I can probably judge better than those dudes. So yeah, I would like to judge. I will help you out because I care about like not looking up there and seeing like some dude who doesn't know what's happening because those dudes. As they didn't have like a pick the litter of judges, but like those dudes didn't know what street skating was when we were doing it. It was happening so quick they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I at least felt like I had a grasp.
You need somebody who's
everything that was
like
going
living
on.
it, living it.
Totally,
Yeah,
and you still do.
Sure.
You still do. I mean, we've had this conversation. Like this is, we'll go into this maybe but whatever. But like, people always talk about like, oh man, like they need impartial judges that don't work at companies.
Right.
Good fucking luck finding that person because you want to try to find someone who like knows what's going on. You have to pay attention to everything that's happening, but you don't want them to work in the industry. They don't exist.
Yeah, it's
They
hard.
There's no dude that works at a bank that like knows everything about skating and knows who everyone is.
Well,
and has credibility.
There are the credibility part for sure, but there are people out there that
right, but you're not going to be able to find them. We don't know them.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And we can't find them.
Put out job
and
applications.
they might know everything, but guess what? Can they take a week off to go to Brazil to judge a contest in Rio?
Right.
Probably not.
Right.
And you can't it's not just a one-time thing. You got to like do all these events.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it's really it's difficult to like find that person. So
Yeah.
Shrugi hooked it up. He was awesome. He got me in.
Dope.
Started working for World Cup, doing contests around me and Sinclair and Fat Bob and John Muldoon, and we got a crew, and we're rolling dice every night after the contest, and fucking some
again.
good times, man.
Yeah.
And Fraser's in there with us, and shirts are getting ripped off when you roll 1, 2, 3, and it's just all CeeLo games all night. Is fucking nice.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, it was really fun, man.
Listen, at least you found a nice way to stay in the industry as well. And also New Balance, too. I mean, you also work for New Balance.
Yeah.
I
ran a wheel company after Airwalk. Mike V started a wheel company with Lowry called Excel Wheels.
I remember. Okay.
And I did Excel.
I
I lasted there for a long time.
Okay.
Till about, I want to say 2006.
Oh.
It moved to Giant at the tail end of Giant. Like not the Giant you remember, but like Giant had like a little run at the end when it was like Bueno, Giant, Popor. Mm-hmm. They still had like Stereo was in there. You're right. So I worked at Excel, ran the wheel company, and got like a lot of. I mean, that's like that's like good experience.
But that's
team managing
cool.
wasn't my shit.
Well, I was gonna say that's cool and all, but I mean, like as we get older, like is that really a career? Right?
Judging's not a career.
No,
Judging is just
but I'm saying like a wheel,
right?
Running a wheel,
but it was fantastic.
It's not your own brand.
It was fantastic experience.
Right. Sure.
Like I ran, I had to run, inventory levels. I had to figure out like how many wheels are we going to make. It was in a urethane plant.
Okay.
So it was actually like an in-house brand in
amazing.
a manufacturer.
Oh, that's amazing.
So they made wheels for Zero, and they made wheels for Flip, and they made wheels for Sector 9, which was like a huge part of their business.
I like
Longboard
that.
wheels in like early 2000s, they were making fucking completes like you can't believe.
sure.
They were selling so many. I mean, that
like
company
that.
made a fortune.
Yeah.
Because I would see all the wheels rolling off, and it would be like a little bit of skate wheels and a lot of longboard wheels. I'm like,
Sure,
ooh,
sure,
man,
sure.
someone's making some money. But we had our stuff, which was in-house, so it was half the cost of what you would have to make. So you're making, that much more money because you're vertical, as they say.
Yes.
You're making it and you're selling it for a true wholesale price. So
Right. Which used to be the case back in the day for skate companies.
totally.
They used to make everything themselves.
So I did everything for it. I was like sales, and I mean, I outlasted a few people, and then it was just me running it. And I'm like, oh shit, I guess I run this company. And I was like, went on a couple tours, but yeah, we had a cool brand, and
Yeah.
Clint Peterson had a wheel, and Berard had a wheel, and Chet Childress had a wheel, and it's like you can give pro wheels to whoever you want. And
Well, I know, like you just said, like judging isn't a career, right? But at the same time, you are in the industry. You have the New Balance thing, but the wheel. I mean, I'm holding the wheel. The
Yeah.
wheel. The judging aspect of it goes back to what you were saying before: is hanging out with the bros, going on trips,
Oh,
traveling.
yeah, it keeps
like,
you
you're still like
and relevant.
feeling like a skateboarder
Yeah.
by doing all this.
There
stuff,
was
which is
definitely like
amazing.
a period after Airwalk when I was at the shop for like a year, and I didn't get to like go to anything. And you're like, ooh, I'm out of it. Like if you're
Right.
not there in some sort of function,
yeah.
you're just out of it.
And it's like the new guys know who you are. You know what I mean? Like you get to
Totally.
meet all the kids
Yeah.
and the new guys, and
Yeah.
that's what's rad. It's
Yeah.
like you're not just an office worker
Totally.
doing a
Yeah.
job.
Now you're in it.
No, judging
Yeah.
is just a fantastic like way to keep involved in
Sure.
in the industry, really. So yeah,
Sure,
I did
sure.
did that 2006. Giant kind of dissolved,
Mhm.
went away. Maybe 3 months without work, real short amount of time.
Mhm.
Sinclair hits me up and he's like, "Hey man, our LA rep just left because that guy did he did Crew at the time, but then Super started. So he was like, he was doing Fallen and Crew. Super started. He had to make a choice at the time. Keep that Crew job because Crew jeans were selling like hotcakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kept the Crew job. Fallen job became open.
Mm.
And Mike's like, "We don't be a sales rep." And I was like, "Man, I've been selling wheels for a long time. I could definitely sell some fucking shoes. I could do that." And so it felt like it took for a long time to get in the door, but I had like Chris Cole's like in my corner and like trying to tell, get these guys to make the decision and
Yeah.
please, man, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
So, but I got that job, did Fallen at first, which expanded to Black Box with hard goods and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for almost 8 years. So it
Okay.
was like a
Wow.
long time LA rep.
Okay.
My territory kept growing bigger as the skate industry changed. 2006 was like still like gravy train. Shops were ordering a ton of shit, doing great. 2008 hits, little financial crisis. The housing market burst. Those $15,000 shoe orders turned into $7,000, turned into $4,000, turned into $3,000. And then your commission checks start going down.
Sure.
Reps start dropping off. I start picking up bigger territory. So instead of like
Gotcha.
I was LA to Santa Barbara, then I was Inland Empire, then I was Orange County, then I was San Diego and Arizona
Wow.
and Vegas. But Vegas is Zappos, so you're like,
Oh.
yes, I got Zappos. Like, holy shit.
Okay.
That's
So you were
the major-
so you were surviving.
Doing good. Like
Yeah.
repping's fantastic. And I mean, back to it, like skate shop work.
Yep.
Like I'm just on the other side of it, hanging out with these same dudes that I was selling wheels to, and I mean, skate shop life, that's my shit. I feel like that's like the dudes I connect with.
Oh, totally. I mean, we all grew up in skate shops,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we all can connect with that.
And skate shops are like the lifeblood of everything. And I
Sure.
after Black Box, so New Balance started out of Black Box.
That's
It was a
right.
license deal.
Yeah.
In say Jamie probably talked to them. I'm guessing his conversation probably happened pretty early, maybe 2011. Maybe they started having like 2012, they started feeling it out. Shoes dropped in 2013. They told us like, "Hey, something cool's coming."
Right.
I had a couple interviews while I worked there. I interviewed and for Soltech, but just didn't take it. I was
Okay.
like, because someone there was like, "Hey, something's coming down the line, and you're gonna want to do it."
Okay.
She was my sales manager at the time, and she was super cool. And she was just like, "Just don't don't go do that because there's this other thing that's going to come that's going to be like really lucrative. You should take it.
Okay.
You know, Luton and Balance is coming. She didn't tell me what it was.
Yeah.
And so I stuck around, and then New Balance started. But at the same time, that was when Black Box was like taking a little bit of a dip.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it was just really bad timing for them to like take on this like new brand while everything else was taking a downturn. You know, it was a really big. Again, they got really big, and it's hard to like change course when you have that many employees and your overhead's that big.
Yeah.
So, and it was like a great company to work for. It was so cool. I had like awesome times with Jamie. He was like great, you know. So I was lucky to have that like experience of like, you know, being a rep for that long. And then Sebastian was the brand manager for New Balance. So when New Balance like pulled the license deal out of there, he's like, hey, you're just gonna like
Come with us.
survive until we start selling shoes from New Balance through New Balance, and then I'm going to open an office in Long Beach,
Okay.
where you live, because I want you to work there. I'm like, well, fucking sign me up, dude. Like, you're going to open an office down the street from my house?
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it. Because he
Right.
wanted, like, Levi lived there. He wanted me and Levi to stick around. So, ended up opening an office, which we're moving right now. Currently
Oh.
this week, we're moving just into downtown Long Beach. We're just moving
Okay.
down the street. But,
Sick.
but yeah, it's been, so yeah, he penned me in for that. I did the LA repping while I was kind of like the de facto sales manager. But then once I got like hired, which was the first employee job I'd had since I wasn't an employee at Airwalk, because I was paid like a writer, which a lot of team managers are. You're paid like a single check
Really?
without taxes taken out and all that shit.
Independent contractor.
I hadn't had health insurance since like a long time, like maybe 20 something years.
What the fuck?
So yeah, I mean, I don't think I was an employee since like the only job I ever had was Baskin Robbins before skating. That was my only non-skate job I ever had. That might have been the only job I had that was like
That bubblegum ice cream, bro.
some shit. No.
It's a blue ice cream with bubble gums in it. Fucking delicious.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I like it.
So I was stoked. New Balance, like,
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
to be
that's a-
Oh, dude.
sales manager.
You could literally say you've been with New Balance since the beginning.
Definitely.
Of the skate
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I've seen it
Even
all-
though
all
it kind of
change.
changed hands, licensing
Yeah.
deal kind of went. But
Yeah.
But and plus you get to work with great people. You got
Yeah.
Tyrone, you got Chad Tim, you
Yeah.
got so many people down there.
Got the
Small little-
best
small little
des-
team, like,
best
right?
designer out.
Oh, Jeff Mitkitt.
Oh, Mike it.
Mike it?
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
sorry.
he's so fucking
Yeah.
good at skating,
He's
and he's
great.
and you know, I mean, like we've had some real hit shoes because of him. You know?
Totally. Well, it
Starting
takes a
with-
skater. I mean, the guy goes out there. He's skating.
Yeah, starting with the foy.
He's damn near pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, this
Dude.
guy
nollie
skates
flip
fucking
back,
so
nose blunts
good.
and shit. He can
Gnarly.
do it. Like
Yeah.
he can really
So
do
he
it.
can go out and test the product.
Yeah. And he's got like legitimacy when someone like Thiago comes in and he's like, hey man, like, you know, I want to do this to the shoe. And he's going to listen to his advice because Jeff knows his
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, like,
Comes from
When that shoe right there, you're wearing the Thiago
Yeah.
shoe. Was that shoe presented to Thiago?
we designed this shoe with him in mind,
Yeah.
but like this.
Oh.
I mean, we'll put it out, but it ain't going to have the same punch if his name isn't on it.
So you designed,
But it was
so
like,
they designed
hey,
it.
what if we could get that dude? Not like,
Okay.
and we didn't try to steal him. It was just like, hey, pie in the sky. What if we could get that dude? What kind of shoe you think he would like? Well, he has a certain look, you know. He's got this era look to him, you know. And so
Yeah.
Jeff fucking nailed it. I mean, he's really good at what he does.
So when Thiago came in, did he make any changes?
No,
Did
he was like, this is the perfect shoe.
He's like, this is it.
He was like, holy
You
shit, this
fucking
is
nailed
you
it.
guys did exactly what I want to do.
That's amazing though, because you always think like sometimes a skater, and listen, Thiago's Thiago, right? He is the man at
Yeah,
skateboarding.
he is.
Now, if he came in there and was like, "No, I don't like that. We could work on something else." 100%, you would
Totally.
do that, right?
Totally.
But I mean, the guy nails it.
Jeff
nails it.
Yeah, Jeff nailed it.
So what was it? Yeah, what's
Yeah, we got
Bro, Thiago.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That shoe looks amazing.
It is. It's
I
a great
you know,
shoe.
working for Soltech, sometimes you look at other shoes. I'm like, damn, I wish I could just skate that shoe. That one looks really
Hey, that's
good.
a good
though.
compliment, man.
Yeah, it's a good looking shoe.
Foy's shoe was the first one though that we had that took off. Like,
Yeah.
in being in sales, like
Mm-hmm.
that's the first shoe that like first season it sold through pretty good, and then all of a sudden the second season came out and they were gone, like gone before, like as soon as they hit, I had no stock left 3 weeks after they hit, and I'm like, oh my god, that might be the shoe. And then
Thiago
after that,
shoe
I had to re-up. I know I'm like I'm in charge of global sales, but then I handle all of the production runs. So I do all the like forecasting, and I do all the like I have to spreadsheet. Like I live in the spreadsheets, and I'm like, how many shoes am I going to buy over what the guy's pre-booked? Do I want to take a risk on buying inventory? And this last year has been pretty fucking crazy. Like I had to do a holiday buy in April of 2020 to buy our holiday stock. COVID just hits, and the reps are kind of went out and showed that line, but they kind of had to stop right in the middle because we didn't know what the fuck was going on in like mid-March 2020. Everyone's like, you have to stay at home and lock yourself in your house, and we're like, okay, well, how do I have to turn this shoe order in like regardless. So what do we do? A lot of companies didn't buy that season. They skipped. They're like, okay, well, everything's going to be shut down. We're going to shift everything. Basically our summer is going to turn into our fall. Our fall is going to turn into our holiday, and we're just not going to book holiday. And then we'll start back up in 2021. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy a shitload of shoes for holiday and hope that this all goes through, because we have a lot of support from ownership at New Balance. They let me, they give me free reign to do a lot of stuff. And that was the best gamble. Just rolled that 4, 5, 6. Boom!
Came out. He came out right there.
Came in with a hot hand, and it worked. And
Yeah.
because we happened to have stock of shoes when no one had it, and everyone else ran out. Because if you remember, April, as soon as everything opened up, May, hottest month ever for skate shops. June, even better month.
Yeah.
I've got shops what the fuck? I've never sold this many boards because people can't go do sports. People can't go to ball games. People can't go on vacation. The dude who used to watch Fulfill the Dream every day, he's like, fuck it, I'm going to start skating again, man. I'm going to go to Cherry Park, and I'm going to start learning kickflip crooks again.
For sure.
And he went and bought a board, and his daughter bought a board, and you started seeing, every time I would go into a skate shop, there'd be a girl buying a board, buying a complete, not buying a longboard, buying a straight-up complete, and you're like, hell yeah.
Fucking love that.
So everyone was buying stuff, so everything just ended up selling out.
Sure.
And shoes were one of the things, and there became a little bit of a need for some other stuff. And we happen to make really good stuff. There's a lot of shops that were like, hey, we used to have 5 of them on the wall. Now we're going to carry 12 of your shoes. Because they had the wall space.
And they look great too. You got Brandon Westgate's shoe as well. You got, every shoe that comes out, I'm like, wow, this is fucking, it's a good shoe.
Dude,
make some good shit.
Jamie Foy and Thiago moves.
I know, man.
Those were power moves.
And Thiago speaks to all the dudes Thiago speaks to everyone,
for sure.
really I would say say the slap crowd, 25-year-old dude, 30-year-old dude, really into skating, knows everything about everything. That's the shoe. That's the guy that they speak to.
Totally.
Fucking switchback tail, the ledge at Barcelona.
That's
the dude. A 14-year-old kid maybe can't comprehend that, but he loves Jamie Foy because fucking Jamie Foy is the dude. I don't know why they all just relate to him, and he's just out there doing it.
Dallas
and
Pinch.
he's just that dude.
I relate to him too.
He was the first guy that I think that captured that crowd for us, because I think we had the Westgate. The little kid doesn't understand how absolutely buttery Westgate is.
Right.
But we're all like, ooh, Westgate. He's the dude. And we got a great mix of
I love it.
something for everyone.
Oh, bro.
And then you got hey, Tyler Surrey,
oh my
fucking
God.
Underground
Tyler
Destroyers,
Surrey is
the
the
best.
That
guys.
last part he just put out.
Holy
was so
shit,
good.
man!
I've always been a fan of his.
That fakey ollie from it was like an MC Escher.
Oh, yeah, that's
fakey ollie.
right.
He went off some weird angle on one thing and went into a different angle on another thing.
Yeah.
He did a that power slide transfer through the fuck. Creative as shit, man.
And you got you have 2 team managers basically.
Levi and Chad.
Yeah,
They both. Yeah, one trail one dude for the local trips. One dude, Levi, will go on the international trips. Chad will take care of all the dudes when they're filming locally. It's you have a big enough team. You got to have a couple team managers.
Totally.
Definitely, man.
You guys got a tight squad over there, bro. It's
But
I
the
think
employees.
7,
it's 7 dudes.
Yeah, 7 dudes, and they're all affiliated with skateboarding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you guys do a great job over there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. It's a good. Honestly, we run a really large brand like a very small board company. That's really how it is, because we don't have New Balance. Big New Balance is involved a ton, but they don't make us do anything.
Right.
It's hey, you guys are the experts. You guys run it.
That's sick.
It's a privately owned company, so we don't have to There's no extra
Appease
waves. We don't have to do
shareholders.
any of
Okay.
that. It's fantastic. And so
All
it
these
really,
checkers coming through, like, okay, and then you have another guy like, okay, like,
yeah,
you're like,
and
no.
and because we have grown it to where we've grown it, like you get a little bit more leeway every time. It's like, oh well, cool. Like you guys are doing what you're doing,
Right.
and it's working. So we're not going to rock the boat. Keep
Yeah.
doing it.
I love
so
that.
it's it's
I
like
love
it's
that.
great.
I mean, it's old. It's family owned. So beautiful.
Free
we
ring.
got-
Do you go to
Beautiful.
Boston at all or anything like that?
I mean, under normal circumstances, yeah, we're there quite a bit. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
like, but you know, pre-COVID times, like, yeah, we were there. We'd do a sales meeting once or twice a year. We'd go over there, probably like 3 to 4 trips a year. You know, I
when
would
you
try to
do
go there.
sales, you would do actual skate sales meetings at the headquarters.
We would do them during the big sales meeting. So New Balance has like a big sales meeting, just like,
Okay.
you know, the big Nike meeting that like Bob would go to, or any of those dudes. They go to like these big sales meetings where the whole company's at, and then we would have like a breakout room for like numeric stuff. So these guys I would make my reps like, hey, we're gonna sit through like the presentation of like all of New Balance, because you just see what they're doing on the lifestyle side, on the running side, maybe on the base. They're huge in baseball. Like, you watch
Yeah.
a baseball game, fucking every other dude's got New Balance cleats on.
For sure.
Yeah, so I want them to feel a part of that, and then we'll go in and we'll do our thing, you know, and we'll you know do the breakaway session for the skate stuff.
I love it, man.
I got like 6 reps, you know, and I'm trying to run that like it's supposed to be run, because I mean sales is changing quite a bit. You know, there's a lot less reps visiting shops, because it's a lot of like, hey man, here's your PDF. Make sure you book it this way.
Right.
I'm like, go to the shop.
Yeah,
Show them the line. Like these dudes that work at the shops, man, like I've known these dudes for 25 years now, you know, and they're not going anywhere. They're the same. It's like, I don't want to make them feel old, but like, you know, Trent from Cowtown, Dan from Escapist, Nesser,
Yeah.
like from Familia, like, you know, those dudes aren't going, they've been working at the shop forever. Like Dave from 35th Ave and,
Yeah.
you know, Tony from 35th North in Seattle. Like they're the same crew of dudes that I've been like selling wheels to, you know, and like talking to like at a contest or whatever. It's awesome. So I'm like, hey man, like these dudes have been around longer than we have. Make sure you stay in front of them. They appreciate that. They
Totally.
want to see that stuff.
1000%.
So
You're a sales rep of just North America or just the U.S.?
I do
or?
global, because we don't have like an international sales manager. So
Okay.
by default, I have to do that. But normally my title is domestic sales manager, but Seb and I split duties between international. I handle Canada, and I talk to we have Cam Sparks, who films and does Passport in Australia.
Oh, sick.
Passport's amazing.
So he is our rep for Australia. So I
Sick.
talk to him quite a bit and like make sure that he's in tune with like what's going on. We're trying to hire brand managers for each region so that they really know. Dave Mackey, who
Dave
does
Mackey.
Lost Art, he's our guy for all of Europe.
Sick.
And so you know, we have dudes in place at like all of the key spots.
Sick.
Bro, you guys are doing great over
Definitely.
there, bro. Yeah, and there's no denying that.
It's
You
fun.
know.
It's cool. It's
It's a good crew.
Easily the best, you know, job I've ever had. Landed at a great spot. You know,
Sure.
all props to Sebastian, because he's a really really good hirer. Like he knows who to hire. You know, he picked me. You know,
Hey.
no. But like he got Tyrone. You know,
Yeah,
and he got
man.
like the right dudes. And
Totally.
he's got Nick doing product stuff, and he's got Jeff, and he really like has a good eye for that
So
stuff.
he's the one who put it all together?
Yeah,
Amazing.
Sick.
puppet master.
So sick. Yeah. I mean, it's
Every company
That's
needs
awesome.
one.
to pick key players. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
important
Dude,
role.
that's the man. I mean, if you got a bunch, like, we're such a small crew that you can't slack.
Right.
course.
There's
Yeah.
no like big company like, oh hey, that's not my job, that's this dude's job. Because I've worked at a lot of places where you ask a dude a question and he's like, oh, you got to go down the hall and ask that guy. I can't do it. Like,
Yep.
if one of us is slacking, we all know it,
Yeah.
and luckily none of us do. You're not hiding. You can't hide in your cubicle and Costanza it and sleep all day. Like, you can't do it.
What
Got you. We'll find out.
What's what's like a cool perk? I mean, obviously working for New Balance is awesome, but what's like something like a perk working for such a big brand? Like, is there anything like going to baseball games or random?
Oh
shit?
man, we sponsored the Dodgers.
Oh,
We did, but they don't anymore. But we did sponsor the Dodgers for the first, like, from, I want to say 2015 to 2018.
Wow.
And so, dude, our seats were behind home plate.
What?
Dugout club, 8
That's the
rows
best.
back. You're
Dugout
on
club's no
TV
joke.
the whole game.
Yeah.
Not that really matters,
No.
but like, still like
cool.
record the game and
Yeah.
okay, there I am.
Take it.
But the dugout club is like, that's that
So
free food
sick.
below the deck,
okay.
right behind. Oh my god!
What?
I had World Series seats.
Dude.
Went to. We also sponsored the umpires, so we didn't have those those banger seats. I got games during the season,
Okay.
but like playoffs and World Series, there's
were up
there's
there.
a baseball team. I mean, there's like baseball dudes that are going to get those. I get
Yeah,
it. Like
yeah,
in
yeah.
a skate
Yeah.
guy, they're not going to give the skate guys the league championship series seats. But we do sponsor the umpires, and the owner of New Balance is this guy Chris Davis, fucking coolest dude ever. He's like, hey Roth, like I got you the umpire seats for the World Series games.
What?
3 and 4, and I took Nate Kaufman from Val.
Amazing.
And he
Nate's
was
the
so
best.
fucking
I'm
pumped.
sure.
We were sitting in the umpire seats, all these big ass dudes in front of us, like old umps. They're just all
Oh,
umps.
real-
And they're just
okay.
because they're not working the game, so they're just like, oh, go to the baseball game.
Yeah.
And we're up there, and that was man, it was the series against the Astros. So I went to games 3, 6, and 7 in that series.
Damn.
Wow.
3 was the man, it was a brutal game. It was like I want to say it was 9-8. Dodgers lost 9-8. And it was like Puig hit a home run to tie it.
Lucas?
Yasiel.
Oh. I thought
But
you said
then
Lucas
Canley
Puig.
Jansen gave the home run up, and then we lost, and it was a bummer. But it was probably the most exciting baseball game I'll ever go to, even though I walked out like so sad.
Damn.
And then I went with Ortiz. I went to game 6 and 7 with Ortiz.
Wow.
Those
Yeah,
are
you
great
can roll
perks.
with him for a while. Going.
He
to
was
get-
my photo dude. Like, Ortiz was my like, hey, I need an ad. Like Ortiz is gonna shoot my ad. He told me you guys have asked him to get on. He keeps saying no.
Yeah.
Dude, I sent him a
Come on.
message. I sent him a message, and he put the laugh emoji. That's all. He
Son of a
I
bitch,
was like,
man.
dude,
He'll come on one of
That's
these
amazing.
days.
You'll get him. You'll get him in here. You gotta
Listen,
get him in.
it's all about timing. You know what I
It
mean?
is, dude,
You
it
know,
is.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. Speaking of photographs, though, can we talk about your little reptile photographs and
Sure,
stuff
man.
like that?
For
What do
sure.
you? What's going on with that?
I-
You like to go to the desert and shoot
I
weird
shoot-
shit?
Yeah, it just
this right here?
Yeah.
Bro.
Actually, you know what? That's a
So
great
rad.
photo. It's a great photo.
we put that on the bed of a shoe. I did some snake shoes.
Oh, you did snake
For New
shoes?
Balance, yeah.
Now,
We
what do
did.
you do? You just you enjoy photography?
It's just photography. I started shooting photos. I got a little Minolta in like 1990, 1991, but I never wanted to shoot skate photos because I was just
Interesting.
like, that's their thing.
That's
like
it, okay.
Grant, Ortiz, like I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to be like, I don't know. I mean, it's funny because you had all these filmers on and they would like learn, Jake Rosenberg, like he learned all these things from these photographers, but I was never the dude that was like trying to bug those guys about that shit. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm just going to have a camera. And my dad lives in Alaska and I would go up there all the time to, go skate in the summertime and go hang out. But I mean, you're in Alaska, like you're going to go do some shit. Like my dad is like the outdoors guy.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
he didn't own a TV and he wasn't trying to do anything else but like go fishing and go backpacking, and you just take us on cool trips. So all of our summers for my brother and I were either when he lived in Oregon, he lived in Washington, and then he just skipped Canada and went straight to Alaska. And he'd been up there for 30-something years, but you see a lot of cool shit up there. And I was like, man, I need to start taking some pictures of these things because I'm hiking around and I'm seeing moose and I'm seeing caribou, I'm seeing wolves, and I'm seeing all this cool stuff, the northern lights. And so I learned how to like take pictures of that stuff and learned a little bit of the techniques, trial and error with film. So
right.
that's just all like always been like kind of a side thing, and
Okay.
I've always been in animals, and I started shooting photos of birds quite a bit.
Oh, you're a
That's where
bird
it
watcher.
started. A little bit of
You're
bird,
a little bird watcher.
bird nerd, a little bit of bird nerd stuff.
Okay.
And started taking a little bit of trips, and then I
cockatoos and-
randomly stumbled across some some snake photos online, and they were like really nice like photos, and I'm like, man, I've been hiking my whole life and I've only seen like 4 or 5 snakes. How the fuck did this guy get this photo? Like, it's so amazing. And I was like, I really started digging into it because it just sparked something in me. I was like, how did he get this, man? I mean, so I've like go out to the desert in the middle of the day. That ain't how you do it because it's like it's hot as shit out there. They don't want to be out when it's hot.
But like this snake right here is in the middle of the road. What are you doing?
That's
pick
early,
him up
early
and put him
morning.
there?
That's early morning at the right time of year, at the right time of day, at the right time of location.
So you've got to.
It's all like the whole thing with like wildlife in general. You have to go out at the right time,
Yeah.
in the right conditions,
Okay.
Well, first your first thing is location. You want to see something, you got to go to where it's at.
Right. You're not
And then
gonna
you
go
got to
here
find
at
out
Venice
when
Boulevard.
it's out.
Yeah.
And then you got to find out what time of year is the best time to see it, and what are the conditions that are out. So, if you want to go see birds, when you wake up in the morning, you hear all the birds.
Yeah.
They're up right before the sun rises. So if you're like in Costa Rica and you want to go see a bunch of cool birds, you got to wake up before the sun rises, and then you're going to be hiking until about 8 o'clock, and then you might as well just go back and hang out for the rest of the day at the pool or something like that, because you're not going to see anything after that because it's too fucking hot.
Okay.
Oh, so they're out just because it's not that hot.
In Costa Rica or somewhere like that, yeah. So for snakes, you go to the desert. You want to go that's like on the border of Arizona and New Mexico, and that's during monsoon season. It rains every day from July to like September in Arizona, New Mexico, that Southwest. It sounds like it would be hot as shit in that area, but it's not. It's like nice and cool. The rains came, water's out. All the animals come out when their water's out. And so, and then in the California deserts, local deserts, you kind of go springtime, you can hike them during the day. And then if you go in the summertime, when it starts to get hot, you got to go at night. And you can drive the roads and find them. And it's called road cruising. And you just cruise the road, and they're fucking out on the road. I've taken tons of dudes out. I took Axel Kreisberg's out with Berman. We went out because Dane's an Australian psycho, so he wants to go see snakes. And I took him out, and I'm like, do not fucking pick these rattlesnakes up, man, because I don't want to take you to the hospital. I've been with a dude who got bit when we were hiking, and it fucking sucked. He did what you're not supposed to do. Saw this big ass rattlesnake on the trail, and we're like, oh shit, and taking pictures of it, but it takes off into this bush, and as it's going in, he grabbed its tail and he wanted to bring it back out because he wanted to get a picture of it, and he pulled it out and it went back in, pulled it out, it went back in. Third time, snake was like, fuck that, turned its head around. Right when he grabbed the tail, it popped him right here, and it was a big ass rattlesnake, and it hit him right here, and I was like, all right, well, we better start walking back to the car, because we were like 1.5 miles away from the car. We were on a trail, like out in the middle of the cuts, like way out in
Boys and sits in.
And so there's a few things about if you get bit by a rattlesnake. One thing, you do not put a tourniquet on. Don't people say oh, you tie it off.
Stop it
to
from
locate
spreading.
You want it to spread out your whole body, because if you tie this off right here, poison's going to eat all, say you got bit in your arm or your leg, you put a tourniquet on your leg, good luck, you're losing your leg, because it's going to digest your leg, basically. That's what that venom does. It digests it. So you don't want to do that. He also did the other cardinal thing you don't want to do, suck it
out.
Right, but it was just a reaction. When you get cut and you're like, he did that, and he went like that, and he was like, man, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have put my mouth on that. I'm like, why? He goes, I can't taste anything, and my mouth is all numb. His whole mouth was numb. Luckily, no canker sore or nothing like that. If you got a sore in your mouth and you pulled the venom in, it's like getting bit. Your face is going to swell up just as bad as your hand's going to swell up.
So what happened? You guys
We hiked out. I got his camera bag and my camera bag, and I gave him my water. I'm like, just keep drinking water. Just, because he's sweating. And I mean, it hurts.
Fucked
It
you up.
really hurts. And he said it was like putting your hand slowly into hot lava. This is what it's like. Imagine that. And you're like, so it's just kind of coursing through your body. We luckily made it. We were on a kind of a hiking trail.
Yeah,
it's like a typical one where there's like a hill here and a small trail and then another hill. I was like, if you're about to pass out, you have to stop and sit down. I cannot drag you. If you fall down that hill, you're a grown ass man, dude. I'm not picking you up. I can't do it. I'm not he's just an adult. So we got to the car, and he was just he couldn't fucking believe it. He was just like, oh my God, we made it. And it was I just bought my 4Runner. It was 2012, brand new, 3 weeks in. And I'm like, hey, put this towel down right here on the console. And he was like, thanks, man. That's good padding. I'm like, yeah, good padding.
Good
and I was
padding, yeah.
Get that fucking blood off my 4Runner, man. That shit's brand new. But that's the thing about a snake bite. Once you get to I got to the car, he knew everything was going to be fine. We got to start driving to the hospital, which was an 1.5-hour drive on a 4x4 road.
Jeez.
So, we walk up that long, we get to the car, we drive to the hospital, and then they just got to pump you full of what's called Crofab, which is anti-venom. And that shit is expensive as fuck. Really? It is $5,000 a vial. And I think he took 24 vials. So that's $120,000. Luckily, health insurance covers that. But if you don't have health insurance and you get bit by a rattlesnake, you are fucked.
$5,000 a vial, and he took 24 vials.
Yeah, his arm turned pretty black.
Oh my!
And I mean, there's
Does
like
it start working immediately?
no, they have to they give you a little bit, and then they watch your arm start to slowly go black, and then they give you a little bit more because they don't want to overdo it.
Right.
And the stuff's really expensive because it's like, it's like pulled from a snake. I don't know. I don't know the medical process behind it. I know that it has to stay frozen, and I think they have to put it in a centrifuge and keep it clean all the time. So it's like a really an intricate process to keep it around.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of hospitals don't even have it.
Yeah. Luckily, Ridgecrest, they're like, oh yeah, rattlesnake bite. Like they knew.
Yeah.
Like they
In
knew
that
right
area,
away.
no, we're gonna keep that.
I was like hauling ass down the hill, and I finally got reception. And I called the hospital. I'm like, hey, I got a guy, my buddy. He just got bit by a rattlesnake. I'm taking him in. They're like, you need an ambulance? I'm like, I'm doing 100 on the 395 right now, so I'm gonna get there faster than you guys can come get to me. So don't worry about it. I'll be there in a second. So got him down there, and then he was in the hospital for a while, and he ended up getting tagged again later on, like a year later by a sidewinder, and he was like, I swear to God, that's the last time I'm getting bit, man. And
fuck.
Yeah, what the fuck?
He went on
This is a rattlesnake in this photo, right?
Yeah, it's a big giant Western Diamondback.
How far away are you from taking that?
That one's pretty
Use
far
a
away. I
zoom lens?
shot that with a big lens because I wanted the road and like the background
Blurry.
to be a certain way. But I shoot with a macro. A lot of snakes. I'm like a foot away, 2 feet away.
What, like little gardener snakes?
No, like a big rattlesnake.
Why?
You get right up in front of them.
But how?
Get that good eye shot.
But
wrong
what's
with
your?
you?
So how are you reacting to the rattlesnake? Because most people, if I saw a rattlesnake, I'm fucking running fast as
He's
shit.
like, come here, little buddy.
For the most part,
Hey, little buddy.
they're just trying
How
to
you
get away.
doing?
They're trying to get away from you.
You doing all right?
Like they don't chase you. Snakes don't chase you.
Are they fast? Yeah.
People will be like, "Oh man, like this cottonmouth will chase me everywhere," and they don't chase you. Then no snake is chasing anyone. Like, but in your head, you're so fucking scared. You hear the rattle. It sounds like it's coming from behind you because you're like running. You're like, dude, he was chasing me for all the way down the trail, and he was just rattling, probably backing up. So, anyways, you get say you find one on the road.
yeah.
You get your snake hook out. You slide him off.
Yeah,
You slide him
my
off.
snake hook.
Yeah, you
What am
slide- you slide him off the
keeping
road.
My snake hook.
And if you want to like take a picture of him at night, like he's like, he's mad.
Right.
Take your hat off, throw him on top of him, and he coils up inside the hat, and he's like safe in the dark.
Yeah.
And then you don't grab the hat with your hand. Usually, you get the hook and you pull it from back, and you pop it out, and then he's probably going to kick it for 20 minutes while you shoot photos, not budge at all. Because he's just like, hey, I'm here.
Trying to figure it out.
I don't know what's going on. This guy keeps blasting me with a flash in my face.
Right.
They don't lash out when you take the hat off.
No, they're like totally. That once they get calm, they're chilling. But the best way to shoot is to hike, find one in its spot, without it seeing you. That's like the purity of it. That's kind of like what you're hoping for.
Little natural habitat.
When you're shooting wildlife photos, when you're finding a sloth or you're finding any of that stuff.
Oh, you see sloths?
In Costa Rica quite a bit.
Oh, Costa Rica.
Yeah. I travel a lot for that
I love
shit.
little sloths.
You
I
see
do.
sloths?
Yeah, they're a little slow. They move a little
dope.
slow.
I do
You know
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
side missions from skate contests
I feel bad for sloths.
to like,
Yeah.
like we did
Poor little guy.
the South Africa Maloof contest.
Yeah.
5 years in a row. Every 5 years, every one of those years, I'm taking a side mission somewhere in South Africa because I'm not flying for 30 hours to not go see some animals.
Sure.
Especially like in like the dopest spot ever. So
sure.
I went to the Kalahari 3 times while I was there.
Damn.
2 times like full solo, just out driving the roads looking for lions and shit by myself, like driving my own car and renting it. And,
Yeah, remind me not to take little road trips with you, man.
Nah,
I'm looking
you
for
would love
lions
it.
and
I would
stuff,
love to do
bro.
that. It sounds awesome, to be honest.
When we did the Maloof contest, there was a local national park right near. That contest was in the middle of nowhere. It was in Kimberley, South Africa, right?
Right, I remember that.
Dude, it would be like, hey, you're going to the U.S. and you're going to run a contest. Where are you going to do it? New York, Miami, Chicago? And we're going to do it in Billings, Montana. And it's going to be the biggest fucking contest. It's going to be $1 million prize. And you're like, what? Why? And they're like, I don't know. That's just where we wanted to put it.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, I mean, there's Cape Town and Joburg and Durban. You sure you don't want to do it in those? No, we'll do it in Kimberley. Cool for me, though, because they got cobras and they got all types of cool shit to
I
find
know.
out there.
He's ready to go.
I was hyped, but I would tell everyone, because the contest wouldn't start till noon, I would be like, hey, I'm leaving at 5 in the morning. I'm already on a fucked up sleep schedule. Whoever wants to go on safari with me, I got 4 spots in the car. And every morning there'd be like 7 people downstairs waiting for me. And they would go
Rochambeau?
Yeah, they would just be like, "Oh, I'll get it tomorrow." And be like, "Okay, cool. You 4 can go. You 3, you get on the next one."
Wow.
And so I would like Roth Safari every morning, and like Milligan would go with me. Vern would go with me every time. James Craig was on with me almost every time.
Wow.
Took Brian De La Torre out. I took. I think Jimmy Wilkins and Sam Beckett went with me one morning, and like I took them out, and we saw some rhinos, and we saw a bunch of giraffes, and in all these national parks, it's like a Yellowstone. You drive through it by yourself. You can hire a guy, but like, I got a rental car. I'll drive that shit on the back roads and go find some stuff. So,
do you? Obviously you enjoy it, but have you ever found yourself in like a really dangerous situation that you were worried?
I got stuck in the sand by myself in the Kalahari, and I was like this will suck if I can't get out of this, because someone will come by eventually on the national park, but like I was on some back roads and I'm like, oh, this piece of shit Hyundai that I'm in is not my Forerunner back home, so this isn't going to get me out of this. But you can't get out of the car in that national park in the Kalahari.
Oh,
hyenas, lions, leopards, they're all like, you could step out of the car and they're like right there in the grass next to you, and you couldn't see them because the grass is kind of tall.
Wow.
So you just don't like. They have these areas. They're like little rest stops where you can get out. They're not fenced, but it's like, hey man, like, just make sure when you go to the bathroom, like, open the door so there's not like fucking anything in there.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that was a little.
What the fuck did you do?
You know what though? Probably the sketchiest stuff I've had is I've gotten some diseases, some sicknesses from traveling.
Like what?
Well, I'm rolling with this right now, but this is
I noticed that. Well, what the fuck?
This is just
that?
poison oak. It's not like, it's just from. I was in Illinois 2 weeks ago with my homie Lance, and we were hiking looking for snakes, and I got fucking tore up by that.
Dubs,
but
remember me to grab some Clorox wipes.
yeah, clean this off, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't spread. But I got from one of the trips to South Africa when I was with my wife. We came back. I took my dad and my stepmom too. It was cool. My stepmom randomly was like, one day was like, I've always wanted to see an elephant in the wild, and I was like, well, why the fuck didn't you tell me this 20 years ago? Because she's 83. Like, she's a spry 83. She lives in Alaska.
Okay.
Hard as nails. But at the same time, that's not super young. So I'm like, well, okay, let's go for Thanksgiving. I'll take, you just buy, I'll do all the stuff for it. And we'll go, and I'll take you guys on like the full safari, and like we'll do the whole thing. And so
amazing.
Took them out all over the place. They had a great time. It was super cool.
Saw some elephants?
So tons.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to like the Tembe Elephant Park. It's like
nice.
Mozambique border of South Africa, Mozambique, and there's like the big ones with like the fucking, they call them tuskers.
Yeah.
And they're like old males with
that.
like these huge things, and they walk right by the car, and you're just like, what? They're so
They're
big.
massive.
And they're fully wild.
Wow.
There's nothing to keep them from doing anything, and it's sick. Oh yeah, on that trip, an elephant charged the car, and I had to
With your grandma.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I backed up and was like, I saw him, like, he did his, like, the ear thing. Like, you see him, like, pop, like, the ears out, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I, like, got it in reverse, and I went like this around because there was a car next to me, like, and they looked at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, you're going to get smashed. I'm getting out of here. And I backed up, and he, like, kind of false charged, and then he stopped, and I was like, ooh.
What do you think he had, like,
he was just a young bull that, like, was just like he was giving you one. He was giving you one of those. Yeah, he wasn't really gonna do it, but like he was doing one of those. And then I got stuck on the road, and there was a rhino sleeping in the road, and I was like, I was alone, and I was like, okay, like, I'm looking at the map, and I'm like, man, fucking road to get back. Like, they all like loop all over these parks. They're national parks, so like there's just roads everywhere, and I'm just like looking at it. I'm like, I could drive past him. But he's taking up a full lane. There's like, say it's 2 lanes wide. He's taking up a full lane, sleeping, and and I'm like, if I drive past that thing, he is gonna fucking flip this Audi that I'm in. It was like some rental car that I just absolutely destroyed. They didn't check the undercarriage, luckily, but I fucked that car up. but I didn't. I was like, you know what? Be smart. Back up, turn around. Right. And there was a car on the other side of him doing the same thing. He was like, I kind of want to go that way, but so anyway, I turned around. But I got home from that trip to South Africa, and I was like, oh man, like there's like a scab on the bottom of my foot. And my wife's smart with this stuff because she knows like I'm an idiot. She's like, that's not a scab. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a tick.
Oh no.
And it was like, I hadn't been in the like area where there would have been a tick for probably 36 hours. So that was on me for a long time.
Damn.
So I'm like, oh, well, this sucks.
hanging
So
out.
pulled them off. I immediately get on my phone. I'm like, do they have Lyme disease in South Africa? Because that's the one I'm scared about. Because Lyme
Sure.
disease is like such a vague, weird disease that like
Yeah.
you don't even know what the fuck it does. It like makes you go crazy and but it makes you feel tired. I don't know what it does. I just know I don't want it.
Right.
And I'm like, ticks are like the grossest thing to me. I've had leeches on me, and I'm like, I don't even care. Like, no big deal, because leeches don't carry disease. I got leeched when I was in Malaysia, and like it bled forever.
Wow.
It just keeps bleeding.
Oh, they
Wow.
use leeches for medical
Yeah,
procedures
Yeah.
too.
yeah. They have an anticoagulant in their
Yeah.
saliva, so it makes you keep bleeding. You never scab from a leech bite.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I watch
what?
Botched
Crazy.
too,
Yeah,
and they
that's
have
right.
like breast surgeries
they
and
use
the,
it.
But
so the
ticks-
nipples won't die.
Ticks, they have disease. I don't want that.
true.
So
Yeah.
I looked it up, and it was like the only thing you get from a tick when you're in southern Africa is African tick fever. Like, okay, what does that do? Does that kill me? Does it make me go insane? Like, am I gonna like mercury poisoning or something like that? So I looked through, and I'm like, fever. The sore gets like kind of big. You treat it with this, just like a quick like an oral antibiotic. I'm like, all right, cool, but it's like it doesn't always happen when you get bit. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Like, all right. So I forget about it, and we go to look at the Christmas lights because we would gone to South Africa during Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Like, take my niece and nephew to go look at the Christmas lights, and like, I'm like not kidding, dude. Like, we got to the parking, and we get out of the car, and we're gonna walk into Naples, and I'm pouring sweat, and I'm like, man, I got really hot all of a sudden. My wife's just like, and I'm like, what? And she goes, it's probably that stupid tick. You got the fever, and I'm like, oh, you're right. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe it'll go away. Like, you know, because like I'm an idiot. Because you're like a dude, you know, like I don't need to go to the
Yeah,
doctor.
yeah.
I'm a guy. Like, I can figure this out. And so I ended up going to Tahoe by myself to go gambling because I was trying to get status on American Airlines. I needed like $50, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy a $75 ticket to Tahoe and go gambling. And I was like spent like half the time in the hotel room sweating my ass off. But my fever kept breaking at night, and I'd be like, oh, that was it. It's over. I felt great during the day. I felt awesome. And then
Next
7
day.
o'clock would roll around, and I felt like dog shit again. And my fever would come back. And I
How
went,
long did it last?
a couple weeks. I went to the doctor.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, I went to the doctor, and
Shit.
he was like, I was like, hey, I have African tick fever, and you know, so I made an appointment, and he was like,
probably was like, "What the fuck?"
he didn't know. It's self-diagnosis is like a big no-no in the medical community. You're not supposed to do that. But like, I went in and I was told him, I was like, hey, I got this. Like, I know I have it. Look at my foot. Like, I've got this weird sore on the bottom. It looks exactly like the photos in the thing, and I sweat every day. I've got a fever every day. And he's like, oh yeah. And he's like, I'm like, it says you're treated with this. I can't remember what the antibiotic was that I
Right.
needed to take, amoxicillin or something. And he was like, oh, you know, when I saw this on the thing, I really was hoping you were gonna have like an open sore with like a bunch of bugs crawling out of it, because he was like
fuck.
thinking like, this will be fun because he's a doctor. He wants to see something gruesome.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, sorry to disappoint, man. It's just a little sore on the bottom of my foot, but eh. And then I went to Brazil on a trip to this area called the Pantanal. It's like a floodplain where, like, say the Andes are here and the rainforest is over here. This is the area in between. Super, any transition zone like that, super wildlife heavy. That's the place where you see tons and tons of jaguars.
Oh, whoa.
And then whenever you see a video of like a jaguar jumping into the water eating a
Yeah.
cayman, that's where they filmed it because
Oh,
they're
shit.
everywhere there.
Okay.
And so we went there to shoot photos.
Did
I
you
went
take
on, like,
grandma there?
I didn't. I
See a
took
jaguar?
I took the snake bite homie there, and I was like, "Don't get fucking bit when we're in
Don't get
Brazil,
bit.
dude."
Yeah. Watch
And we
out.
went looking for, you know, it was like a photo trip. This dude from France, who's a herpetologist, which is like a reptile guy,
Oh.
and a professional photographer.
Okay.
He led the tour, and we went there and shot a bunch of stuff. One day into the trip, I start pouring sweat. I'm like, "What can you get in Hungarian Pantanal?" Like, oh, dengue fever. Okay, what are the symptoms of dengue fever? 'Cause I had a fever the first day, and I'm like kind of feeling run down. You know, when you have a fever, you feel run down. You don't feel like at your best.
Yeah.
And it's like you get a rash on your foot, and you get really heavy nosebleeds. And I've never had a nosebleed in my life. I busted my face open once and had a nosebleed, but I've never like, you know,
Yeah.
like, and so fever the first day, fever the second day, look down, got some red spots on my foot. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I like went to like take a shower that morning and like blew my nose out, and the whole bottom was just blood everywhere. And I'm like,
my gosh,
oh,
dude.
come on, man, are you kidding me, dude? And then I'm like, what are the treatments for it? And it's like pretty much just rest.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna ride it out.
Let it run its course.
I just hiked it the whole time.
Oh,
I didn't.
shit.
I didn't like change anything I did. I was just. I look back and I'm like, my photos weren't like what I wanted them to be because I was like, fucking no, cool, a giant anteater. Like this is incredible. We're like walking up and we see this thing, this giant anteater. Cool, I'm done. Oh god, I'm so tired. Like I definitely like half-assed like a lot of it. I didn't
But you
like
were
really
sick,
shoot,
bro. What do you
but I was
really
sweating the
expect?
whole time, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man. So
How
I
did
guess
you
that's
get
probably
it,
the
though?
sketchiest stuff. Mosquito bite.
Probably.
It's just a mosquito-borne disease that you can't pass on to anything else, and literally it runs its course. He's like, if it gets worse, you can get an IV. But the guy our guide, I was like, hey, I got this thing.
You know what?
He's
I
like, okay.
rarely get mosquito bites.
Man, I get
They,
killed.
they don't.
I get
They don't.
killed by
They don't like my
them.
blood.
Yeah.
They destroy
Yeah.
me.
I think they're the same.
It's like a sour
Yeah.
blood or
They
something.
Yeah,
really get me too much.
they really
They hate me. Which
they,
is good.
They do
I'm
a
glad
number
they
on
hate
me.
me.
You're like, I got that sweet blood.
Did you have to get shots before you went to South
I've
Africa?
had yellow fever vaccination,
Okay.
and that was the only one that I've really had to get. That was before we went to Peru. Peru, I had to get into Peru. I had to go do that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
We've done some good trips though. I went to the Galapagos
Oh.
with Rob with Marinick. Him and his
sick.
wife went with me.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Like
Got
we
turtles
just
up there.
went, and like it was fucking incredible. It was like
Damn.
one of the coolest trips I've ever been on. And I'm going to Costa Rica over Thanksgiving. That's my
Okay.
fucking 8th trip. I'm like
Bro.
tour guiding for our friends
Okay.
and their family because I'm the dude who knows where to find everything now
Perfect.
because I can go places. And
Have you?
Oh,
Is there somewhere you want to go that you haven't been?
I mean, I haven't done Antarctica yet, and that's a cool place.
Yeah.
I'm turning 50 next year, which fuck, it feels so old. But I was like, what am I going to do for my 50th?
Get out there and do it.
Well, I was thinking about going to shoot photos of polar bears, and there's like an area way north in Norway. There's like an island way the hell up there, and you can like go see them like consistently.
Wow.
But those trips are $8,000 a
I'm
person,
sure,
you know.
yeah.
So it's like
wow.
Yeah.
maybe I don't want to do that one. Maybe I'll go.
Right.
You know, maybe I'll do something a little bit smaller. You know, that's a really expensive trip. But that island in that area, they did a Red Bull trip up there, and I think like I want to say modders, and some other dudes went there and skated. They built a half pipe out of sand, out of frozen sand.
Yeah, I saw
What?
that.
It was
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
amazing.
No, it was salt.
No, it was sand. They built it on the beach.
Oh, did they?
It was crazy.
Oh, maybe
like
it's a
with,
different
it, like
thing I'm thinking of.
you could like do a trick on a mini ramp made out of sand.
That's crazy.
But it was cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that would be a cool place to go.
That'd be cool.
There's
What
places-
you had to just go to Catalina over there. Got
That's
great
true.
birds over there.
I got bald eagles.
That was
Lots
Is there
of them.
buffalo over
Bald
there?
eagles.
Is
They
there
have
a-
buffalo.
Yeah.
They still have the leftover from like
See?
the filming. Is that what they were for? The filming?
They brought buffalo over there for a certain reason, but then they
can't remember.
left them there.
Yeah. Yeah, they leave us to some
Damn,
places.
that's crazy.
There's invasive, like they're
Yeah.
not an invasive species because they brought them there, but
Well, there was
Kinda like
another
that.
species that I can't remember what it was. They brought there, but then they had to eradicate because
right.
they
Oh,
kept
they were there were feral pigs.
wolves.
There were feral
Maybe
pigs all over the
wolves,
place over
maybe?
those.
Is
'Cause I've been to the
it
Channel
feral
Islands and there used to be pigs there, and they finally got them all.
Okay.
They just
Damn.
those pigs, they tear up
Oh,
everything.
pigs.
Sons
You
of
know what I'm saying,
bitches.
Dubs?
Yeah.
Listen, Jason Rothmeyer.
I know, man.
This has
Damn,
been
this
great.
is
So,
man.
We ran
Fucking-
amazing,
good.
bro.
We ran the
Yeah.
gamut of the industry.
We
right
ran
there,
the
man.
gamut and
No
nature.
doubt.
And the
And
nature
nature.
preserve,
And nature.
and we touched on Star Wars
Taste
a little bit,
little sprinkle of
Mandalorian,
Star
you know what I'm
Wars.
saying?
sports here and there?
Poison
Little
Oak.
sports.
We've done a
Yeah.
lot of
The
stuff.
Dodgers won today.
Yes.
The
We
Kelly.
gotta see, we gotta see how
I
the Lakers
didn't-
are doing.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
You know, your present's going to be the Laker game, right? I told you I'll take you to a game.
Dude, thank you.
I share tickets with Ortiz and Joe Kralik.
Nice.
Kelly didn't grow up on the Lakers.
I did.
He grew up on the Laguna Wildcats.
Oh,
They don't have that team there.
Are you sure?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
super down. Thank you.
Listen,
Chris is bummed.
you want to
now.
go?
I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, what? What did she say?
He doesn't have
Damn.
an answer for
Siri,
it. Doesn't have an
Siri.
answer.
Of course I want to go. Are you
Oh,
kidding me?
but
After the
she
Laker
said
game?
you don't have an answer for that.
That's her, not me.
Okay, well,
timing.
never mind. She's
She
on
speaks
your
for you
wrist.
a
I
lot.
thought
Listen,
that was
I
pretty
She
will-
funny.
spoke for him. I definitely
She
want to
did.
go.
Yeah.
We all want to go.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, you know, I got 2 tickets.
take a
so
field trip?
I'll take, maybe Dubs goes with me one time. Maybe,
I'm last.
Hey,
Rob goes
I'm
with
last, of course.
Hey,
you know?
I got you a trophy, bro.
Hey,
Kinda sick.
That's true.
You got
Yeah,
proof.
that is pretty
Proof
cool.
that
Appreciate that.
you have,
It's pretty,
there's
wow.
world's greatest.
Listen,
Yeah.
Not
Right
the
there.
nation's greatest, not LA's greatest,
But that's
world's
kind of
greatest.
But that's kind of cool though.
It's like
You
the
having
world's
these
greatest
season
dad
tickets.
t-shirt.
you get to like kind of choose here and there.
We do like a draft where you pick which order you're going to pick your games in. So there's 4 of us. So, 1 through 4, and then you just kind of keep going down. You have the calendar in front of you. Chris, man, he takes a long time to pick his games. Ortiz does because he's like, dude, what do I want, man? I always want opening night, which is tonight.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yeah,
I didn't
good.
get opening night though, so
Good.
That was the only drawback.
I took Memphis. I'm taking Tyrone out to Memphis on this Sunday.
Okay.
And then
Sick.
I got the Bulls. I'm taking Jake Darwin to the Bulls to see Alex Caruso's first game back. Want to see that video tribute.
Yep.
And then I'll probably take you to OKC.
Sounds great, man. Let's do it.
I don't think they got anybody left anymore, so that should be it. They should win that game. They should win that game.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a basketball game for like in person for a minute. You know what I
They're
Been a
mean?
long time either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good
It's
stuff,
been a
man.
while.
Good
It's
stuff.
been a
They got
while.
a squad.
They do.
Yeah.
It'll be
They
fun.
do.
It'll be good. It's gonna
I
be a good
definitely,
year.
I definitely want to go because I've never seen LeBron play in person.
Oh God, he's so insane.
I've seen I saw
I
Kobe
was-
play a bunch of times. Love to see LeBron play in
He's-
person.
insanely large.
I would love to see that.
It's
I would love to see
crazy
it.
how fast he moves.
Yeah.
How big he is.
Yeah.
I'd love to see
I
it.
saw him destroy the Lakers so many times when he was in Miami and Cleveland, and I just
I saw him
remember,
play for Cleveland against the Lakers. That was awesome.
See, you
Like,
guys,
Yeah.
he's already seen him
he's
play. Which-
smashing, dude.
Listen, we're gonna go, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, enough of this.
I wasn't trying to break the Mike V record of like 9 hours, so we should wrap it
Well,
up.
listen.
This has
No,
been
I
great,
mean, a
bro.
lot of people have tried. Everybody's failed.
Yeah.
Kelly, will you grab him some
Yeah.
nightclub stuff to take home?
what
Dude,
you
the
got?
honors, bro. This has been fascinating.
This has been great.
I
are you
brought
pulling
some
out
for
again?
Raj. I don't know if he wants these, but I got him some
Oh,
cool
he's
little
got old
stickers.
Stickers.
I know he's
right.
like a skate nerd like me, so I figured these are cool.
What are
These
those?
ones
What are
good.
those? Those are tricks. Oh, Krieger.
Wow.
Those are like OG
Beagle.
foundation
Full-
ones.
full
Oh, these are the
got-
foundation.
Yeah, those are foundation
Yeah.
ones. I got a Chris Miller Planet
Raj.
Earth sticker in
Oh,
here
yeah.
for him. So yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
don't know. It's
Oh,
something.
Raj loves these, bro.
Oh yeah, he'll be stoked.
From the
Wait.
refrigerator.
Wade Spire.
Hell yeah.
Fire, yeah.
You gonna put those on the refrigerator, Raj?
What else did I put in there?
Got some good ones.
Little Jeff Kendall.
Like a little sticker drawer or what?
You know what most of those are from?
Hmm.
Those little castle packs you used to get.
Yes.
You remember the manila folder with
Yes,
I would
dude.
just throw them in a
Look
shoebox.
at that.
I got this old shoebox at home with all these stickers in. That Chris Miller one's a good
Do you
one.
have a
though.
couple
I-
shoeboxes
yeah,
or
I've
just
seen
one
that one.
shoebox?
One shoebox with and it's stacked. It's like
Yep.
full.
Yep.
It's real full.
I love it, dude.
Same shoebox too.
These are the best. Yeah, from that era.
Yeah. It's a old shell toe.
what's
Which one?
Whippersnapper?
It's a
the
shell toe
toe?
box.
Foundation.
So sick.
Foundation little clothing company.
I love
Whippersnappers?
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, thank you, Kelly.
It, dude. Candle to the Raj, these are great, bro.
Oh, yeah.
How was he gonna
That
get
Chris Miller
photo
one's amazing.
incentive?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Photo incentive.
Can we
Need
get
some
photo
stickers.
incentive?
Hell yeah.
Get him some stickers.
I think the Lakers owe me some photo incentive for this episode. Maybe I can call them
Straight
up. Hey man,
Good luck. Good luck, bro.
they owe me.
Listen.
They owe me photo incentive for many years.
Bro, this has been fucking fun. Bro, you're a great storyteller.
Yes.
You remember everything, which is
I remember
fucking
some shit.
which is fascinating.
and very helpful.
Bro, a lot of people, I just had to sit here and listen. It's fucking great. Dude,
Hey,
you
Awesome.
are the man. Thank you so
Dubs.
much for
So good.
coming, dude.
Dude, so sick,
Here's
dude.
our
sorry I stole
um,
your tricks back then.
Dude, this is it's skaters
know
helping
what I'm
skaters,
saying?
bro. We can
Yeah.
all do that. It's
Yeah.
fine.
This is our burning mug. I hope you're a coffee guy.
I'm not, but
How
you
about
know what?
tea?
I drink out of a mug every day.
Water.
Yeah.
There you go. Some water mug for
Hell
you.
yeah.
And our logo mug for
Ooh,
another water.
for the photo incentive.
This is photo.
This is the one.
listen, if you show up any
Cha-ching.
20 bucks, okay? National Geographic, you start shooting for them.
X Games.
Yeah.
Like right here on the thing.
Throw
right-
Oh,
one of
while you're
these-
judging, yeah,
throw one,
perfect.
throw one of these up
Ooh.
a little snake. You know what I'm saying?
I'll
Put a
get
little-
you. I got you.
Yeah.
I got
Put
you.
a little
Nightclub,
snake.
nightclub sticker and a snake right next to each
Like
other.
imagine if this
I'll-
imagine if this
Hey.
sticker was leaning up right against the snake's
You
body.
think it's a joke, but I'll shoot that shit and I'll send it to you. I'll shoot that shit. I'll send it to you, and then Tyrone will comment, flip that thing over.
Yeah.
fucking Tyrone. Listen, here's also
You can't even help that though. That's just Tyrone.
Yeah, that's it.
I
You can't
love
even
it.
help it.
I love it.
What's
And
in the box?
here's-
What's in the box?
It's Rogers Morningwood.
Oh hell
There
yeah!
you go.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
Little candle.
It's a candle.
Sick.
It's Rogers Morningwood.
All right.
It's sandalwood and some other flavors. I don't know.
Smells
It's
great.
pretty nice.
It's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got
I
a
bet.
wooden wick.
a wooden wick.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's Rogers Morningwood.
Damn, that's some next level shit. I didn't even know candles had that.
Hey, I didn't know that shit either.
Raj wanted a wooden wick on his candle. You know what I'm saying?
It's perfect.
But thank you. Raj is going to be stoked with these, right, Raj? You're stoked?
Oh yeah, that Chris Miller one's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he gave that one to me.
We got to give these back too.
Oh yeah. I gotta
Oh,
get
the
wheels
wheel.
back. I gotta get the
Oh,
wheels back.
that's-
man.
Can't keep
forgot about
those.
those.
Give
I
those
forgot.
back.
Well,
Thank you for my first place world's greatest. It's like the world's greatest dad T-shirts, right? It's
kind
like
of is,
you're
but
kinda like
a lot
proud.
better than that.
Yeah.
dude,
It does say
that's
Jason
pretty
Rothmeyer
special.
on the back.
You know what's
though.
funny? After I got it back, I like looked at it. I'm like, oh shit, they wrote my name on the back because probably Sonia was like, oh this one's for
Oh,
Jason.
I thought you signed
Yeah.
it.
No, it was like
Oh, I
that
thought
was
you
like
signed
when
it.
I won the
I thought he
trophy.
signed it for me.
They were probably like, this one goes to Jason.
No
'Cause
way.
I don't know. I think that was maybe for
What?
I don't know what it was.
place?
What was it for?
Yeah. Well, no. What place was it?
I think it was 6th place Castle High Jump.
So
We used to just skate everything.
You did a high jump.
Hey, next time we talk,
I love
we'll
it.
talk about freestyle contests and how we kind of ruined them because we started skating flat ground. Like me and Kareem and Ocean, we started skating flat ground at the freestyle contest and started winning them, and they just changed the name to flat ground from freestyle. So I have freestyle trophies and I have flat ground trophies because we would just skate flat ground runs.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Who doesn't
dope.
skate flat?
Love
It's a
flat ground.
5-ply board.
5-ply.
That's got history right
That's
there, bro. That's
Schmidt made that for sure. So
Dude, that's even better. No, not that this is what you know what I mean, but Schmidt
Yeah.
also
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
being on the show, fan favorite of the show. But people,
Of course.
love Schmidt. You
Dude,
know?
that's like
course.
30 years old, bro. That's
it
a
is.
fucking
That
outcast
is
right
exactly
sick.
30 years old.
It's the year I started skating, 91.
That's
if that
pretty
was
cool.
a year.
That was 91.
91. Okay.
For sure, that was
So rad.
91.
Perfect. Bro,
Man,
thank you so
much
much
fun,
for
dude.
coming
Thanks.
by.
Yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, dude.
Dude.
Hey, Kelly, good
Hey,
looks, dude.
Thank you, dude. This has been
Yeah.
great. I love hearing your stories. Is
Oh,
awesome.
it's
I
great.
love it,
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
It was
dude.
great. It was
Well,
great. It was
And you're
great.
so knowledgeable in all sorts of ways.
Next,
I know.
we'll get into some more contest talk. So much more to cover.
a lot.
What's
Yeah. Got a lot
what's
of
something
stuff.
else you could tell people listening? A random fact about something.
Oh God.
Are you a fun fact guy? I think you're more of like a storyteller.
I feel like
guy.
no. I know some.
You know
I
some fun
dumb shit.
facts.
I don't know. I don't know. And then that's a tough one to put me on the spot. with
Yeah,
right
it kind of
there.
is. But like, what's something recently
What's-
that you told someone that you're like, holy shit? Like you said something earlier about
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah,
being
yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking- That was probably the best one. I feel like
That was a
because
good one.
it never dawned on me when I watched that movie, and I'm like, wait, what?
Well, when you see actors when they're young and then you see them when they're
But
older,
he
like
looks
they
exactly the same. I just don't know if I
Really?
get the
He hasn't
cadence on
aged.
his voice. It's
no,
exactly
he's
the same.
aged,
Yeah.
bro. Have you seen him? Did you see his Mandalorian interviews?
Yeah, he's
recently.
aged.
He's
Oh,
getting
yes.
up there, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, from Breaking Bad to that, I was like, whoa, he's kind of put on a little age.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
what?
it's
He's
a grade.
been
Maybe
acting
it's a
for 40
graze.
years. I guess he's.
He's a great.
We'll let it
actor.
slide, right?
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
actor.
Legend.
Definitely.
Okay, so no fun facts.
Sorry.
Indiana Jones
It only
for some weird reason.
the fun facts only come out, in
the story.
In the story.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
And I
okay.
think that they think they're tough to just pull out of thin air.
No doubt.
Damn, dude.
5 times 5.
I think it's 25. I'm just.
What? How is
It's a
that?
hunch.
It's pretty good.
Well, so that's like a math.
That's just a math question. That's just a,
That's a little.
that's like if you can't get that, you're not judging.
I'm
With some
supposed to pull that out of thin air. Shit.
12 times 12.
144.
Yeah, that's easy.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad, bro. I think you're a good judge. You're a good judge.
I-
It does take math.
There's some people that disagree with you, but
All in all.
Yeah,
Hey.
it doesn't matter.
it doesn't. I mean,
Listen, you in this landscape today, you could say it's blue, and somebody will also say it's fucking
it's
yellow.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So you're never right.
That is true.
That's
You're
the
never
facts
right.
Yeah.
now.
Thank you, Jason,
Hey,
for coming
man.
on, bro.
Yeah,
We'll,
thanks
we'll
for-
have you
thanks for
back
having
again
me,
for a
bros.
stop and chat anytime,
We'll do it.
bro.
Yes.
We'll do it like around to Tampa or some other contest that we just get done with.
That'd be cool.
And we can like
That'd
do
be
like
cool.
some kind of a fucking deep dive on like what just happened.
Bro, you're already
That would be
the
awesome.
man's a thinker.
You-
He's a thinker, bro.
You mentioned
I wanted to do something around the Olympics when it was happening. And I
Yeah.
thought that would have been fun.
That would've been cool.
for us to like get into like, hey, what?
But that's a whole different show, though.
Yeah.
It
You know what I
totally
mean?
is. It
It's
is.
a whole
It is.
different
It
show.
is.
I think
I think it'll be fun though.
Yeah, well, 4 years from now.
I think it'd be rad
3
to
years.
have like a group, like maybe on like experience type of style, but like there's a bunch.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Judges, a bunch of judges talking about
Yeah.
what's
Mike-
going on.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Mike would be good. He's he's got some stories and some knowledge and strong opinions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Mike's got real strong opinions.
I love Mike.
Hey, another show.
It's always another show.
Yeah,
We could do this again and again and again.
yeah.
We got to
It
go
don't
for
matter.
clips at the Stop and Chat for sure.
Yeah, like you said, contest stuff would be
Yeah.
cool. Oh, and
Yeah.
your old skate clips too.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
And maybe some
Dig a couple
wildlife
of,
stuff.
dig a couple of them up.
Oh, we got you on the skate clips.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Raj
yeah.
will dig him up, no problem.
yeah. He's
Right,
Wizard.
Already got all
Archive.
links here.
Yeah. Oh shit, he's already got them
Raj,
ready.
Raj doing
Hey.
work back there.
There we
Guess what?
go.
See you guys next week.